Sometimes I wonder if it will ever end. You get so mad at me when I go out with my friends. Sometimes you're crazy, then you wonder why. I'm such a baby, yeah, the dolphins make me cry. But there's nothing I can do. I only wanna be with you. You can call me a fool. I only wanna be with you. Yeah, I'm tangled up in blue. I only wanna be with you. I only wanna be with you. I only wanna be with you. I only wanna be with you.
And we are coming down in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Getting Sports with Drunk. I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler, and I'm joined by
Mark.
Sheen Washable.
Nope. Fantasy God Souls.
Tyler. E-Money.
CJ and the man.
And the Red Baron. I don't know.
Rebecca, head faked the mic over there.
So we have a lot of first-timers on the show.
Yeah, full house.
Yeah, the Mash should be joining us in an hour. He got stuck in a rain delay at Yankee Stadium. Did they win?
No, shut out.
2-0.
Oh.
7-0.
2-0.
Oh.
It was 2-0 when I was
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Just don't tap things.
Where do I
Put
put
them in
them?
your pants.
Anywhere you want.
Okay.
Just don't tap things. That's all. But we have our second year Getting Sports with Drunk live draft. I'm not going to be able to see the thing, so it doesn't matter.
We'll post a photo.
Yeah, we'll post a photo of the draft board when it's all done. But we decided to go from 6 people last year to 10. So it's going to be a
Good
little
move.
bit... Well, we still kept it competitive. There was a lot of roster spots, though. And no waivers.
Did you get rid of the 2 quarterback thing?
Yeah, so we're doing... It's going to be quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers. We'll save it because we have our rest of our intro stuff to get into. So starting lineup, I'll go first. I'm drinking from Milwaukee Red Dog Lager.
Also from Milwaukee.
Yep.
Red Dog.
Red Dogs, pretty much all around.
I got a Yingling over here.
You need to crack it too. And
Yeah, I was in the car.
I got a sip of sunshine here. I'm a basic bitch.
I mean, I think we're basic.
Hey,
We're
Matt,
drinking a $13.30.
This is like everybody's craft beer go-to though. Sip of sunshine.
that and like all day IPA.
man.
There's nothing original about it. you
This
know?
is everything I want it to be.
Now, are we
The
catching
best.
some train audio?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god!
I had him for a second. I don't know if he could hear me.
I just hit mute, that's all.
All right, well we'll go around. So as we always do, you guys can catch on, but we do a toast of excellence to every show. So just pick something that happened in the past week in sports that you just give a shout out to. You guys cool with that? Can you think of something off the fly?
My mic just kind of dropped here.
Rebecca, can you go help
Rebecca,
Chris
help
fix
him.
his mic?
That happens
All right,
over
well,
there.
my toast of excellence is to Justin Verlander for his
It's
third,
not going well for me here.
No,
It's 2
it-
minutes
it
in.
happens.
I've already broke the mic.
third no-hitter.
All right.
Into the mic.
Justin Verlander.
He's the 6th player in history, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, there's a lot of things going on.
Mine is actually via a post from Chris Jankowski. Mine is to Zach Bitter. Remember that guy that you posted that he did the 100-mile world record?
Oh God.
He posted.
Yeah.
I just thought it was so impressive. So he did 100 miles in 11 hours, 19 minutes, and 13 seconds. So he ran a 6:47 mile for 100 straight miles. That was his pace. So that translates into a 2 hour and 58 minute marathon, except That's almost 4 marathons that he did nonstop.
Does he like take time to like crap? You've got to.
No, probably.
I think
not.
adrenaline steps in and keeps that from
Just
happening.
keeps you plugged.
Yeah.
Here's
Well, you know, you probably take
train.
the shit-
Imodium?
Yeah, take Imodium before or something like that. Who's your
Nice,
toast, Mock?
Put a cap in.
Alfredo. My toast is to Nevada freshman kicker Brandon Talton. Hit the game-winning 56-yard field goal last week. Was rewarded with a game ball and a scholarship.
Oh.
Thought that was pretty cool.
Ty's like, that's nothing. He's like,
Do that in my sleep.
Ty, do you have one?
I don't. I do not.
All right, we'll come back to you.
Yeah. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that.
You can even
Oh,
make it
there
up.
he is.
Oh my goodness, look at that dimple chin.
I like this lounge he's got
So,
going.
Mash, just so you know, I can't hear a word you're saying because I'm not wearing headphones for this show.
Thumbs up from the mess.
Eric, do you have a toast of excellence?
I just got to give a shout out to my boy Shady McCoy. Wish him nothing.
Oh, that was him?
Yeah,
Oh, man.
completely obliterated.
Did you see that clip?
Okay,
Oh, my
anybody who could take a hit like that and then not be dead afterwards. Cheers.
So the punt snap was low, and so he bobbled it, picking it back up, and then got drilled in the chest like what Clowney did to that running back in college, like that, but at full force.
And the guy that Clowney hit was like 220. He
Yeah.
was like
Well, he was a
170.
running back.
That guy was supposed to be really good, too.
Who, Clowney?
No, the running back.
Red Baron, do you have one?
I do. My boy, Roosevelt Nix, team captain. Very excited.
What, special teams?
Yeah,
Special teams?
I think so. Yeah, pretty sure.
Now, can Mass talk or no? No. He's just sitting there eating his corn nuts with his
He's just
dimple.
watching us.
Oh, gum.
Why
All
can't he talk?
I think it's because he's scared.
So it's pretty noisy on the train.
Oh, so he muted it?
It's no, he muted it.
I thought he said Dementors. I don't know.
Dementors.
It's pretty noisy in here with that air conditioner on too.
Yeah.
But it's
up,
cool.
Kendall.
All right, souls.
For those of you listening who can't see Massey, he's currently wearing a Yankees shirt as a diehard St. Louis Cardinals fan. He's a Cardinals fan.
Kyle?
Crack these now, right?
Kyle, did you
Haven't
rub
met in
off on him?
months.
I'm gonna crack this.
All right, yeah, crack your beers.
I didn't know if you were supposed to wait or not.
Well, you didn't have a toast of excellence, so you were good.
I'm just an alcoholic over here.
Cheers.
This is weird with this new grinds thing in. It's very odd tasting.
Dude, I actually do have a toast. That girl that might be in the NFL, the kicker.
The
That's
soccer
not
player
gonna-
that plays
yeah.
for the U.S. women's soccer team.
Yeah,
Did you
that
see
girl.
what happened to the kicker who I toasted? Okay.
She's not gonna be in.
That would be insane.
Let's be real though. We'd watch
cool.
every game just to see if that happened.
Just to
her.
watch her
yeah,
get
Just
lit
to
up.
see if she. We'd be waiting for it.
They're like, I'm returning
Like
this.
the Brittany
field goal.
Griner thing. Like the whole, like, oh, I'd love to see her go play in the NBA. Just to get demolished.
She's
All
not
right.
even good in the WNBA.
Kyle watches all the games.
Kyle, is this really what you
probably
want to
does.
talk about right now?
Yeah.
Are we gonna start covering the WNBA?
Good. Let's go Mercury.
Just go to Kyle's room any night and see what he's watching. It's always something like that. You
Wow,
know?
we got Massey full screen up there.
So, Mass, your double cheeseburgers are waiting on the table. So as we did last year, we're going to do the draft basically to keep it kind of fluid with the talk that's going on. Everyone's going to text me their picks, and I'm going to put them up on the board. You'll have a minute per pick. We're going to try to keep it fast-paced. We have somebody auto-drafting, so that'll help speed it up because we don't have to wait for the whole timer thing to go like usual. But so the format of the league this year is quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a wide receiver running back flex.
Boston have to run back too.
Dude, let me copy your notes.
Do we need to start over? QB 1, RB 1 and 2, wide receiver 1 and 2, tight end, wide receiver running back flex, wide receiver running back tight end flex, Chris's favorite, the kicker. Chris Jankowski's favorite. Sorry, not Chris Massey's.
Kickers, they're pointless.
That's not true because sometimes they get points. And defense. And then
There's
you'll have,
nothing
you'll have
worse.
6 bench spots.
There's nothing worse than when you see a kicker after 1 o'clock game already put up like 18 points, and you're like,
Yeah.
son of a bitch.
6 bench spots. You'll have 1 injured reserve spot. Notable scoring things. It's going to be PPR, but it's going to be a half a point per reception.
All right.
Anybody in here who has the sleeper app, you can pull up a mock draft, and you can manually select the player that got selected here, and it'll take the people off the board for you. So if you have the Sleeper app, you can do that. So if you want to download it,
I will.
it'll help you.
See, I wish I had 2 phones for that. But
He made it seem like he was from the company, the way he plugged that.
no sponsorship.
That's the app I use for every draft I'm in.
You can see my T-shirt.
Just saying, yeah.
Other than that,
I got a tattoo.
scoring is pretty standard. 6 points for touchdowns, point per 10 yards, point per 25 for passing, yada, 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 yada.
Are we doing the waivers?
Yeah, we're doing waivers.
Okay.
Yep, we're doing waivers. Because you're only going to get 6 bench spots. So, keep it going. I didn't want to make the draft longer than because we've got about 3 hours to fit this in.
No breaks.
Anybody have anything that they'd like to add, comment, anything like that?
Go Tyler.
All set, man.
Go Tyler. The order is newcomer Chris Jankowski, or CJ and the Man.
CJ and the Man.
CJ and the Man with the first overall pick. The Mass, Chris Massey, the second pick. Rita, who will be joining us again from last year, is picking third. Auto drafting at 4 is Jeff. Red Baron. Red Baron at 5. E-Rock at 6. Ty Montgomery at 7.
What's up, baby?
What was your name today?
Fantasy God.
I'm not calling you that. So
Yeah.
K Quick Souls at 8. Machine Washable at 9. And the Riddler at 10. So you guys are going to talk about fantasy sports. You guys can kind of go about it however you want. We're going to let Kyle kind of dictate the direction we go in to start, and then you guys can just go from there. It's going to be 3 hours of just nonstop talking. At some point towards the end, I'd like to work in what you guys have for expectations for teams on the regular season.
Yeah.
Because this is the last full show we have before the season actually starts.
Fantasy teams or our real
No,
teams?
actual
Oh.
NFL teams.
Okay.
You can we can do our teams. We can do other teams. I like to try to get more in because we have 3 Giants fans and 2 Steelers, 4 Giants fans and 2 Steelers fans. So it makes it really quick when we only do ours. Actually, Eric added some variety, which was nice.
He's a Chiefs fan.
Being a Chiefs fan, predicting that 10-6 record. But
Hey, I'm okay with that.
he just laughs though when he insults his team. He never has anything bad to say back
He's a
to you.
happy-go-lucky guy.
He is.
Gotta be.
So, Souls, you can start it off. The draft is underway.
All right. Wow, voice crack already.
All right, everyone.
What was that?
Kyle.
Talk about Bills, huh?
Let's talk about the Bills. They play in Buffalo
Well, they
for
made it.
most of their existence.
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
So they cut LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. So now
It was kind of surprising.
that opens up a whole new game for LaShawn McCoy himself and Devin Singletary and Frank Gore.
I mean, Frank Gore is Frank. I mean,
I think he can get more touches now.
well, yeah, but it's not like he's going to be the workhorse.
Well, they have T.J. Yeldon too.
Exactly.
He should just go back to Jacksonville.
I'm not comfortable slating any Bills running back.
No.
I mean, flex maybe, but not. I mean, there's not a solid running back that's going to get any significant touches there. Maybe Singletary can be that. He's a rookie. He's unknown. You don't really know what he is. Could be a stud.
You got to see it for a few weeks. You got to look at least 2-3 weeks of consistent work, and then you can kind of take the leap on him. But I don't trust it right now.
I think out of the 3, got to trust Singletary the most.
But are you really comfortable playing Singletary?
If he's your third running back, yeah. It's so thin.
I mean, I don't see the few drafts I've been in already. I haven't seen a lot of
10
Bills
seconds,
running
Chris.
backs going.
Well, McCoy was, but
Well, yeah, until. But he was kind of like a lock every year. In fact, he's just one of those guys, kind of like the Darren Sproles type syndrome, because he's going to get the touches, and he produces when he's healthy. But
Minutes past, Rebecca. You're picking as well.
does Massey know it's his pick?
I told him. Oh, he picked. You guys
Was
keep
that him
talking.
chuckling there? But yeah, I mean, there's not many players on the Bills themselves that I want.
you take that back.
Really, I mean, who on the Bills do you want?
Zay Jones, of course.
Josh Allen.
I was joking about Zay Jones.
John Brown's a sleeper.
But is he?
Late round.
Yeah, I mean, now here's the thing. I just picked up John Brown in a league, but I don't know. There's just so many other options at receiver. This is going fast.
Well,
So the auto draft is taking place right now for Jamarcus Russell.
You should draft him. Write him in.
It would be
For
fun.
Jamarcus
Kendall, you're up.
Russell.
so what do you guys think about LaShawn McCoy then?
McCoy can be interesting for Kansas City. Because, I mean, he's played for Andy Reid. Reid loves to kind of mix up running backs. Damian, what's his name there?
Damian
Williams. I don't think he's that good. I think any running back can be successful in Kansas City with the system they run, so I think
Agreed.
McCoy will be a nice fit.
Carlos Hyde couldn't.
Well, he's also terrible.
Thank you. Where's
He's
that
also
from?
not that good.
It looks like Darwin Thompson should not be picked. Tyler.
Where does Damian Williams go now? Does he go ahead of McCoy? You guys are obviously, believe in him a little bit more than McCoy, I would think.
I would say no.
No? You don't think so?
You think McCoy comes in and takes over the starter role?
I don't think so.
No,
I mean, Damian Williams
because-
knows the system.
Yeah, Damian knows the system. Yeah, so
Tell you, the sleeper app is nice, but it's kind of hard to keep up. We're only 5 picks in.
It'll get better. Once we get into like the 4th round, 5th round, people are going to be like,
Yeah, when it starts
Mark
getting
Ingram,
dicey. Nope. Hit the wrong button there. But, I mean, yeah, McCoy for the Chiefs, I think once Reid gets him in there and he learns the playbook, I think he can still be dynamic in a committee role. I don't think he's going to be the 20 touches a guy, or 20 touches a game guy, but
20 touches a guy.
he's just in there touching.
Real team player, that guy.
I don't know. I think he's not going to have any fantasy value, really.
Why do you say that?
Because he's old. He got beat up last year. The Kansas City Chiefs don't have the greatest of offensive lines. They have a mobile quarterback who can escape the pocket. I just don't think he has it anymore to go to the outside and make people miss.
He does have Andy Reid, though.
That's
Yeah,
what I mean.
He flourished with him, and Andy Reid's offenses are always great.
That was
very
years
running back
ago.
friendly.
They're a whole different team.
How good's Damian Williams, really? I mean, he's good because he's with the Chiefs. I mean, let's be real.
That's
he
what I
wasn't
mean.
too
When
good
he was with the Dolphins, he was
yeah.
But
you know?
is
I
he
mean,
that good, or are we just going off of 2 or 3 games?
But he will. Any running back you put in that system is going to flourish. That offense right there, pretty much anybody can be good in it.
Any pass catching, yeah. T.J. Yeldon would kill it on the Chiefs.
Well, he should go there.
I mean, really, he would kill it on the Chiefs.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And I mean, they've got 2 elite players on offense who would be good anywhere, and everybody else is kind of just good because it's the Chiefs and it's Andy Reid and Mahomes.
Sophomore
Pat.
slump, here it comes.
I doubt it.
No
I
way.
know. I don't think so.
No.
I wonder what. Because I do anticipate a step back.
Gurley?
I don't think he's going to throw 50 touchdowns.
But what's the step back?
Well, that's what I'm kind of wondering. Like, what would be a quote disappointing year for him since the bar has been set so high now?
So, I mean, is
35.
40 touchdowns,
35.
is that a step back?
How many you say?
40?
Well,
I think
no.
that's the expectation.
That's right, because 50 was such a crazy. So, like,
Right.
what's the step back?
35.
Yeah, I think anything less than 30 would be kind of like a disappointment.
Oh,
Because
he'd have to be hurt.
right, and 30 now is almost like the norm, kind of for
Eli's going to probably throw 30 this year. Just being real. And that's that's kind of like the standard now, though. 30 touchdowns for a quarterback.
Well, no, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
I mean,
Let's get that. The hot take. Eli's throwing 30.
mark it down. You heard it here
I
first.
dig it. I dig it.
What about all that hype with Danny Dimes?
Well,
I don't think
let
he plays
let me,
this
let
year.
me let me actually
Really?
actually temper that with if the Giants are losing and Eli's playing well, he may get benched for Danny Dimes.
And it's funny. I've never heard that nickname until just now.
Yeah, me neither.
How?
I don't know.
I love it.
I'm on the internet, but I just that never crossed my path. Danny Dimes.
I'm on the internet.
Like most people living today, I'm on the internet. Danny Dimes. Yeah, this is live radio, guys. You know that?
This is tough because I'm trying to keep track of players.
I'm not even doing that. I'm hoping to come in 9th this year.
Just don't come in last.
But you know what's funny? If I come in 9th this year, it's even worse than I came in last year. Because I came in last with 6 teams.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
really bad at this.
Oh my God, Kyle.
All right, so who are the sleepers at quarterback this year?
Lamar Jackson.
Baker.
I don't think he's a sleeper.
No, you don't think so?
I don't think it's a sleeper because the hype is there.
I think
Lamar
he
Jackson,
has
I
bust
could
potential because everybody's talking about him like he's going to do what Mahomes did last
He's
year.
got an amazing offense out there.
Why?
does.
Because when you load up teams with talent, remember the Eagles? What year was that when the Eagles loaded up with talent and they were a complete bust?
Yeah.
They were the dream team, remember?
Yep.
That's what I could see the Browns being this year. Odell Beckham ruined the Giants. Trust me, I've watched every damn snap of that guy. He was fun to watch, but he ruined that team. He ruined it. He wasn't the reason the Giants lost, but he ruined. I mean, the coaching staff had to constantly answer questions about the guy. He's talented. He's maybe the most talented receiver we've ever seen. He's that good, but he is a head case. Speaking of Beckham,
Just drafted him.
So just to keep going, everyone just keep texting the chat. Rebecca, you too, just
not a real
to keep
fan.
so Chris can keep up with who's getting taken.
It's funny. Me and Chris have discussed this. I don't totally agree with his view on him because I love Beckham. I still do. At times he was an issue, but I personally believe that it was blown up to be more than it was. I think the media hyped him up to be a bigger problem than he really was. But at the end of the day, I mean, he's not on the Giants anymore, so that really
that's
sucks.
Demarius, right? Because that's who he was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, fresh Patriot, Demarius Thomas.
Yeah.
Dude, who took him?
Nobody.
Shit,
Who took him? Foot.
Shit, I'm up.
Second round blues right there.
shit.
Kyle, you keep
No, I
coming up
didn't
with
want
subject
him. I'm
context
just
because
surprised
everybody
he got
here could
taken like
beef
that.
with you about something.
I'd like to point that Paul's now taken Joe Mixon from me in 2 drafts.
He loves Joe Mixon.
No, it's just he's just
I know, but I
a good
was going to
available
take
option
him.
when I draft.
I was going to
You
take
can't have
him.
that name though.
I'm taking at the real Mixon match.
You cannot.
You
I
wanna
was
know
at the
something?
real Sterling Silver.
He did that to me a couple years ago.
Don't name your team after somebody you don't got. Otherwise, Paul's going to draft him out of spite.
Correction. Don't have.
No, this is
Whatever.
GSWD. Don't got.
If you put your team as something that has to do with luck, I'll take him. It might be last, but I'll take him.
You really think Lamar Jackson's a sleeper?
I do.
Lamar Jackson, his floor is low because he has the ability to get 70 or 80 rushing yards easily. And if he's any better at all at passing, he's going to be a big fantasy guy. And I'm not the only one saying it. I mean, a lot of fantasy experts are out there putting him
Colin
as
Cowherd.
potential breakout player this year. Kyle, I mean, you're a little bit biased
Skewed?
here. A little
He
bit.
fumbles too much. He's probably one of the most inaccurate passers in all of football.
But listen.
So was Michael Vick.
But this can be masked. This can be masked
He's
with
out
the
of the league
right
quick.
system, Kyle. So the fumbles are an issue. He has to correct turnovers. But he doesn't need to throw downfield.
And
Okay.
we're talking about fantasy. It's negative 2
And
for a
that too.
fumble, 6 for a touchdown.
That too.
at
I mean,
this.
if you're looking at fantasy alone,
If teams figured out to take his running ability away, then what do you got? And the Chargers kind of did that too.
but yeah, again, that's one. How many great games did he have running last season?
Yeah, that was before teams figured
5,
him
6,
out.
7. But he got shut down for one game. I mean, that's going to happen.
And teams
to
are going to look
anybody.
at that tape and figure out what he can and cannot
But
do.
has there been games where Aaron Rodgers only threw for 150 yards?
Not really.
There is. Not really means there is.
Well, I mean, every quarterback.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's possible that he gets stuffed in a game. Like, but I think Lamar Jackson is talented enough to still run kind of at will and have productive fantasy value as a quarterback.
Well, we're talking about sleepers.
Zay Jones,
too.
right, Eric?
Sleepers are not guaranteed things.
Exactly.
That's the guy you think could potentially be a breakout player. Do I think that if you held a gun to my head and said, is he going to be a top 5 quarterback this year? I'd say no. But the potential's there because of the running ability. Same thing with Kyler Murray. I don't know what to think, but I think he could be great.
Kyler Murray, I think, could be a dangerous fantasy quarterback because he's either going to be awesome or be terrible, fantasy-wise. So, wow. Kyler, I mean, to me, he's a guy who'll probably finish 3,200-ish yards, maybe, I don't know, 22 to 25 touchdowns. So I think from the quarterback side, that's really not bad, but is that what you want out of your fantasy quarterback? I mean, anyone else? Kendall's just kind of staring at me over there.
No, I was thinking, it's funny. I'm trying to look at the draft board. I'm at a terrible angle for it. So, at a slight disadvantage visually.
I think that Kyle should have to draft the player that he spelled. Not the player he wants, the player that he spelled.
Well, it's not for me.
That's Jeff's pick.
Oh, same thing.
But we still talking quarterbacks,
Kelsey.
sleeping quarterbacks?
Yeah.
What are your guys' thoughts on Mr. Garoppolo out of San Francisco? What's his upside, if any, for fantasy? What are you guys thinking?
Super high ceiling and a bottom, like a bare bottom floor. I mean, he could be terrible.
Who are we
Because
talking about?
I mean,
Garoppolo.
first of all, he is very injury prone.
Yes.
Let's hope he runs out of bounds this
And
time.
I think you want to talk about overhyped guys. I mean, he's been great in the 8 games he's played, but I mean, he's really only played 8 games in like 3 years.
Well, Kendall had a team name last year called Garoppolo's Pizza, and then it became Rivers Bar or Stafford's Bar and Grill, and then Stafford got hurt.
There was something for Rivers.
Yeah,
Rivers Restaurant.
Rivers Restaurant. So this year I proposed, because he took Garoppolo in our other league, everyone should take their QB1 and do it blank pizzeria, and just really have a big competition against Kendall. That was my one joke.
I liked it.
3 hours and that's your one joke? I doubt it.
Yeah, but I drafted him in the other league. He's not going to play. I just wanted him on the squad for the name. But it's a good name. But it's going to be Garoppolo's Pizza 2, because the first one burned down.
So let's change it a little bit.
Insurance fraud.
I'm actually just typed the name I was going to talk about. What do you guys think of Dalvin Cook?
Chris,
this
you're
year?
up.
Oh, I'm up already. Oh, how about that?
What?
Let's see. Oh,
You
Talking
guys
Dalvin
think
Cook?
Cook is okay?
For this season, I think that Dalvin Cook can be a very high-end running back if he stays on the field.
I think every running back that's played for Minnesota since Adrian Peterson's a question mark.
Yeah. No, that's fair. But I do think that he's very talented and can be a high-end running back, one, but he's just hurt all the time.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the last time we heard anything, we'll put in quotes, explosive about him was what, 2 years ago?
Well, even last year, I mean, when he played a couple games last year before, I mean, he put up great games, and then he just got hurt again. It's just, if he's on the field, he's dynamic.
I think there's
The
no room
Vikings
for
were supposed
error.
to have the most explosive offense in football because of, what's his face there? The backup in New Orleans. Bridgewater and Dalvin Cook. Like, those were like their 2 hot guys, and then they both got hurt.
Yeah.
I think there's no room for error for him this year. Because I think that kid could be something special if he gets his playing time.
So he's going into what, 5th season?
Third.
3rd.
This is year number
Okay.
trace.
So my timeline's a little messed up.
Yeah, big time.
No, not big time, 2 years. My God. It's not like I said he was a
He was
13-year
drafted
vet.
in 2010.
Yeah.
by the way, I swore I would not do Mahomes. I swore I wasn't going to have him, and this is the last league I'm doing this year. And I said I'm going to go with the Tyreek
That's not true.
Hill.
There's one more.
Yes. Yep. The fun league. But that one doesn't, that one's there.
We should just all draft our favorite teams in that one and just let it go. Just let it happen. Take the L on bye week.
Speaking of that, I know this is just like a little bit of a segue here, but like, have you guys ever heard of doing that? Like, there's drafts where you draft teams
Yeah.
and you bid on them. I mean, I thought
I
it
mean,
was a cool
Kendall usually does that anyway. Usually ends up with a lot of Chargers.
Yeah.
Actually, for that, or
There was one point. I think it was.
I just
I think it was
like it.
3 years. There was 3 years ago. I think it was. Kendall was like 1 in like 9, 1 in 10. So he just started trading everybody for Chargers players because he already had the good guys. So he just started getting all the scrub bench warmers, and his whole team was Chargers.
Yeah. As long as the Chargers scored, I scored. So it was great.
Yeah.
Needless to say, he finished in last that year.
It was the same year he picked Eddie Lacy with the first pick.
Kyle, we're not going to get into this again.
Yeah, I mean, this is such a spent discussion at this point.
Because you were raw.
Kyle, anybody who is anybody, you of all people who studies this craft, is it my pick?
Well, I'm the fantasy god.
GAWD.
He was the guy to pick. No, it's not my pick.
You ask anybody here, they wouldn't have taken him with the first.
Kyle, that's hindsight entirely.
Ask everybody around the room.
Hindsight entirely. He was the guy, he had an explosive end to his year. Into the playoffs, played very well. This was the guy who had all the potential in the world. Do I need to scroll this down for you guys? I will.
Kyle, 28.
We
Player
got it.
28.
Let's see. Oh, okay.
and then he just
listen,
wasn't good.
It's one of those things where we see the unanimous like projected number one fantasy pick, and then they don't pan out. I mean, you did it last year with David Johnson.
He panned out.
No, he didn't, because you traded him.
To me.
But because that's what I'm saying. Like that particular season, I don't remember what year it was. Was it 20?
2 years ago.
That was more than 2 years ago.
3 years.
But even still, like, it's just the way it went. He wasn't that good. Where do you guys fall? I mean, like, as far as running backs outside, say, the top 12, right? So, where would that put you, Kyle? Outside the top 12 running backs, pretty much any, like, Eagles running back.
Yeah.
Any...
You.
Yeah, they're all... It's kind of
I think
dicey
that puts you
out
like
there.
in the Aaron Jones, Marlon Mack era, Philip Lindsay.
Aaron Jones, I mean, what do you think of him?
I think he'd be all right. He's gonna
Super
have
high ceiling. They don't use running backs good.
That's what I mean. They
Ever.
First Chargers off the board.
I was going to say, I was wondering when that was going to happen.
Not soon enough.
Speaking of Chargers, Melvin Gordon.
What about it?
I mean, is he going to get are they just going to let him sit, or are they going to trade
They
him?
already said they're not trading him this year.
Then that's stupid.
Not.
It is, because he's not going to sign there.
Then that's
This
his
is going to be a Lev Bell situation all over again. He's going to show up in, week 9, so the year counts, and so on. Why do they want to keep him there if he's not going to sign there?
Well, isn't his different, though? Because Le'Veon Bell didn't sign a...
He's not on the franchise tag.
He didn't sign a franchise tag, so he just technically wasn't like a member of the team, but he couldn't go elsewhere.
Yeah.
But Melvin Gordon's under contract, so he gets fined for missing games.
And if he doesn't report this year, it doesn't count.
But that's the thing. So that's why he'll
so
show
not
up.
only
and,
does he not get paid, but then he also gets fined. So he's actually losing.
But he'll show up in week 9 or whatever the deadline is, so that this year counts on his contract.
Well, no, for him, he can show up. I think he can show up whenever because he's under contract.
No, I understand that. But what I'm saying is he has to play. I think it's by week 9 for this year to count as a service year on his contract. So he'll show up at that whatever the latest he can. So this year counts. And at that point, I mean, I can't imagine that that's not going to, leave a bad taste in, both sides' mouths that, they had something good and it fell apart and now everyone just... Why wouldn't you just trade him? Trade him anyway. You'll get a first-round pick for him.
Yeah.
It's... I don't get it.
Well, it's interesting because we see it's such a happening thing now with all these players holding out for money. And I wonder, it's like... these guys are putting their body on the line. I get it. But I wonder if there's not, the desire to, hey, I want to be the greatest rusher of all time. Because if you're holding out for money, it's like you lose X amount of games.
They're squabbling over $3 million. Okay. He wants 13. They offered him 10.
Yeah.
That's the difference, is $3 million.
That's a big difference.
It is, but it is. I mean, we see teams, we've talked about it.
It's pretty big to me.
But you can make cap space. Also, it's converted into a signing bonus, and the teams do it all the time. They're squabbling over $3 million on both sides. I mean, even on Gordon's side. I mean, he can't take $1.5 million, come up to 11.5. He goes down to, and just get on the field.
I disagree with you there completely. When it comes to running backs, those guys get used up and tossed out all the time.
They do.
I don't have a problem with what Bell did. I don't have a problem with what Gordon's doing. I hate Zeke. I don't have a problem with what Zeke's doing, and I have him in one of my leagues. I get it, because those guys have an average lifespan of 3.5 years, and then they're done. Now, Zeke will probably go 8 years, 9 years. The special guys will go longer. But running backs got to do it. They got to do what they got to do. They got to get their money now, and sooner than later.
Yeah, no, I understand, the financial and physical, toll that goes on. I'm surprised by, I don't know, they seem not just, I'm saying a blanket statement, everyone's very money hungry. It's like, I get it, you get banged up and then you toss aside. You're absolutely right. It's the lifespan of a running back is, that big. But it's just like, there is a lot of money thrown around. And no one's asking them, to buy the lavish homes and the cars and all that. Live within your means. But
well, here's the deal. These guys were blessed with special abilities they make the money because they can do something that very few. It's supply and demand with anything.
For sure.
Anything in the world. If all of a sudden only one company made toothpaste would be $40 a tube. It's what it is. It's supply and demand. There's like 30 people in the world that could do what Saquon and Zeke do. You know what I mean? So that's why out of the billions of people, 30 people could do it. You're going to pay those people a lot for what they do. Whether you think it's important to your everyday life or not, supply and demand. So we love watching it. We tune in and watch it.
Yeah,
For the
100%.
reason that they're getting paid, because all of our eyeballs are going to be on the TV on Sunday, right? So they're getting the advertisers, they're getting the money. They should get a piece of that. Would you rather the players get rich or the owners? Those guys are already billionaires.
Right, yeah, and I'm not advocating for the owners by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, someone's getting that money, so why should it be the owners? You know, the NFLPA, does what they do, and I think that like the Major League Baseball, they've got the best players association.
The union's great.
The union's great. The NFL union, not so great. You know what I mean? The Goodell mops the floor with them in every negotiation. You know. So I understand what the players are doing now.
NBA's got it pretty good.
Yeah,
The NHL's got a really good one. The NHL has a very good one.
Nobody cares about hockey, Paul.
I know.
But let's change it up a little bit. We'll go to tight end. After the top three.
Paul, can I just see who?
After the top three, who are you really going for?
Evan Ingram. Hands down.
My boy.
I think, we talked about it during our draft. I think Ingram can be an explosive tight end this year. With Odell gone, someone's got to pick up the targets. And we've already seen, Ingram had big games when Beckham wasn't there. We talked about, I think, last week, the last 4 or 5 games of the season last year, he was a great tight end. He's super talented. He's built like a receiver, but
yeah. Well,
he's got to show up.
I get he was hurt last year.
We have our first private stock shot. Kyle tried to draft somebody that was already taken.
Is that how that works?
Yep.
Yeah. Nope.
Good to know.
Especially for you because you're not driving.
By round 6, I'm going to be taking a lot of those, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Pull me up, son.
Yeah, Kyle, hold on.
So, Evan Ingram, I believe there's been 8 games where he's played and Beckham didn't. Or 10 games, I'm sorry. And he has, I believe, 870 yards and 6 touchdowns in that time.
I think... Oh, sorry. I thought you were done.
So it would project out to about an 1,100-yard season and 8 touchdowns.
I think Eric Ebron's still worth the mention because he's not a deep threat tight end.
No luck.
But he's not a deep threat tight end, so he's going to be that safety blanket for Brissett. Because Hilton's still going to be the deep...
He's very touchdown dependent, though. He's super touchdown dependent.
But I think he's going to eat more yards now. He was the red zone guy for Luck, but I think he's going to be more yard friendly now.
Didn't he have 600 yards last year or something like that? I think it was 600 yards and 15 touchdowns or something.
Right. I think he's going to be more yard friendly this year because I think they're going to use him in those 6-yard, 7-yard routes, the 4-yard routes to help Brissett move the ball when he's not running.
I don't like any of the Colts this year.
The other side to counter you, I think that it's going to be Jack Doyle getting those catches, not Eric Ebron.
Jack Doyle rules.
I think Doyle's the close,
Nice
the
guy.
more Jason Witten type tight end. Where
But Brissett's black, so they're going to
It's a fair point.
keep it together.
It's a fair point.
Deb him, my man.
They got a handshake and everything.
It's a thing.
Kendall, I'll be getting Chris Carson from you soon.
Well, who'd you just draft?
Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones? I don't want him.
Do want him.
Nah.
Give me Carson Wentz, too.
Carson for Carson.
This is the one thing that sucks about picking first. It takes
You gotta wait forever.
long.
That's the worst,
Oh, my God.
Keep talking.
I know.
It's the
I'm
same
looking
at
at you.
last.
I don't know if you guys know this, but you got about 2.5 more hours of this, and there's been a lot of dead air so far.
So this will spark Paul over there. Is there a Bears running back you trust this year?
I think Montgomery's going to be a stud.
So what happens to Cohen?
Cohen is going to have a couple of games where he scores in the 30s because he's going to hit those 70-yard touchdowns because that's what he is. That's what he does.
Depends on what your league is. Like our league, where you could potentially play up to 4 running backs, especially with bye weeks, I think Montgomery and Cohen are definitely people that should be on people's rosters.
Oh, yeah. They should both be rostered.
But, no, I don't think they're going to be anybody's RB1 or RB2 that they're relying on. And they're not even running backs to me aren't people that you play in matchup scenarios.
I think
It's not
Montgomery
like,
can be an RB1.
I think he can be, but I don't think he's going to be an RB1 initially.
No, but I think he has that potential, and I think you guys are a team that likes to run the ball. Even with Jordan Howard last year, he was terrible. You guys.
No, we used him poorly, very poorly.
Yeah, but like you ran the ball with him, and you know what I mean. Like you ran the ball even when it wasn't working. You guys like to run the ball. You like to run the football,
Right.
even with your quarterback.
I think to Paul's argument, like they almost they were using like Howard like flipped, like Howard was coming out of the backfield trying to catch passes, and I think that kind of he's not that type of guy. He's more in the tackles. So I think from that aspect, I understand what Paul is saying. But
Howard didn't fit that offense really.
Yeah,
he didn't. It just didn't work.
More traditional.
But I'll give him credit because he tried very hard. He worked a lot in the offseason, and he did get better. It's just he didn't progress as fast as the offense progressed. The offense from not Matt Nagy to Matt Nagy went way leaps and bounds better. And Howard's pass catching ability, you can't make that adjustment as a player. At that, even though he's still young in his career, he's been playing football for however long. He's past the halfway point of his football playing career, probably.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
When Tariq Cohen's a Dolphin next year, I'm sure he'll have a great season.
That's fine with me. No, because they suck when they go elsewhere.
Yeah.
Speaking of Dolphins, do they have like one rosterable player? Like one?
One. Devontae Parker.
Stop. He's in free agency in all my leagues.
Yeah.
No one's picking him.
For now.
I don't think. I mean, you're drafting Devontae Parker.
No.
Late, but you think about it.
I think Balaj could be a late pick, depending on how deep
Is
your
it
league
Balaj
is.
or Balaj? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't.
Nobody knows.
He looks like a Frenchman, so it's Balaj.
So is
Balaj
Fitzpatrick the starter right now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, so you're going to get 3 weeks out of Parker.
Hey.
That's
better
it.
than None.
It's always, in my opinion, it's always worth in the late rounds if you're like, I should probably take another running back. It's always worth to take the RB1 option on a team versus like if you're sitting there and you're thinking between like him and like the backup to another team, like I would always pick the RB1 because he's still going to get the touches, even if it's just in the beginning. If it doesn't work out, you cut him.
You're talking Kenyon Drake.
Kenyon Drake's not ready for week 1, so it would be Balaj.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Kenyon Drake is the guy there, though. I mean,
I thought he was getting traded. They were saying that he was supposed to be part of that Houston deal. That didn't happen. And if he went to Houston, that team would have been weird.
I tell you, that whole trade situation was crazy. Because they're like, the Dolphins players are going to revolt if they trade Tunsil. And then, what's his name? Clowney got traded to Seattle. I'm sure the Miami locker room was like, all right, cool. We're good. And they're like, nah, he's still out of here. Him and I figured Stills was going to get cut at some point.
I think the players finally realized, we got 2 first-round picks.
Yeah.
We can't be mad about that.
No, they completely raped Houston. I mean, everyone did, really.
Yeah.
I mean, Jadeveon Clowney for a third-round pick.
Well, they got 2 players.
Yeah, but still.
Jadeveon Clowney for a third-round pick.
I took Adam. Yeah. So who's this?
I mean,
Do you have that number?
I'll tell you what. I wouldn't have been mad if the Giants went and did that.
I do not.
You know?
No.
I wouldn't have been mad
granted,
if we need a pass rusher. Bad.
The other side of it, and I mean, Seattle came out and was like, hey, he's going to be a free agent next year, but let's see what happens this year. Like, the Seattle defense is kind of really good again.
Yeah, it kind of.
They sputtered for a couple years, but their pass rush is serious. They signed Ziggy Ansah, too, didn't they?
I don't know if I saw it.
Is that where he landed, Kyle?
Yeah.
So, I mean, their pass rush is good. They have some firepower there.
You can't cover anybody in the backfield, but
it's funny.
The secondary.
It kind of flipped. Like the secondary was so good,
But
and
again,
the pass rush
They
was
have
okay.
great coverage linebackers, but they don't have good defensive backs.
You can make up for a poor secondary with a great pass rush.
The Bears have done that since I've been alive.
I mean, really, like, the Giants won a Super Bowl on it. That first Patriots Super the secondary was not good. Corey Webster was getting burned all the time.
Do you guys have a RW?
I hated Corey Webster.
He was awful.
And
he was terrible.
Remember, he was like the cover corner. He was like, when people were talking about him, like he was a top 10 cover
and
corner.
he was terrible. But again, you had a good pass rush, so you can kind of make up for it.
We have a very exciting surprise. Corey Webster is here tonight. Come on. Come
on in, Corey.
I mean,
I'll tell him he sucks.
It wouldn't surprise me. Like, I mean, what else is he? What is he doing?
I don't know. Endorsing slippers or something.
I don't even know what happened to him. Like, did he play for another team? Like, he kind of just dissipated.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's kind of like disintegrated, and he was gone. Yeah.
Dust in the wind.
Just in the
Now, what do you think of the Colts? Got anybody?
The Colts.
So can we just talk about real quick how in like every draft and that I do, all of the Rams receivers go like 1, 2, 3 like next to each other.
It's about to happen now.
Well, it's up to
maybe
Massey.
Cook-
Is Brandon Cooks getting picked, Mass?
He is.
I don't know.
He is.
He's a Rams fan. So there's a
Yep.
good, yep.
There it is.
Cooper Cup.
$20.
Cooper Cup.
I think T.Y. Hilton still has a lot to offer this year.
Here's the thing. I mean, T.Y. Hilton's still going to get his touch. The production may dip because Brissett is not Andrew Luck, but Brissett's not some schmuck. Like, he's a serviceable quarterback. We've seen him play well.
Statistic-wise, he's always been in the green.
Yeah, he's not bad. So, I mean, Hilton's still going to get his. I mean, sure, maybe at the end of the year he'll have 100 less yards throughout the season, but I think he's still going to put up big games. I think he'll still have touchdowns.
So, who's the number 2 in Indianapolis now?
I think it's Chester Rogers.
Chester Rogers. So, how much of an impact? Because I'm not to say that Hilton was benefited from having a good number 2 alongside him, but now that the offense has kind of been shook up, with those players not being the same, I can't remember who was the guy. Kyle, was it Moncrief who was 2 years ago with the Colts? I mean, he was a impactful guy. And
Philip Dorsett was still pretty decent for them, and they kind of shipped those 2 guys out. So, I think for this season, you got to kind of temper your expectations for Colts players. You got to kind of expect them to take a step back. I mean, not be unplayable,
right? But I guess I'm curious, like let's rule Luck out as being an issue for a second, and see if just the other players around will affect
Well, they still got a good offensive line.
Plays. Right.
The line's still good. They're still a good team. There's no denying that. Ears getting sweaty over there.
Upstairs somewhere.
Upstairs, Mike?
Yeah, if you
Or right over here?
No. Go upstairs. It's the door next to the kitchen.
You're wearing jeans; they'll absorb.
Yeah, I tell you, I saw him as the drive down, and I was like, nah, I should have told him to wear shorts.
Oh, we have our first write-in, Paul.
David Montgomery for CJ and the Man.
Nice.
I did it for you, Paul.
Thank you.
Did it for you.
Deuces up.
We'll work something out.
Deuces
Trade
up.
situation. Gross. I don't want him, though.
I do.
I'd hope so. You just picked him.
Yeah, I don't really want
All
this.
right, Eric, we haven't heard a lot out of you. What do you think about the Jets roster besides Le'Veon Bell? Anybody worth taking?
There's a few players.
Well, I want to hear from Eric. He hasn't said
Oh,
a
you said
single
Eric.
thing.
Offense or defense? I don't know. I'm in a lot of leagues
We're not-
where we do defensive players too.
Offense. Standard fantasy.
Defensive
league.
guys, man.
There's nothing wrong with little defense.
He
It
tried
makes
to.
the
He
game
tried to.
so much fun.
He tried to incorporate a defensive flex into my league.
No, instead we have 95 wide receivers. It's great.
Three.
But it would be funny if you just throw in just one defensive flex spot.
That's it. Just one guy.
Hey, you're going to draft a defense and one defensive player.
Choose
One
wisely.
individual.
It could be anybody.
Kiko Alonso again.
Come on, B.W. Webb.
Nathan
Where
Thatcher.
Why
is he
doesn't
these
Montgomery
days?
have a sticker? Just saying.
So the board that came out with this, the company that produced this, they only put like rookies that were in the top 300 that were drafted rounds 1 through 3.
No respect. That's all I'm saying.
It was the way they did it. They produced it that way. There's some that have them on the sticker.
You should write a letter.
I'm not really worried about it.
This was a partner company of Michelin Tires who made this draft. they're new to the draft game. Yes.
So Eric, back to you.
Yes.
Jets worth drafting, non-defensive
He
flex.
forgot so fast what we were talking about.
I know it was only 2 seconds ago, right?
Massey, you're picking.
Not really into Robbie Anderson. I don't know. Some people are.
Is it Robbie or Roby?
Roby?
It's definitely Robbie. It's
Robinson?
100% Robbie.
But I've heard, some
announcers have
said
called him
Roby.
Roby Anderson.
No, he's 100% Robbie Anderson.
I think it's Robbie, but
I
I've
know
heard
it's
Roby.
Robbie.
Has he been questioned?
I don't know.
We got to
question him.
we got to
Like,
bring him in.
he's
We gotta
been
bring him
on
in.
WFAN
We
for
got-
interviews.
we gotta bring
His
him
name
in.
is Robbie.
Ladies and gentlemen, Corey Webster and Robbie / Roby.
I'd like to look at
Rebecca
Rebecca
picked-
and say, gross. Terrible pick.
Who'd you pick?
Terrible
I didn't even see it.
pick.
Kyle Rudolph.
Haven't seen the pick yet.
She took Kyle Rudolph.
Oh.
Did.
Rebecca.
Oh, Lord.
So it makes sense, but terrible pick. I hate him so much.
I got to go way down now to select this one.
Pretty much just going to leave that one there.
Oh, tie change.
It's a totally
It is
different
hot.
person.
I'm glad you said it, man. I don't have a wife beater, but can I just go shirtless? Is that...
Hey, it's been done before.
Was it Paul?
I've actually been naked.
Oh, it's
in here.
everybody. When we used to record back in Maple Drive, that place, it was basically a nude recording.
Yeah. It would get pretty steamy
You
in
wore
there.
a paper towel over your lap, and then you just hope for no gust of wind.
I'm bringing a diaper next time.
Depends.
Kendall's
I
been
don't
talking
have to
about that for
yeah.
weeks.
I'm having
Months
weeks,
and years.
Years is the correct amount of time.
So we had the first reach of today. What do you guys think?
Derrick Henry?
No.
Oh,
Kyle Rudolph.
who might not even be the number 1 tight end on their team.
Yeah, because he's a trash player.
No, he did trash for you.
He's a trash player. God, I hate him so much.
I'm glad you bench him and he goes up.
I get him every year.
Kendall,
Every
they're
year.
really
Kyle
manhandling
Rudolph.
your fiance here. Really
stop
manhandling her.
Every year, I end up with Kyle Rudolph, and I play him all year, and then I go, you know what, this guy's really not that good. And then I sit him, and then he catches 3 touchdowns.
There's like 4 good tight ends in the NFL.
I hate him
4.
so much.
Kittle, Ertz, mine, and Kelsey.
Is there a guy named Mine?
God.
My tight end.
Like Trey Burton.
No, like my ass. My
Oh.
tight end. Mock got it. Mock got it. Ty got it. He just didn't laugh. All
What did you say?
right, Ty, is there anybody on the San Francisco 49ers worth taking besides Garoppolo for fantasy this year?
Yeah, right, Kittle.
Let's see if you knew where Kittle was.
It's funny, he's almost nowhere near the microphone.
I'd like to
Yeah,
interject
you
on
hear me
that
though, right?
question.
Can you hear
Dude,
me?
no, you got
You gotta
Dante
talk
Pettis?
into the mic.
pull it into your face.
Dude,
Dante
honestly, I
Pettis,
pulled it
breakout
away
player.
'cause-
Debo Samuel,
Anyone,
sleeper.
anyone want to talk about Dante Pettis?
They said that last year. He did nothing.
No,
Did you say Pettis?
First of all, he had a few big games in the second half. He showed promise this year. Okay, with a healthy Garoppolo. Okay, hopefully, healthy Garoppolo.
Go out of bounds.
Okay,
From the guy that's going to pick Jerick McKinnon later.
all right. You're talking about me, right? Right, Kyle? Is that who you,
Yeah.
You're talking about? I'm going to pick Jerick McKinnon.
Yep.
No, you're talking the wrong guy there, buddy.
That's right,
Okay.
your brother.
You're thinking of
So
the wrong
Kendall's actually got
Jankowski.
more Seahawks than Chargers so far.
Yeah.
So you're going Seattle this year.
I just like the West Coast a lot. As you can see by my lists, Houston being the easternmost.
Lockett was a fantastic pick.
Why, thank you.
Yeah, he sucks.
Souls, you just hate me in fantasy. I
I
don't know
hate
why.
you.
You know, if I didn't already take the name Pop Lockett Drop, it would have been out there for you.
That would have been good.
Yeah.
I want to see if I can coordinate like multiple names that I have to make a. I don't know if I have anything.
You
working
know, that's
yet.
the
You're
ultimate.
talking about the Sea Angeles Seahawks.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Sea Angeles Chiefs.
Kendall and I used to do this thing where you take 2 teams. It would be something drunk we used to do. You just take 2 teams. You got to morph their city into one word and then their team name. So it'd be Sea Angeles and then the Seahawks.
Yeah. I was always partial to the San Indianapolis Colgers. No laughs.
Care to take a stab at it, Chris?
What?
Take 2 teams. Think of 2 teams and then morph their city and their team name together to make something funny.
Oh man, you're putting me on the spot here after a beer.
The New York,
Come on, man. You got
Come
this.
back to me
Giants.
next round.
It's after a beard, man.
the New York Gets.
Kansas City Queefs. Can I just make one team?
Ooh, that was a good
Yeah,
one.
there you go. Jacksonville Jaguars.
No, you're just making
do it.
puns. You gotta morph them.
The New Witzburg Stets.
You know, Kendall, I ran out of spare Red Dogs. We're going to have to send Rebecca.
Well, the mass is coming. We can tell him to pick up. Is that the mass now?
He said 10 minutes.
Is
Which
that,
is kind of incredible.
There is a lot of misogyny in this room.
Yeah. All right, well, his pick's in, so you can go ahead and go, Ty.
For what it's worth, I
I'm
am
going,
actually
baby.
only 10 minutes out.
Whoa, the mass. Oh, we can get his image back up.
Yeah, you got me.
Like Josh
Stop in the car.
or Melvin.
Melvin.
You drafted him again?
Yeah. Dude,
Nowhere.
he's going somewhere. What do you think? He's just going nowhere? He's going somewhere.
We just talked about it.
I probably was not listening. You guys are right in my ear, and I'm not listening.
Didn't we get Melvin Gordon and Todd Gurley in our league,
Yeah.
too?
Yeah.
What did I say when I first got here? I said, get ready for me to draft. the same exact team. But honestly, it's a little different. It's a little different.
Like 2 players?
Kyle, I think you're up.
You are.
Yeah, it is 2 players different. You're exactly right, Kyle.
So
Just
what
to
about?
be out of the census.
So we kind of like covered like the sleepers, but
So I got police radar.
figure you guys can talk so much stuff about who makes up this list. But if you were to make the top 5 wide receiver list for fantasy football, who has the biggest bust potential?
Biggest bust?
Beckham.
Yeah, I would say Beckham too, I guess. Yeah.
100%.
Beckham has a pretty big bust potential, but Brown has a pretty big bust
Elaborate, or are we just going to leave it at that?
I don't
Yeah,
look at
Brown
Brown in the top
too,
5.
Brown too, yeah.
I don't look at Brown in the top 5 though right now.
No, I don't either. Honestly, fuck
Freddie
Brown.
Kitchens's a first-year coordinator. You got a good amount of weapons around Mayfield. You don't know that Beckham's going to get every single look. He's definitely going to get the number 1 corner.
Other people can chime in with
Massey's
topics.
talking.
Why? Why is he?
Who is
He was
that?
talking.
Yeah,
That's Chris Massey. He's on his way.
So what is he just on the phone?
Well, he's via Skype, but
All right, I
Dude,
can't.
we can hear him. That's crazy.
All right.
Oh, like you can hear him through your...
Through the headphones.
I'm using my GPS. You guys can't see
No, I can hear him. I'm saying how. How can I hear him?
The magic of radio.
That's quality producing right there.
Are you talking about your pick?
Your the number 1
Right?
corner. You don't know who they're going to throw to.
Right? Good in the spot.
I don't know. I hate Raider running backs. They usually suck ass.
Hey, Gruden has been watching this guy since high school.
Those are facts, by the way, Kyle.
This guy's good, man.
Dude, honestly, I'm surprised Gordon fell that far.
Well, he's not going to be playing for a while, Ty.
Dude, you're looking at Elliott got drafted 4.
He's about to.
He's
get
going to
signed.
report soon.
Oh, well, that's Jeff's team, so whatever. That
Yeah,
makes sense.
so fuck him.
That makes sense. I forgot that.
We should have given him Melvin.
I took Gordon in the 7th round in my league.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, you never know. You never know.
We know.
Real quick, have you ever listened to a John Gruden like talking about a player and he's just talking about these arbitrary traits? Saying this guy's got anticipatory vision.
We have Gruden right over there.
Can't
Great
I
measure
went
that
to his
up.
house
speed.
in his walk-in closet. You should have seen the stuff he wears, man.
He's
Unbelievable.
got the best
Those
uphill
guys.
speed in the league.
And he loves every player. Remember when he used to do the draft analysis during the draft?
Yeah.
It'd be like a 6th round receiver. He'd be like, I love this guy's route running. I mean, this guy's unbelievable. Like he never watched him a day
Yeah,
in his
that's
life.
part of him.
I love when he did the quarterback camp, and he'd pull him in and be watching tape, be like, "Man, I really see like you did there. You know, you saw that corner cutting over, and you just beat him deep." Like, yeah,
Yeah.
And you know
My
what?
job.
it's a routine post pattern there.
And you know he's lying to the guy? He did one with Josh Dobbs. And that guy can't throw the ball.
Hey, tell you what, he loves Nathan Peterman.
You can just tell that John.
You know,
John
Paul, I
Gruden-
never did ask, Paul. Is this PPR?
It is
Half point.
Half point
Half
per
point,
reception.
okay.
Because you can have the potential to start.
Well, I just want to make sure it wasn't a standard scoring, because then I'd be like,
I'd be like, "Uh-oh."
well, no, it wouldn't have really changed my draft, but I just wondering.
That's fair. All right, continue. I'm really struggling.
I know, I'm, because I know I'm gonna be on the clock soon, so I gotta pay attention.
What is this bag here?
Those are cheeseburgers for Massey because he hasn't eaten since before the Yankee game.
Oh, gotcha.
We're just kind of letting them marinate over there.
There's got to be like 4 burgers in here.
Sorry.
3?
Matt,
All right, well, it's 2 now.
Matt,
Okay.
how's that going to affect the Jenny Craig?
That's
This is going to destroy your points.
really,
Today I really
stumbling
don't
here.
care. I'm fucking
Jenny
starving.
Craig. Remember they used to just change the jingle with the year? 1-800-94 Jenny. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember that? And it was 95.
me.
Was that actually a thing?
I got 2 minutes
Yeah,
because I'm
it was-
back to back.
It begs the question
Oh,
why they
you're
had to change their
generating
number, though.
That's true.
That is true. I'd like to talk about John Gruden a little bit more if you guys are interested.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the guy just seems sexually excited all the time.
Well, he's over there in the corner with a nice
You know,
Corona.
Yeah, he's like, like,
Is that Emmanuel Sanders?
Yes.
DeBrickashaw Sanders, actually.
Brickashaw?
Chris's twin.
Do we have a first
Fuck you, Paul.
quarterback?
No, actually, Mahomes went in the 3rd round.
yeah.
Huh? Didn't even see it.
Because you're a jackass.
I always flirt with taking Aaron Rodgers just to see Mock's reaction.
I was hoping he did it.
What pick are you, Mike?
Paul, who'd you end up taking?
He's picking now.
I'm picking now.
He ended up taking Drew Brees.
Got a pretty loud blinker there, Mass.
Yeah, well, you'll fucking deal with it. I'm pulling in right now.
Oh, Master's here.
Is that the guy that
Although
just took Drew Brees?
there is nowhere to
No,
park
it was
you.
not.
That's great.
That was you?
I took Drews.
That's your team at the end.
Yes.
Now, Mass, when you get here, you still have to stay on Skype.
That's fine.
That's fine. I'll just sit in the car and do it. I got Wi-Fi out here.
It'd be pretty funny. He's like in the car, just like, you could come down here. No, pretty comfortable.
But
What?
the Lions picked up J.D. McKissick the other day.
Yeah.
Rodgers. That's what you should have picked, Paul.
No.
Just a hard negative.
Is this going to be an all-quarterback round? I hope so.
Here goes Phillip Rivers.
Paul, if Rodgers was there in the 15th round, would you take him?
No, because I'd already have a quarterback.
Would you take Rodgers if you didn't have a quarterback? Would you take Rodgers?
But he already was.
Depends who else is there.
What?
Depends who else is there.
Rivers and Roethlisberger are the next two guys.
No, I would take Roethlisberger or Rivers.
Wow.
I don't want to play him. There is no scenario in which I want to cheer for the Packers, ever.
I think I might hate Zeke more than you hate Rodgers. I might.
No way.
No shot.
No way. There's
I don't
honest.
know, man.
You pick
I'm
Zeke
telling you,
in fantasy.
Yeah.
I literally won't pick Rodgers.
there's
I will
really
not
no
pick
Is
way.
that the barometer? Is that the barometer?
There's
I
really-
hate Zeke.
I know, but like I've watched Paul, like, just like on the sight of Rodgers, like throw things. He hates him.
I'm not gonna.
Like you know how
I was
much
gonna say
Kyle
something.
doesn't like Joe Flacco.
Kyle secretly loves Joe Flacco.
I know he
I
does.
do not. He is the most overrated guy.
Kyle-
Streak.
Kyle has a fat head of Joe Flacco. He did in the old house at 477 Gravel
he
Street.
didn't.
Had a Joe Flacco fat head. You liar.
Here's the deal.
I lived there, Kyle.
Yeah,
I
so
saw
did
it.
Here's
I
the deal.
put it there.
Here's the deal. I would pick Sam Darnold before I would pick Aaron Rodgers.
Is there a quarterback you'd pick Rodgers over? A backup, maybe?
Joe Flacco.
Would I pick Rodgers over somebody else?
When Ryan
If I was
Lindley...
playing in
anyone
a
remember Ryan
32 team
Lindley?
league, if I was playing in a 32 team league and I had the last quarterback available to me, which was Rodgers, then I'd pick him because I'd need a starting quarterback. That's the only scenario. There'd have to be 32 fantasy teams,
Wait a minute. You
and
almost
Rodgers
took
would
him
have to
in
be
our
the
other
last.
draft.
That's it. I would. There's no other way.
So you would go Case Keenum.
Yes.
But you almost took him in our other draft.
No, I just did that to get a rise out of you. I would never do
That would
that.
have been awesome.
To get
I have
a rise
only
out of
drafted one Packer.
Jermichael?
No, fuck you. Now I hope Barkley tears his ACL for that fucking comment. All of you suffer.
Dude, don't do that to him just because of this fucking guy. That's not cool.
He hates Jermichael Finley.
That was the
so
worst
much.
thing you've ever said, Paul.
That's not
No,
cool.
the
Paul.
worst thing I've ever said.
Why
I can't
would
say
you do
on air.
that?
No, that was the worst thing you've ever said.
I've made a lot of pretty bad taste jokes before.
Who's up? It's not me, right? Because
It is you.
is it me?
Yeah.
Well, shit. Can you just move aside for me so I can see what bad decision I'm about to make?
There's no scenario.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I care more about enjoying watching football than I ever will about fantasy.
Chris Massey.
So
I'm with you on that.
I will never ever give myself. The only time I ever picked a Packer was because it was last year in a league I did, and it was the 6th round, and somehow Devontae Adams got forgotten about.
So if Devontae Adams is there in the 4th round this year, which he wouldn't be, but if he was, would you
I'd
have to
consider picking him,
Okay.
but that's the only guy. That's it.
Because Devontae Adams isn't as critical to the Packers winning as Rodgers.
I respect Devontae Adams more than I respect Aaron Rodgers.
You can at least admit Aaron Rodgers is one of the top.
He's he's one of the most talented quarterbacks playing football, and maybe one of the most talented of all time.
Who's more talented than him playing right now?
Kyler Murray.
Mass, let me test your
Well, fine. Let me rephrase the talented thing.
Probably fucked up.
He's one of the best quarterbacks playing football right now, and he might be the best of all time. Or
You were
might be
kidding
one
with
of
the
best
Kyler
of all
Murray,
time.
right?
Yeah, it's a joke. But I enjoy watching football more than I ever watch. I'll bench Devontae Adams. I can't draft a quarterback that I'm going to bench that's going to play my team twice a year. I can eat the 0 on Devontae Adams twice a year.
Oh, you won't play a player against your team.
I won't play a Packer against my team.
See, the way I look at
I
it is
generally won't play a division rival against my team. You'll notice I very rarely pick. I mean, there's no Lions really, in my opinion, worth taking
Facts.
until late in the rounds, and I usually don't. I usually kind of wait, so I don't really ever get a chance at Thielen and Diggs anyway.
What about this? Devontae Adams is going to do what Devontae Adams is going to do, whether you played him or not. So how crappy would it be if you guys lose? Devontae Adams goes off. You didn't get the fantasy points, and your team lost.
Let me tell you something. You want to know why? People like Kyle. I will not watch my team be losing 21-7 in the 4th quarter and be like, oh, well, okay, whatever. All right, hopefully Mike Wallace catches his touchdown from Joe Flacco. I will never do that.
Kyle also has a jersey from every single NFL football team in his closet.
I do not. I have like 4.
You're up here.
You're a liar.
And 2 of them are the same person.
Cam Hayward's his favorite jersey, right, Kendall?
I've seen Kyle in
That's
an
right.
Atlanta Braves hat multiple times.
That's false. Now you can get the hell out of here.
I've seen it on so many occasions.
I may have photoshopped a picture of Kyle with an Atlanta Braves
I have
hat.
so many receivers.
You do, Kyle. That you do.
They just keep falling.
I've got RBs, bro. So if you want to make a trade, I've got RBs.
Actually, no, you don't have. You guys can actually stop texting picks if you want, because now that Chris is here, he can see who's being.
You
picked.
don't want my
I
dick
thought,
pics
I thought
anymore?
you didn't want us to say the picks.
You can like mouth it to me, text. You can do whatever you want. I'm just
Oh.
saying if you want to mouth. Eric likes mouthing it,
Yeah, he does.
Damn right.
so go ahead, mouth it to me.
I just got massive Brandon Cooks pick.
Just came through the line. Kendall, we've been off the air this whole time.
Oh, goodness. Now we're back. Whew, that was a close one. Only an hour
Well,
and
back
7
to
in.
the Indianapolis Colts thing we forgot about.
Well, no, let me finish up the thing against Chris real quick. Then we'll go to that. Not against Chris. Sorry, I'm not
Don't
attacking.
against me.
I enjoy
Fight 'em.
watching football more than I'll ever enjoy fantasy football.
Paul, have you met a guy more passionate about his team than I am with the Giants? I mean, very few people.
No, I understand
Because
that.
Eric gives up on his team when they lose.
No
I
way.
watch every single game of the Giants. I have not missed a Giants game, and they've been like 4-12 for like
No,
6
I
straight
understand
seasons.
that.
Okay,
I understand that,
That's
but
not true.
there's
except for the one season they went 11-5.
the Bears could be losing 45-0 in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
And I still will not. I won't root for another player on another team to score a touchdown, even though the Bears have no chance at winning. It won't happen.
I hear you, man. I mean, we could have a dick measuring contest about who's
No,
the better
it's
fan.
not.
The bottom line
It's
is,
not. It has nothing
Whip
to do
it
with
out.
that. I'm just saying, like
Whip it out.
certain players, like Christian McCaffrey, for example. I would have no problem playing him against the Bears because it's one game, but I can't do it with Vikings. I can't do it with Lions. I can't do it with Packers. Because it's not. If you're going to try to play fantasy to win, you can't eat the L, and I just won't do it. Are you kidding me?
I want him.
Where are you drafting?
Matty Ice, baby.
Ooh, yuck.
Time to get chilly.
Dick, we're saving that for the next pick.
Hey,
this round's basically just all quarterbacks. Everybody's
Yeah,
like a quarterback.
Kendall called it.
Yeah. Somebody
And,
had to
Jameis
get
Winston's
Kenny
available
Galladay.
for Jeff.
Souls was the one that really screwed it up.
Sleeper, Jameis
Jeff-
Winston.
no, I just have one for Jeff. What was it?
It was Jameis Winston.
It wasn't.
You guys want to talk about sleepers? Jameis
Oh.
Winston, potential breakout player this year, like big time.
I can get behind that.
Top
Like-
of the board. It's
But he
AJ
can also
Green.
be bad.
I doubt it. I'm telling you that. First of all, Jameis Winston is loaded with talent. He's loaded with talent.
is.
He's got weapons all around him. Not in the running game, but in the receiving game. O.J. Howard's going to be healthy this year,
And most importantly, he's got Bruce Arians.
and he's got Bruce. Thank you, Kyle. He's got Bruce Arians. He has history with Bruce Arians.
Just kiss him already.
I will. That's when Ben was at his best.
Well, Jameis still has Mike Evans, who he loves, and
Why?
I think Jameis Winston for me is kind of like he's a target whore. He likes to pick a guy and target him a lot in one game, and that didn't bode well on the offensive side of the ball because Deshaun Jackson wasn't happy with his lack of touches, especially after Ryan Fitzpatrick really featured him in the offense.
Yeah.
So now that he's gone, it's kind of like everyone else just kind of is like understanding of like, so Mike Evans is the guy. We just got to try to get open in case they triple team him, and still probably not get the ball.
Pretty much.
Just pull that mic out of that and put it in that stand.
I didn't hear what she said, but I don't think it was a good pick.
Well, she took Kyle Rudolph again.
I think
Believe
she took
it
Eli
or not.
Manning. She took Eli Manning.
Oh my God! It's Kirk Cousins.
Oh wow.
Testing,
Okay, now
testing, 1, 2, 3.
that supplants Kyle Rudolph as the biggest reach. Maybe that's right there. That's right there.
Oh wait, I did this one. Oh yeah, I did.
I hate having back-to-back picks because every time I do this and I have back-to-back picks, there's either two guys I really, really wanted and I'm happy I have it, or I don't really want anybody right then.
Yeah.
So I just pick two guys. I'm kind of just like,
What idiot picked Matt Ryan?
You.
No, he didn't.
I don't know, probably the same person who's porking an idiot that picked Kirk Cousins.
Good
And
assessment.
Kyle Rudolph.
Good assessment. So besides Jameis Winston, who else is like a real sleeper at quarterback?
Ryan Fitzpatrick. And I'll tell you why.
Please elaborate.
It was 2 years ago since his last good season. And in the Fitzpatrick football calendar, it's coming around again. So enjoy a big football Fitzpatrick year. You heard
He's
it
going to
here
have
first.
started for 25% of NFL teams this season.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much.
Kendall really wants to get all his jerseys.
Oh, on a whole
Kyle,
catalog.
I'm telling your dad you picked AJ Green.
I didn't pick him.
Jeff did.
Oh.
He's picking. He's
I
kind
don't
of.
know.
I'm still telling your dad you did.
No, he's like picking Jeff's picks, like doing kind of like.
Oh.
He's kind of doing like best available
Kyle came
with
through with
position
Derrick
needed.
Henry, and I was like, oh. So I thought Kyle was the one picking that team.
No, I would never pick Derrick Henry.
Because your name is popping up with the picks.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why I thought it was you.
My team's over there with a bunch of receivers.
Yeah, with all the blue stickers, that's Kyle's team.
You're picking the team you wish you had with Jeff's team, and I'm telling your dad.
Nah.
Like, that's the ultimate threat. Yeah, I'm telling your father.
His dad would be really mad about that.
I know it.
He breaks.
CJ and the man, you're up.
God damn it. I forgot about that guy.
Kyle!
For a lot of listeners, you'll never get to appreciate watching football with Kyle and his father because fantasy is a very important aspect of the Sunday. And when something's going wrong for the fantasy team, Kyle's the ultimate blame. I knew you should have started.
I told you not to play him, Kyle!
All right, let me break this down for you. So everybody, with the exception of Ty
What's up?
and the Mass, really know Bob well here, especially Eric and CJ and the man, because they're in the family.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And so last year, Kyle convinced Bob to pick Allen Robinson, and he had a very spotty season. He had a game where he'd put up like maybe 14, 15 points, 3, like that kind of season. So this year, I hear Bob just being like, we could take Allen Robinson. All last season, motherfuck this guy. I hate this guy. I hope he dies. He's a piece of shit. The Bears suck. Start of the season for the draft this year. Allen Robinson's a good-looking pick. Like,
Yeah, I'm supposed to slap him.
So they drafted Allen Robinson.
Moral of the story here.
so let's keep going with the quarterbacks, though, because sleeper quarterbacks are a big thing, because it's kind of like a good problem to have when you have two quarterbacks that are playing well, because most leagues you can only start one, but it also helps with trade situations.
Yeah.
Especially with injuries or if someone's not playing up to par. Like, for example, someone who I'm not shitting on Mike Mock, but like somebody who picks an elite quarterback like Aaron Rodgers who does have health issues, if he doesn't have a good backup and you have two good quarterbacks, you have good trade bait in a situation like that. So who are other sleeper quarterbacks?
Picks. Josh Gordon, Damian Williams.
Is Josh Gordon not already been selected?
He is not. I've been
Melvin
weed
Gordon
right now.
So we said Jameis Winston. Who else did we bring up? Oh, you said Ryan Fitzpatrick. So nobody else real. So somebody
Did we say Sam Darnold?
we didn't. Do you care to give a reason as to why?
I
don't disagree with it, I just wanna know
because
why.
Bell's on the team now, I think that it gives the option of either running it or
Was Josh
throwing
Gordon
it.
Good safety blanket.
Yeah, I don't know much about the receivers, but
Oh, they got that,
give them the option to
Roby,
you never know
Robbie.
what's coming, kind of thing.
It's 100% Robbie. I mean, I'm telling you, you guys could just give up on the Roby.
Listen, I need a phonetics expert coming
Jamison
down.
Crowder, by the way, no one's mentioned that guy. Okay, he was hurt all year last year,
Yeah.
but the year before that he was
This is
a
a write-in.
stud, and he was like the number one waiver wire
It was
pickup.
2 years ago.
I just said the year before.
No, before that one.
No, it wasn't.
The year before that, I had him in like all my fantasy teams, and he didn't play well.
Kyle, he was hurt last year.
Nah, he
The
didn't
year
play well.
before that, he was the number one waiver wire pickup. I had him in multiple leagues.
So did I.
And he was a
Also,
stud.
Eli Manning.
That was
What's up, baby?
Kyle's favorite soap opera is all my
So-
fantasy teams.
Quarterback's a weird position in fantasy because it's a very it's almost like defenses where you can kind of just stream almost week to week.
Right in again?
Well, he up until like 2 weeks ago he wasn't active.
He was on
Josh
like
Gordon.
the permanent ban list.
He's
Write a
smoking weed.
No, I don't care about that.
Stay
And
on
Damian Williams, right?
weed.
Yes.
So I mean, quarterbacks you can stream on. So I mean, Tyler just meant he's like Eli Manning. In the right matchup, I think you can stream Eli. Like if your guy's hurt or not playing well, I don't think it's a terrible fantasy play. Are you going to watch the game and probably be like, I don't know if this was a good call? Yeah, probably. But I mean, he has
Dude,
above
honestly,
average games.
As
So,
of
I mean-
right now, Eli Manning is not a viable fantasy starter.
No, but I
This
mean,
year's different. I mean, you got to watch a couple games, I guess.
in
to
the right
see.
in the right matchup, like you can stream him for a week. He's not going to be your
They got a
week in,
different
week
line
out
this year, too.
fantasy starting quarterback. I get that, but I mean, if the right matchup is there, you can play him if Rodgers
It's your pick.
sits a week because he's hurt or whatever.
Damian Williams.
He can get in there.
Motherfucker, I'm picking another receiver, aren't I?
You are.
There's just like 7 good ones left.
I can't believe Damian Williams made it to freaking.
What about Josh Allen? I know there's not a lot of targets for him to throw to, but the Lamar
I think he could be.
Jackson type of thing, a lot of rushing yards.
Josh Allen,
he's
number
aggressive.
2 behind Saquon Barkley with 20-plus yard runs last year. Josh Allen.
He's not going to do that.
You're going to
all the
rack
time,
up
though.
more points at running the ball than he is throwing it. I mean, it's easier for him to get if you do bonus leagues, touchdowns. It's going to be easier for him to run them in than throw them in. Is he considered a viable late draft for your bye week quarterback type of guy?
I see,
absolutely.
Because
Second quarterback. Yeah.
Because they got Cole Beasley now, who's a good slot guy for him. They got a deep threat in John Brown.
Hate him, by the way. Cole Beasley.
Got a deep threat in John Brown. The only thing you're worried about from Josh Allen is him hurdling people, which you never think you would ever hear from a quarterback.
He did that once, Kyle.
Yeah, and
He
I
got
think
hurt.
the coach was like, "Hey, you shouldn't do that ever again. Stop doing that forever."
Lamar Jackson, I feel like, does that 8 times a game.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, he can't throw the ball, so
Yeah,
he better be
he has
hurdling.
to do it. Josh Allen's got a cannon of an arm.
Is Josh Allen? He's on the Cardinals.
He's on the Bills.
Who's the guy? Who's the guy in the Cardinals?
Kyler Murray.
Hold on.
Nah,
All
well,
right,
Hold
guys.
on.
I did the right thing here. It was the wrong thing and the right thing. I know this is a competitive spirit with the whole thing, but we see Rebecca's team, correct?
Yeah.
Her next pick was geared to be Mitch Trubisky, and I told her not to do that. Is that fair,
fair.
to say that it was okay to tell her not to do that?
What? They could pick it anyway.
Every league's got that person, and you got to let him pick.
We did a draft the other day, and everyone kind of got really. Last week, people started getting real drunk. We had a guy draft 5 quarterbacks,
And
he got
another
a B-
guy draft 4.
and he got a B+ rating.
Rebecca, are you drunk?
You gotta be.
Well, she looked at a beer before, so maybe.
You need to start a quarterback. You can have a second on your bench if you wish, but he's going to start for you. Why, I don't know, but he's going to start for you. So you should probably fill in the holes. You still have 2 flexes to fill in.
Paul, did she send in the pick Mitch Trubisky?
No, she didn't text it. She just kind of whispered it to me, but she whispered it in a question.
He's like, I felt that. I felt the question.
I felt the question.
Bisky?
That's the one mulligan there.
But no, back to Josh Allen. But
No,
Josh
she-
Allen's
she's
the one
like
that
the
got
draft mulligan.
drafted to the Cardinals, or no?
No, you're talking Josh
Very
Rosen.
well.
Oh yeah, okay.
Anybody
Fuck
watch the
that
league?
guy.
Yeah.
Taco? My taco buy?
He's also the guy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Taco?
Yep.
I only watched the first half of the first season of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Dude, watch it all.
I should.
The show is good.
It's funny as hell.
I'm watching The Office right now.
The Office is the
I
best
love
show
The
ever
Office.
made.
How we
I'm,
get
I'm
this?
on season 6 right now.
That's awesome.
Just stop talking.
It's the best show ever.
You're gonna
Dude,
ruin
once
an
you
episode.
finish
I
it, do
promise
yourself
you
a
won't.
favor and just start it over, my man. Just start it over.
That show is fantastic.
Or just end
So
watching.
good.
Did Dwight die yet?
Eric hates it. Are you
Yeah.
the only person in America that hates The Office?
Yep. Nope.
No,
Don't like
he's
it.
not.
He's
Don't
like
like
one
it.
of
I've never
5.
watched
Yeah,
The Office.
one of the 5.
I've never watched The Office.
Don't do
But
it.
you don't know if you hate it yet.
No.
Right.
Stick with Family Guy. It's better.
Well, it's a completely different.
Gross.
Yeah, that's what do you mean? It's like I don't like apples. I only eat steak.
Dude, same.
F is for Family. Anybody watch that?
Oh, that show's fucking
I
hilarious.
caught a little bit.
Great.
I turned Kendall onto that one.
About a family?
Yeah, I'm gonna put you through that. No. F
Quick
is for
plug.
Family.
Oh,
Bill
that's
Burr
alright.
special, September 10th. Bill Burr special, September 10th. Check it out.
I'm sure Bill's going to send you a check for that.
He's not, but
I'm gonna put you through that fucking wall.
he might come to my birthday
Ew.
party. He might be at my birthday next
Better
year.
pick than Mitch Trubisky.
Can I tell you? I don't think I've
Barely.
ever hated a
No,
fantasy
way
team
better.
more than Rebecca's team right now. Rebecca, I hope you're ready for your gross shot.
Are you picking for Jeff or what?
Oh, shit. Forgot about him.
I got to scroll down quite a bit to find this name.
He's got Duke Johnson.
The Duke.
Is that a lot of running backs?
He's already got 3 or 4 running backs up. It's up to you.
No, receiver. Then give him Alshon Jeffrey.
All right, we can pick back up. Kendall, you're up.
Man.
So let's kind of flip script a little bit here. We're kind of stalling out in fantasy. So you guys want to start some NFL season expectations? We can kind of go around the horn and start actually going by teams if you want. We can just cover every team. We have plenty of time. Some are going to be
cover
longer
one
than others. So we'll start in the most obvious spot, the AFC South. So lead it off with the Tennessee Titans.
They're going to suck ass.
The Tennessee Titans are basically capped out at about 8-8 with
Potential,
with what they
potential
got.
of 9-7.
Mariota?
Mariota is an 8-8 quarterback. He has it written all
They
over
have a
him.
potential of 9-7 with a floor
Maybe.
of 7 and 8.
They might tie a game.
They might sneak into the playoffs, maybe because
Just to get their ass kicked in round 1.
right, because their division's trash outside the Texans.
Well, the Colts aren't bad.
Confusing me.
The Colts are horrific without Andrew Luck. Have you
I don't
watched them
think
without
they'll be
Luck?
horrific.
Have you watched them without Luck?
But this
Have
is
you
a
seen
different
them?
team.
It's how?
Better defense and better
The
O-line.
defense is good. The offensive line is great. There's
I
still
understand.
talent on that team.
How about this trade? They suggested this on the fan. Eli Manning to the Colts.
You know, we were talking about that.
Would you not root for the Colts?
It won't happen.
No.
I don't know. I'd be pissed.
I would. Listen. I'm a diehard Giants fan. I love Eli. The Giants aren't making the playoffs this year. Let's be real. I mean,
Dude, honestly, we don't know that yet.
My realistic brain tells me the Giants are probably not making the playoffs. If Eli got traded, if we were doing bad and Eli got traded to the Colts, I would root for the Colts if the Giants were.
I'd be about it.
All right, go back to texting Paul because he can't read lips.
No, he just can't read Kendall's.
Sorry.
Kendall just kiss
The
it on him.
problem is Kendall doesn't move his lips; he moves his teeth.
You should see how I eat.
All right, so let's move on to the Jaguars.
I think they win the division at 11-5.
You think they're an 11-win team?
Did you
they're
just
playing
say
a
the
last
Jaguars
place
are an 11-win team?
Yeah.
Well, hold on.
playing a
Nick
last place
Foles is a 500 football player, so that's 8 and
He's
8.
a 7 and
So
9
Nick
football
Foles is like 7 games better.
No, they're
Then Blake
Great.
Bortles?
so hear me out.
But their defense also got better.
Trash.
You're facing
Into the microphone.
the Titans twice. They can beat them very easily. Facing the Colts twice.
You could lose to the Titans. They play tough. They have a good defense.
And when J.J. Watt gets injured,
Clowney's gone.
The Texans might take a step back. And they have a last place schedule. I don't know who they play from the NFC.
Well, I mean, listen, the Jaguars have the talent on defense, sure.
right? But what he's saying though is like they play the Raiders, they play the Bengals, and they play the.
The Raiders have talent. The Raiders can beat teams. Like they're going to be able to be competitive.
But they can't stop teams.
No, but they can score 35 on you. Like they have.
Okay. Not defense.
Who's Foles throwing the ball to?
D.D. Westbrook.
DD is a sleeper.
Just
DD
drafted him.
That was hilarious. I read D.D. Westbrook.
Leonard
and I heard
Fournette is a stud when he's on the field.
When he's on the field.
Yes, he's a very. I mean, one of the most productive running backs in the league.
Is that
So-
hamstring going to hold up?
I think
Okay.
Mercedes Lewis.
So you think
My
Nick
fantasy
Foles
team
is gonna
hopes so.
win you 7 games?
I think
Hear me
at
out,
most
right?
he's winning you 7 games.
Okay. How much win will the defense of that Jaguar defense can win you? At least 3 or 4, right?
Well, if the Colts are as bad as everyone's saying at this table is saying they're going to be, that's 2 wins.
I don't think Jacksonville's an 11-win team.
Well, I mean, but so even if Foles wins you 7 games, I'm not saying they're an 11-win team, but if Foles wins you 7 games, right?
My follow-up argument wasn't going to be good. I was going to say I think they're a 10-win team.
It's like, I mean, even if their offense spirals out of control, they still have the talent to beat Miami. I still think they have the talent to beat the Raiders because the Raiders can put up points, but they're not going to put up those kinds of points on Jacksonville's defense. And Jacksonville's offense is way more talented than Oakland's defense by a long shot.
Yeah.
And then they play the Bengals, who are a dumpster fire all over the field.
Yes.
Yeah, they're bad.
And it's the same thing with Tennessee. Tennessee, they have a good defense and they play hard, but realistically, bottle up Derrick Henry and Deion Lewis, and you're good.
I think Tennessee. If you ask me my opinion, Tennessee's 8-8 this year. If you put a gun to my head, 8-8.
We're talking about Jacksonville, though.
Oh, Jacksonville now. We're on to Jacksonville.
No, we've been on them. You just argued with him about them being an 11-win team.
8-8 for Tennessee, 9-7 for Jacksonville.
Did that win them the division?
No. Houston's going to be an 11-5 team.
So let's move on to Houston then. Good segue.
Okay.
Good
so
job.
how is
Good job,
Houston
CJ and the
11-5
man.
win team?
What's that?
How is Houston 11-win team?
Well, I mean, I think it's good. So it's kind of dependent on J.J. Watt staying healthy because I think the defense runs through him. He's that kind of player. Okay? And then, obviously, they're loaded on offense with receivers. Loaded receivers. Deshaun Watson's one of the most talented quarterbacks in the league when he's healthy, obviously. Last year was a little weird for him. I think it took him a while to get back from that ACL injury.
He got hit a lot. He got sacked like 65 times.
They just traded for Tunzel, though.
No, but that's what I
gonna
mean.
help.
Like,
that's going to help.
absolutely.
And did they win 10 or 11 games last year?
I don't know off the top of my
They
head.
either won 10 or 11. They
Yeah.
won the division.
Yeah.
They had double-digit wins. I think they have a higher ceiling than they did last year. You know what I mean? And Will Fuller wasn't there for a large part of the season. Barring any setbacks with his injury.
He got hurt about midway, right? I think it was somewhere around the middle of the season.
Yeah, but he should be there for hopefully, God
Yeah.
willing, the whole season. ACLs are pretty straightforward. Guys come back from those. So, I mean, Will Fuller is another one of my sleepers. I think that guy's going to be a stud in fantasy if he stays healthy this year.
They have no secondary.
It's all about the pass rush now, though, Kyle.
Yeah, but they traded the best pass rush.
You look at the Chiefs and the Rams last year. Both had great pass rushes.
Okay.
Not much of a secondary.
Name another guy.
We had
besides
Aaron
J.J. Watt.
Donald. Excuse me, and that's about it.
Was that?
We had Aaron Donald, and that's about it.
Well, yeah, sometimes you only need that one guy. I mean, like, look what Khalil Mack did for the Bears.
Bears defense
hold
is
on.
fucking loaded. Who are you
I,
kidding?
I'm. First of all, the Bears were a sub 500 team, and then were one of the best teams in the NFC.
But
because of Mack.
It's not just because of Khalil Mack.
It was a big part of it.
But the Bears already had a top 10 defense without Khalil Mack.
They had Vic Fangio coaching
He
them
changed.
too.
He made your
But they
defense
went from
dominant.
But they were an 8. They were the 8th ranked defense. They were already a very good, way above average, very good defense.
And
Who
they
else-
were the
who
best
el-
defense in the
They
league
weren't
last year.
technically.
No,
The Ravens.
Hold on, hold
eye
on,
test
hold
tells
on.
you they were.
Okay,
Hold
but
on, who else
the
did you
offense
guys-
also went from being the 29th best offense to being the 14th best offense. That
Who
makes
el-
a huge difference.
Who
as well.
else did you guys draft in defense that year when you got Mac? Because you guys picked up 2 people that year, didn't you?
Roquan Smith,
Yeah.
who made a huge impact, and
Who would you
no,
pick up in
and
the
then
secondary?
we had Kyle Fuller and Eddie Jackson healthy the whole season.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I don't know if Mock picked it.
Yeah, I sent it.
For you not to recognize that Khalil Mack completely
That's not
changed
what
the
I
fabric
said.
of your season.
That's not what I said. But
he doesn't take them
But
from
everybody likes to make it seem like Khalil Mack took a 32nd ranked defense and made them the best defense in the NFL. He took a superstar defense and made them a better superstar defense. But the offense jumped from 29 to 14.
Well, what he was saying with the Rams, without Aaron Donald, it's not like they have no talent on defense. It's just the difference between Aaron Donald being there and not being there is huge. Just like if you took Khalil Mack off your team right now, you guys might win 8 or 9 games. I mean, he changed games for you guys. He changed them. He wrecked games.
He changed 2 games for us. He single-handedly won us 2 games.
Okay, but there's other games where he made a huge impact.
Yeah, he made a huge impact
maybe
week
you
1
wouldn't-
against the Green Bay Packers, and we lost because he got tired and gassed out because he didn't show up to training camp.
Oh yeah, right. That was his fault. That was his fault that you guys lost.
Not his
Khalil
fault, but he made a huge impact in the game, and it meant nothing.
They lost in spite of Khalil Mack.
It had
not
nothing.
because of
It
him.
had nothing to do with Aaron Rodgers just being great. You can't say
I
it.
didn't say that.
You can't say it.
That wasn't the argument. The argument was that you said Khalil
You
Mack
said they lost
single-handedly
because
changed
Khalil
games.
Mack got tired and got gassed.
No,
The whole
that's not what
defense
he
got
said.
tired and got gassed. But
No, he
Khalil
didn't
Mack,
say that.
Khalil
said
Mack had a
Khalil
pick
Mack got-
6, a forced fumble, 3 sacks. Absolutely game-changing performance on defense. Didn't win the game.
Well,
But
facts.
that's around the rest of the team. You can't
Meanwhile,
expect.
the next week, 2 weeks from then, Khalil Mack had 1 sack, no turnovers. Bears won the
When
game.
did he put up those numbers? He put up those numbers when who wasn't in the game? Who wasn't in the game when he was putting up the majority of those numbers in that game?
He sacked Aaron Rodgers 2 out of his 3 times. He
He
strip
got
sacked
hurt.
Aaron Rodgers, and the interception came on Kaiser. So his
And
forced
then-
fumble, two forced fumbles with Aaron Rodgers in the game.
When you guys built your lead, wasn't it predominantly without Aaron Rodgers in that?
No, we had the lead before Aaron Rodgers went out of the
But
game.
you built up a big lead.
No, we didn't have a huge lead.
No.
We were up 17.
Yeah.
17 nothing.
17 points is a big lead.
We
man,
were up
in
13.
the
We were up
NFL.
10 nothing before Aaron Rodgers went out. We scored 1 touchdown. So that's not a huge lead to score 1 more touchdown without him. It's not like we scored 17 points without Aaron Rodgers on the
We
field.
just also segued into the Bears when we're supposed to be talking about Houston.
I'm not discrediting what Khalil Mack does for the team, but there's more into it than just Khalil Mack. You can't change jumping 15 spots on offense and saying that had nothing to do with the Bears' win.
You guys were basically a team that was going to be picking in the top 10 again, and then you got Khalil Mack, and you were one of the best teams in the NFC.
And the offense went from 29 to 14. So what? That has nothing to do. That earned them 0 wins.
Dude, in a way, you're both right because it could take one
No,
player.
I'm not discrediting his impact on the
yeah.
season at all.
I'm
but
just saying it could
he's
take one
discrediting
player to
everything
make-
the offense did.
It could take
Paul,
one
could
player
you
to
just
make
move
other
to
players
your
better.
left for like 2 seconds?
Paul, I also like to say I like your shirt.
Thank you. It's a Christmas present that I put on for the first time today.
Nice.
But if we're going back to
This is the
Houston,
best kind of Christmas gift.
Okay.
Sorry.
I don't think their defense can hold it up.
God,
Who we're talking about right now?
I thought I did.
Who we're
I
talking
heard you
about
a
right now?
little
Are we
bit.
talking about the Bears or Texans?
Texans.
All right.
I don't think their defense can hold it up.
So
I don't think Watt can stay healthy.
Well, no, we know Watt can't stay
So we
healthy.
just agreed on the same thing.
No, I'm not disagreeing with
All
you.
right,
I'm saying
so
I don't
it's-
think Watt can stay
I think they're an 8 to 9 win team.
Okay.
I think that's their max.
But you don't think they got better?
No.
Well,
I
where did they
think-
get worse?
Defense.
I think
In what
losing.
way?
I think
Um,
losing
to
see
Clowney
that
hurts
board
really
real quick,
badly.
bud.
They got rid
The pass rush.
Oh, you're
Clown.
picking-
I think
all right.
Clowney's a little overrated.
Their number
little
one.
bit.
Okay.
Wait,
I agree,
line.
but their number one corner is 47 years
They
old.
still have Merciless, and if they have Merciless and Watt, if Watt can stay healthy, he replaces Clowney from last year because Watt wasn't there really.
Yeah.
So
Who is? Name their corners.
I don't know their corners.
They have one who's like 52.
Yeah, but what you said that they got weaker on pass rush. I disagree with you on that because
They did.
Watt wasn't there last year.
He was there last year, last year.
No,
Watt
he
played
wasn't hurt?
all 16 games, all 17 weeks. He
Yeah,
played
he
every
did.
game last
He
year.
was
He didn't
never
miss a single
injured.
game.
This
They
was
did
his
get worse
first
on because here's the thing. Even with Clowney, you can't discredit him and just be, oh, I'm just going to put whatever, just no chip, no block or whatever, because he's still a good pass rusher. So you can't just discredit his abilities. He's not blown up to the potential he should have, but he's still a very good pass rusher, and he still made a lot of
He
impact
is
on
good.
games for them.
He's a good pass rusher. But
Right,
he's
but
not-
but you can't just be like, nah, fuck him, whatever. We'll just whatever happens on that side. We're just going to focus on J.J. Watt.
But what their biggest issue last year, I thought,
Because
watching
that's what
them,
teams did
was
weeks
offensive
3,
line.
4, and 5 to the Bears.
Well, yeah.
And that's when Akeem Hicks and Roquan Smith and Leonard Floyd all got their majority of their 10 sacks that they each had.
I can understand
Because
if
they're like, fuck the rest of them. We're just
I
going
can
to focus on
understand
Mac.
if the Texans did a decent job in the draft to help
Mess.
their team, but they didn't.
Messed with the
what?
microphone there.
So, in my opinion, the most important thing to build on your football team is the offensive line if you have a quarterback, because the quarterback is the most important commodity.
Yeah, that's one spot though. Then you got 4 other schmuck that can't do anything.
Did they lose a guy last year early in the season to a season?
They traded him.
They traded him. Okay.
It was the guy they traded to Seattle, the left tackle.
Yeah.
His name
Oh my God.
DJ Fluker.
Brown, was it?
It was not DJ
It
Fluker.
might have been Brown.
What's Dwayne Brown, right?
I know exactly the guy you're talking about too. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was Dwayne Brown.
Dwayne Brown. Yes.
They got traded to the Seahawks.
Yep.
But big penalty
Kyle,
back
did
for
you
Fluker.
pick in?
Yeah.
There's another receiver.
No, it's a receiving back then.
All right, tie her up. Just so you guys know, we're not fully halfway done with this draft yet, but we're about halfway done with the podcast, so we got to start speeding up picks. I know they take longer as we get, but
Yeah, I got you.
Excuse me,
All
this
right,
is a radio show?
So we're on to the Colts. Colts are going to win the division this year.
Think so? I think they get 8 wins.
On what grounds?
CJ and the man.
I believe
They're
that
basically-
Frank Reich is the best coach in that division, bar none. If anything, they got better on defense this year, and I actually think that Jacoby Brissett is going to be a great quarterback.
They have the weakest quarterback in that division by far.
We got good talent
he's
around.
on par with
you-
Nick Foles, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I-
You think
Nick Foles- no.
You think Mariota is better than both of them?
I think Nick Mariota's shown more in his career than Jacoby Brissett.
Oh yeah, but
Sure.
that's not saying-
Mariota's played 4 seasons more, and he has done
No.
shit with it.
No, Brissett's been in the league. Wait, is his 3rd season or 4th season? I don't know.
But-
He's
Third
been in the
season.
league. He's a
All right.
backup for a reason.
Here's my thing. I just think the Colts have better talent around them than the Titans do. And when Jacoby Brissett had the team the first time, he didn't have T.Y. Hilton, really. He was hurt most of that year. He didn't have
An offensive line.
Eric Ebron. He didn't have...
Speaking of offensive line, Tennessee Titans have one of the best ones in the league.
Not last year. Look it up. They gave up a lot of sacks. And their
Well,
best one
do
is
you think that
suspended
has
4
something
games.
to do with
Indianapolis
quarterback
has
holding
the
on
best
the ball?
offensive line in football.
And their best one got suspended
Yes.
for 4 games.
You also look at running
Arguably.
back like Derrick Henry, who's not,
Top
in my
3
opinion,
minimum.
that great, having his best season ever.
Throw respect on Derrick Henry's name.
I like Derrick Henry.
All right, so
Ken, I
let's
think
move
you and
on-
I are the
let's
only
move on
guys
to the
that like
AFC
him.
East.
AFC East.
So someone pick a team and go.
Well, the Patriots are going to win the division.
All right,
Duh.
moving on.
And the Super Bowl.
The Jets will be 9+ win team, though. That right there, I am confident in that. 9+ win team for the Jets.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good take.
9+ win team.
I
Yeah,
think it's
because-
kind of like what the Eagles did. I think it busts.
Eric?
See the Eagles?
No, I said it's kind of like what the Eagles did. I don't think the Jets know what the hell they're doing.
Well, it's
They just
interesting.
brought a bunch of guys in. It doesn't matter if they fit your scheme.
Oh, hey, let me draft Ja'Kai Polite. Oh, hey, let me cut him. 3rd round pick, wasted.
Well, they said he was a big-time problem.
Yeah, but they also said that it was a split between the coaching staff and the defensive staff who wanted him. You have that kind of inner turmoil in your coaching staff, and you think you're going to be a 9-win team?
I am worried about that. Adam Gase kind of just came in with no
Oh, bug-eyed.
camaraderie with that organization.
And
Just
he's like,
you know
yeah,
what?
fuck you, Greg. You're going to take the player I draft for you, and you're going to like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyone off the top of their head or Mask can look it up what the Jets finished last year, their record? I'm just curious.
Jets record in, let's see, 2018.
I believe they had 5 wins.
5 wins.
Yeah.
5 wins. So you're anticipating 9, which is a major jump.
I think they made a
No,
lot of
they had 4 wins last
Were
year.
they a 4-win team?
Yep.
So I mean that'd be
Last
a
in the
huge
division.
jump for them. So I mean, a lot of positive additions made to that team.
I think Carson Wentz taking a huge step forward, though. That's a big thing for me. Is I think Carson Wentz is. Not Carson Wentz. Sam Darnold.
I got real confused.
Wentz got
Yeah,
drafted. Sam Darnold.
I knew what you meant.
Sam Darnold is going to take a huge step this year.
I don't know.
I can
think
agree with that, but I don't agree with the team they put around him.
no. I think that the Bills are going to be a stronger team than the Jets are this year.
I think the Dolphins surprised everybody. They won 3 games.
Real surprise. They got that third win.
You wait until Fitzpatrick throws 18 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's going
this
to win the
year.
first 3 games, and they're going to lose the next.
And he's going to break his leg.
Is that Justin Jackson?
Yes.
Full leg break.
All right, so let's move on to the Bills.
Um,
So we covered the Patriots, Jets, and Dolphins.
Nothing needs to be said about New England.
You know what? I'm going to take a big risk here.
And talking to
Well,
the
you should-
microphone.
No, just
Damn
shut
it,
your
Kendall.
poor mouth, you.
God,
Pat,
we want-
it's radio.
We
I'm
want
back
people to
here.
hear you.
Not even. I'm stretching my back. Hold your fucking horses. You got it?
You're stretching your back and talking.
Is that Justin Jackson there?
Yes. Anyway, I'm going to take a big risk. I think they dethrone the Patriots.
Who?
Who does?
Bills.
You think the Bills win the division this year?
They have. Hold on. Can I speak?
When I say QR Kelly, now usually I don't do
Kyle,
this.
you got to put some private stock on that.
I'll put 4.
4 shots. Kendall, write that down.
4 shots.
4 shots of private stock. The Bills win the AFC East.
Now, I think they have the best defense in that division. I think they added great talent around Josh Allen. I think they added a great veteran presence in that locker room for that team, Frank Gore.
Kyle, if that happens, I'll kiss you.
How did-
right
you
on the
kiss him
face.
anyways?
Shot on it?
Well, the shot's already on. So, I mean, I'm just doing that of love.
You guys kiss him, will pour a shot on top of you.
I think that really could happen. I really do think the Bills could dethrone the Patriots this year.
That would be the best thing ever.
Yeah, nothing would make me happier.
It's not going to happen. But
It's
that
not.
would be the best thing ever.
If you look at the Patriots right now, their offensive line's hurt, and they lost their best one in the free agency.
Yeah, guess what, Kyle? They're still going to win 12 games.
I know.
They're still going to win. Bro.
But I'm just.
They're still going to win 12
Mark
games.
Andrews just went to the hospital for blood clots. I don't really know
Hey.
anybody else in that
Hey,
team.
Kyle. They're going to win 12 games.
Yeah, I'm not denying.
So you tell me the
So
Bills
you're
are
saying
going to
the
win
Bills are going to
13
win
games?
13?
No,
yeah.
but like,
What do you mean, no but?
see, I think I
It's
could
yes,
see
but.
the Patriots winning 12 games.
No, the Bills don't have to win 13 games. They just have to win 12 games, but have more
And they have to
division
beat the
record.
Pats. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
I
So
honestly
they can
think
lose.
the Bills
They can afford to lose to
dethrone-
the Dolphins once
But it's
because
not,
they beat the
it's-
Pats twice. That's 2.
That'd be the best thing.
Because you
ever.
know the Patriots are going to lose in Miami.
Dude, it's not going to happen.
Just think of the tailgating videos.
That's going to be Miami's one win.
They have to shut down the city.
O.J. Howard, Robbie Anderson.
The Bills are 4-0.
Roby Anderson, you got it.
Just to throw
I
that
need
out
you to
there.
say Roby.
Stop that now.
So are the Giants, baby.
Ro-
What
Roby,
up?
I got you.
It just, I think they have the better all-around team as of now than the Patriots.
Roby Anderson.
All right, I'm glad we all agree.
Listen, I am.
Who's picking
I'm
Rondé
with you.
Barber?
Me.
I he might end up on Tyler's team because he thought Peyton Barber was a brother also.
I'm sure he's some kind of distant relative.
He wants Gruden, Jay.
Ajay.
How come we've
I'll
never
draft
played-
J.J.
How come we've never played with a coach being an option in fantasy? You know?
Fantasy coaches.
Well, you win some challenges, you get some points, you know.
They actually have that. in
10
some-
points for every timeout left at the end of the game.
In ESPN, they have fantasy coaches.
Why can't we incorporate it to what we do?
I don't know if Yahoo does that.
I don't know.
So it seems like you could just set our league up on ESPN and then we could do it.
So if there's like a scandal that you lose points,
Yeah, oh yeah. Big
Rex
time.
Ryan.
Yeah,
something like that.
What about
Don't
the Bengals
draft
season
him.
expectations, though?
Say it again.
Bengals
2-14.
At
competing
best,
with the Dolphins for worst.
At best, a 3-win team. I mean, the
All
Bengals
3
are.
of those coming after the 0-8 start until
Oh,
AJ
yeah.
Green comes back.
And then it's going to look red hot. They'll be like, here come the Bengals. And then that's it. AJ Green's going to get turf toe again and be all done.
For the 40th time in his career.
I think their safety got hurt. Jesse Bates.
Listen, the Bengals are going to be bad. I mean, I think they're ready to move on from Dalton.
You know what's going to suck though? So they're going to like bench Dalton for the guy that they drafted. AJ Green's going to be out. Tyler Eifert's going to stay healthy and put up like 1,600 yards and like 30 touchdowns this year, and in like a 4-win effort. And then next year they're going to draft right. They're going to do free agency. Eifert down.
Well, listen, that's going to get him his Pro Bowl bid, and he's going to go there and blow out the other ankle. Really, that ruined his whole like career. Because he was looking like to be like an all-time great tight end.
Well,
I know that was high,
Wow.
but I mean, Eifert was looking dominant for a
he's
couple of
another
years.
touchdown or bust guy. You know, if we're talking fantasy here,
But there was
touchdown or
those.
bust.
No, I'm talking like say 3 years back. Like he was looking to be like an elite tight end. Like he was getting the targets, the receptions, and then it was like, hey, I went to the Pro Bowl, blew out my ankle. Now I suck. Like, just real bummer for him.
Kind of just happens to Bengals.
Yeah, because they're a bad franchise.
Even AJ Green. I mean, look what's happening to him now. It's the Bengals, man. They just ruin people.
Bad luck,
That
Bengals.
turf toe.
Ooh, is that the first defense?
Oh my God, Rebecca.
I was told I couldn't take the one I wanted, so I was being respectful.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
If that's true, I call collusion.
Dude, all I know is that I'm not taking a disgusting shot. That's all I know.
That time we talked about it on the car. I said, don't come in last, but it's pretty safe that you won't.
I don't think I will.
Well, Rebecca didn't come in last year.
Yeah, Kendall did.
No,
Actually, Rebecca came in third last year.
I had to scroll way down on the defenses to find
Kendall also drafted 2 tight ends that were started on the IR.
Yeah, it was a bummer.
Who did you draft?
Chris Craig and Charles Clay.
Yep,
And he left Craig all year.
sure did. 'Cause that guy, it's his year.
Dude, one big thing I learned is that if you feel your team isn't doing that good and Paul has a decent team, is you just draft the Bears defense.
Hey,
And he'll
really
trade
cool to talk about that right now.
He'll trade you anyone.
Well, I'm not trading Pat because Pat won't trade me.
Pat doesn't do trades.
Which is odd.
Doesn't do it. Well, you also.
Some people are
No,
like
I
that,
trade.
man.
Sometimes don't.
I trade often.
You wouldn't trade me Eddie Lacy.
Believing in your team.
Because you can't, listen, he turned out to be the biggest bust ever, but you can't trade the first round pick. You got to stand by your
You
guy.
traded
No, you
for
could
it
totally
last year.
trade him, though.
What do you mean?
You traded Kyle for David Johnson.
No, but I didn't draft David Johnson. He did.
You're
You
up.
traded your first round
He
pick.
gave me Julio Jones.
No, but I'm saying the first guy
I know what
picked.
you're saying.
Then why argue? Who was that?
A-Rob.
So, who else do we have to talk about in the AFC East? Did we cover everybody?
I mean,
We talked about the Bengals.
Oh, so we're on the.
Yeah, so
AFC
go to the
North.
Browns.
Sorry.
Let's
On to the
talk
Browns.
about those Browns, fellas.
Well, hold on. No. I want to save the Browns for when Chris gets down here. So let's just do the Ravens. Let's get the Ravens out of the way.
They're a 9 to 10 win team.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I tell you, I can't believe Kyle said that.
Well, their defense took a huge step back. So even if Lamar Jackson does improve his throwing capabilities, their defense is still missing a lot of pieces.
Actually, they're a 7 to 8 win team.
Kyle, come on.
No. After we said, and they play a first place schedule.
I still
not
think
good enough to play
they
a
can
first
go
place schedule.
8 to 10 wins.
I just said
That's a fair range.
You said 7 to 9.
it's a 7 to 8.
So that's not what you said.
They're an 8 win team.
Who's that?
The Bears. Gotta get it.
I'm not going to lie. I was going to do that right about this round. Pretty much for the trade.
Dude, I told you. Dude, I'm pretty sure I always end up with the Bears in
Is
our
that
league. And
Ty, thanks for my defense.
Paul is always down to trade me anything for him.
Yeah, I actually traded you a guy last year that didn't do anything.
Which Samuel?
Who'd you trade me?
Amendola.
Oh, wait. Which Samuel
No
is
way.
that?
That's
I
I
traded
would've-
you
Curtis.
Amendola and somebody else for Kenny Stills and the Bears defense.
Yeah, it was a
It was probably whoever else because Amendola. I probably did not give a shit
Nah,
about
you're a big
that.
Amendola fan. Actually, you could draft him right now if you want. I'll put it up there.
Nah, don't do that.
You're
man.
up, so
Just
I'm gonna-
throw that sticker out.
Yeah, Ty, it's your pick.
Is it my pick? Oh shit! Look at that.
All right, so did we
Chris,
give
I'll
a
take
synopsis
one
on the
too if
Ravens?
You're grabbing them.
Anybody eat a bear out of this fridge?
I got some extras on here, so I'm all set.
We're good on the Ravens.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to the Browns. What are season expectations for the Browns?
I think they're a 9 to 7 win team. No,
I think
7 to 9 win team.
I think they're taking that playoff spot the Colts surrendered.
So you think they take the wild card?
Oh, yeah. At least.
So who takes the division?
AFC North?
I'm all in.
I think Pittsburgh does.
I'm all in on the Browns hype train. Give them the division.
Yeah, I want to give it to the Browns.
So me and Kyle have argued this extensively, both on the show, on phone calls,
take the
texts.
Rams.
Like, we've argued this a lot. I think the Steelers are a 10-win team, but I think the Browns win more than 10 games.
I don't.
Kyle, that's fine.
And here's my reasoning.
Dude, I hold the Browns at
I
10.
think the Cleveland Browns have too many fucking hotheads on that team.
Yes, Kyle.
Okay? You got Odell, who's all about himself.
It's not true.
Yes, it is.
It's not true.
It's all about himself. It's not true.
Mayfield, who's all about Odell.
Is that the
Mayfield,
Chargers or the Rams?
Baker Mayfield, who's going to do something fucking stupid, and it's going to cause a big problem there.
No
Like
way.
sexually assault a lady in a hotel.
He's already
Never got
done
caught.
stupid things.
No, he got caught. They settled outside of court. You
Okay,
paid her off.
How about this? That happened when Ben was younger, correct?
How old is Mayfield?
Okay. And Baker is probably never going to fucking mature.
Are we really about to do this?
Yeah, because you want to come at me every time with
Kyle,
the
I'm
Ben
not
thing.
coming at you. I said that we've
No,
already
you do
talked
this
about
every
it.
time.
We've already talked about
Dude,
it.
why don't you guys make out?
That's usually how this argument ends.
Usually we have breaks on the show. That's when it goes down.
But no, I think the Steelers will be a 10-win team. I just think the Browns win more than 10 games.
I think that the issues with OBJ could arise, but I think they're going to be like that they had in New York with like
What
the
was
whole
that?
wanting to get more of the ball. I couldn't get the words out of my mouth. But I think that those are going to be delayed, which could hurt or help the Browns. Depends on what they do. If they want to give OBJ more targets, less targets, whatever. But it's because he's boys with Landry. So I think that initial like it's all about me thing will be delayed. It's inevitable in his personality. It's going to come out eventually.
It might
Here's
not,
my
honestly.
counter. Here's my counter. Odell never said, I want the ball more. He wanted the ball in different ways. He wanted to stop just the...
You're wrong on that.
I'm not.
You
Because
are.
he came out... he didn't want the 3-yard slant. He wanted to beat guys
Yeah,
down
he
the
wanted
field.
to go downfield.
And it
Which he
wasn't
could
saying,
do.
give me the ball more. It was, give me better looks. Like, I'm beating guys down the field. Throw it.
Can I give you a quote from him? A recent quote that's contrary to what you just said?
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, because he talked about that playoff game where he was a complete and utter piece of shit. Can we agree on that? Can we agree on this one playoff game? He was pretty much the reason the Giants lost.
Yeah, that drops.
Well,
yeah.
he
Yeah.
pointed out the fact that he wasn't targeted more in that game for why a big part of that problem. He said, he said, yeah, I didn't play my best game, which is a huge understatement, but I was only targeted 6 times.
The thing about that quote is, when did he say that?
He said that a couple months ago.
All right, I mean, I guess and that's
Was that in the middle of
before
feuding with
or
the
after the
Giants?
trade. It's
No, he
got to
was
be
with the
before or
Browns.
after the trade.
Yeah.
Was he busy feuding with the Giants for trading him?
Well, he's been feuding with the Giants.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
since
Once
they
he got
him.
traded,
He's
he
still
was
doing
sold.
it.
Because, dude, even if you look at OBJ, he wanted to play for the Giants, dude. Like, he loved playing for the Giants. And even when the Giants sucked, he wanted to be there. Like, that was the team he wanted. And then
He
they
wants to
traded
be
him.
with LA, man.
Well, now he's pissed, dude. I think he's pissed that the Giants traded him. So he's got a lot to say. I think he'll say anything bad about them. But I think on the Browns, dude, I don't know if he'll be
Waited
exactly
too long.
how he has been because
No, it's
he's
not
got
that
more
way.
stars around him. And I think they'll all work together. I think they're a young team.
I'm surprised he lasted that long.
They're a new team that's going to do good, I think. And I think they're going to do good together. Like, he was like the huge star on the Giants. And I think that's why he spoke out so much. Like, I think he felt like he was the shit on the Giants. And that, like, every win was a huge part because of him. And I think now a lot of that is going to be branched out. A lot of that is going to be different players. So I don't think he's going to act the way that he did. I think that it's going to humble him. And I think the Browns are going to do really good this year. And if they don't do good this year, they're going to do really fucking good next year. I think
they're
that
wrong. I think if they do good, if they suck this year,
if they suck this
they
year,
get
dude,
rid of a lot of people.
Fire sale?
Here's an
Yeah.
interesting theory. I think Beckham had a real problem with the fact that Saquon came on the team and he was better.
that could be right
And
too.
people were all on Saquon's balls,
Yeah.
and he was like, wait a second, I'm Odell.
And here's my thing.
Yeah, and that, you could be right with that.
The
Yeah,
Cleveland
definitely.
Brown got worse on the offensive line.
That is true. That is,
Big
we
time.
benefited from that.
They decided picking up an aging Olivier Vernon was a better call, which are stupid.
Olivier Vernon is done.
Okay, I don't think they made the right move for their head coach. I don't think he can handle all that drama.
They let a first-year quarterback dictate who their head coach is going to be.
But even Mike Tomlin couldn't handle all the drama, and he's been a coach for 10 years.
I agree, but he also got stuck with like two.
But they weren't-
Bell. I'm not going to call him a head case, but Brown turned out to be like the biggest head case like
Yeah,
in
and
history.
Yeah.
Bell-
So I'm
Beckham-
not
Brown has
disag-
CTE.
No, no, no.
Can I
But
just
I'm
go
not
ahead and say
disagreeing
that?
with you. I'm
No,
not
I know.
disagreeing.
But Beckham's still a head case. He's going to say what he wants, and they're not going to reprimand him for it, and it's going to get worse.
Yeah, that is true. It did that with the Giants. It started off small. You know, it started in the Carolina game when they should have yanked him off the field in that game.
But
I mean, let's be real. And it just spawned from there. And
refs also lost control of the game too, though. There's
Tom
a lot
Coughlin
of different
lost
people.
himself in that game.
Coughlin should have yanked Beckham off the field. And I'm a Giants fan.
If that was 2 or 3 years ago, Coughlin, he would have never seen the field for the rest of that game.
He should have been off the field in that game. I mean, he was out of control. And it doesn't matter what Norman was doing. He's got to worry about his players. And then Beckham just slowly started to do more and more. And I didn't personally have a problem with the peeing in the end zone thing. I know a lot of people did. I thought it was funny.
I thought,
but
that's what I'm saying.
I thought the worst of it was when he ran 35 yards to head on.
But again, like there was a lot of stuff
Where
that
he speared
Beckham
him?
did that the
he
media
tried.
blew up to like
didn't
make
try.
these
He
points
did.
that weren't big deals.
What did it for me was the interview he did with just
The Lil Wayne thing was stupid.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
It was really stupid. Like
and he dogged on Eli.
he did. He did. And like that was the one time where I looked at it and I was like, what are you doing?
And I was sitting there watching that like, that's my quarterback. I wasn't cool with that.
So
that
you're
was
looking
awesome
at
reference.
it. So you're looking at it, and the Cleveland Browns now brought on a lot of head cases. The Cleveland Browns are going to have a lot of me first guy, and I'm sorry that does not work in the NFL.
If I may,
The
real
quarterback
quick,
being the first me first guy.
If I may, real quick, last year they said that we did the same thing. We brought on Sue. We brought on Cooks, who had that meltdown.
They weren't
hold
me
on,
first
hold on,
guys.
hold on. Marcus Peters was.
They're just dirty ass players.
Ndamukong Suh is
Dirty
a
ass
very,
player. He wasn't
is
me
a
first
very. If you're not letting me rush the passer and do what I want, I'm gonna give up. Brandon Cooks wanted out of New Orleans because he wasn't the primary target behind Michael Thomas, and they said it was going to implode our team. We were fine.
You weren't though.
Brandon no,
We
Brandon
made it
Cooks,
to the fucking Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Well, wait, Brandon Cooks was
But-
the primary target that year, though. If I'm not mistaken, he
No,
had the
he
most
wasn't.
targets. That year he got
They-
traded?
Actually-
That was before Michael Thomas blew up.
He didn't even. I don't even think Michael Thomas was there yet when he got traded to the Patriots. I think
Yeah,
he
he
drafted the
was.
same
Yeah,
year
no,
that
Brandon
he got
Cooks was
traded.
coming off of like a 1,400-yard season, wasn't he?
He's
I think he
had
got traded the
1,000-yard
same
season
year.
every single year he's been in the league.
Yeah, but I think that was his best season the year he got traded. The year after he got traded was his best season was the year before.
Michael Thomas got drafted. The next year they traded him to the Patriots.
Yeah, but I never heard Brandon Cooks being a head case.
They never said. I never heard it.
Now Sue never. Hey, Sue's a douche. I don't like him.
But Sue's more of a dirty player than
he's a
me
dirty
first.
player, 100%.
But anyway, if we could circle back, we talked about a lot of stuff here. So a lot of hype in Cleveland, 100%, which, it may live up to, or, there's a lot of stuff that they have to figure out first. It's quick to say, look at this team on paper. It's amazing. They're going to win 10 games.
I
but
think it's tough for me too because like Cleveland has a lot of play that I like. Like again, I still love
for sure
Odell.
There's a bias.
I like Nick
that's
Chubb.
fine.
I like Baker Mayfield. So like, there's a lot of players that I like, and yes, there is.
And I think their tight end sucks. Sorry, that guy, the king of dropping passes. I'm sorry.
And Njoku doesn't suck.
He does. He drops
He
too
does.
many passes for a tight end.
He has a lot of ability, but you're
And
right.
Njoku is
You're right.
talented.
You're right about it. And you know what? They wanted the Giants to take him instead of Ingram.
And he can't block for shit either.
Neither can Ingram.
And that's a problem.
Yeah.
Especially for a team that already traded their best offensive line and don't have anybody else good right now.
Was Zeitler their best offensive line?
Yeah, by far.
Yes.
Listen, Joe Thomas is coming back.
Oh, man.
That guy dropped like 80 pounds. He's coming back.
As a receiver.
New tight end.
Remember the commercial with LeBron playing for the Browns? I can't remember what the commercial was for, but...
Sprite.
Was it for Sprite?
Probably. That's where all his commercials really came from.
I don't know. It's like to call Kyle a homer.
What? Picking one Steeler?
No, that was a great.
No, I know. I just like
That was a great.
we just
pick.
like razzing Kyle here. Pretty soon he'll just be like, you know what? You guys are right.
Ruffle those
I guess we
feathers.
can talk about the Steelers now.
Again, Steelers are a 10-6 team.
I think they're better than that.
Oh my God.
Tell me
But-
how. Their defense is way better than it was last
I
year.
think the Steelers win that division. I honestly do.
With what record?
I think they win it with 10-6, 11-5 record. Yeah, somewhere around there.
I think
So,
they could be
all right.
12-4.
So I mean, so then we're on the same page.
I think the
we
Ravens
disagree on
could
the
beat them.
Browns.
I think the Ravens could beat them out.
I think that they're a 10-6 team. Again, we've talked about. I like Juju a lot, but he's the number one receiving option now. So we don't know what he's going to be facing the number one corner every time, being double teamed week in week.
Well, it's going to depend on how the defense play him, too.
You're right, but again, who's your number two?
Dante Moncrief. Which, and I made this argument before, I think it's an asset to have
Gonna
two
be
number
James
2
Washington.
guys.
So
Sometimes it can
again,
be better
like,
than having
I'm
a
not,
number
I'm not
one.
saying the receiving core is bad.
And you know why I think they would be good? Because Ben doesn't have to force the ball this year.
I'm telling you, and that's the same. I think Eli's gonna have a better year this year now that he doesn't have to worry about Beckham too.
But again,
But who's he going to throw
that's
to?
Ben's
now?
style of
He
football
has
is to
Shepard
force
and Ingram
passes.
right now.
Not
Yeah,
the one guy.
But he'll
Right now, he
force
has
them.
Ingram and Shepard.
He'll
That's
force
it.
them into double
good.
coverage, but to all the
Both of them are good.
receivers on the team, not
Good.
just
No,
Brian.
I understand that. But
But now
I
you
mean,
don't have to worry about a double team situation.
what do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean?
Vance McDonald will take a.
They're
going to
double team Juju.
They won't because they're so dynamically from 1, 2, and 3. I really
Juju's
do,
going to see double teams.
and I really do think James.
That is
Washington's
true.
gonna be out.
No, Mike's right. Mike's right
Juju's
about
going to
that.
see double teams. He led the NFL
Right.
in receiving yards last year.
They're
Then
going
you
to
got
run the ball
3
better.
guys on the
Did he
other
really?
side
I didn't
that
think
can
he was
get
that high up.
He was up. I mean, if he didn't lead, I mean, he was top 3.
Who are you talking about?
Juju, didn't he lead in receiving yards?
Juju had 1,450 yards. I don't know if that. He had like somewhere around there.
I know he was up there. If he didn't lead, whatever, but
he had
was
more
up
than
there.
Brown last year.
You know
Yeah.
what though? Everybody can agree with
I
this.
think Hopkins led in yards.
Did he lead in
I
yards?
think it was Hopkins.
Everybody could agree with this. You're rooting for him to succeed.
I absolutely, Kyle, I like Juju Smith-Schuster. I'm not saying he's bad. I don't want to
I'm
see
not
him
saying
fail.
that in like the punt. I'm just
but
saying that
I want to see.
Michael
It may
Thomas
take
led in yards.
it may take a couple weeks before I say, all right, he's a certified number 1 receiver. That's just my
Ty's
thought
really
on it.
struggling with this pick right now.
and that's fine. But I think
No, I lied.
the other players around him and their offensive line being probably not the best or one of the best offensive line in football.
I think James Conner will be more important to that team this year than he was last year. He has to run the ball great and stay on the field. Because
he got hurt one time.
I know, but
was
even
really
still,
hard.
he missed a couple games, and towards the end, he kind of
Juju was
petered
top
out.
5.
But the point that I'm making is, Antonio Brown is gone. It's a guy that had over 1,000 yards and 15 touchdowns. That is a lot of
He had
offense.
almost 1,300 yards, I thought.
That's what I mean. I didn't know he
Who?
was over 1,000
12, yeah.
and had 15 touchdowns.
Who are we talking about? Juju?
Antonio Brown.
Oh, Antonio.
That
Brown
is
is a
a lot
stud.
of offense that's gone.
Brown's one of the best receivers in the league. I mean, people forget
He
about
is.
that, but because he's a psycho. But
Antonio
yeah.
Brown had
Well, let's
1,300 yards.
Let's move to a team that went from possibly having one of the best potentials for this season to going arguably could have a basement season in the Chargers.
What? Because of Melvin Gordon?
Well, they also lost arguably their best defensive player in Derwin James.
He's
Music
not
to
out
my
for the year,
ears.
though, is he?
I think he is out for the year.
If not, he'll be back December.
Like week 13,
But I don't
14.
think I think the Chargers stay relevant just because they have Phillip Rivers.
Stop with the Phillip Rivers. Everyone people ride Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers has had plenty of losing seasons. Can I just?
Yeah, but he has talent around him. Got Keenan out and got Mike Williams.
Mike Williams is overrated.
Hasn't done shit.
I've been hearing
Yeah.
Mike Williams.
I mean that yet.
And he started
only
doing pretty
been-
well towards the end.
Towards the end.
He's had a couple of good games.
And he's got his tight end back.
Hunter Henry. That's what we're
Don't
going.
call him his tight end.
It isn't. Well,
Don't call him his
and
tight
he
end.
was doing more than Gates before he got hurt.
Well, because Gates was
But
75
also the
years
Chargers
old.
still have a good defense besides Derwin.
Certainly.
Because you got Casey Hayward on the outside.
Cocksucker.
Here go the kickers.
You got Casey Hayward. You got, your good front seven, Joey Bosa.
Told you I should have fucking taken him.
More receivers from me.
Mike Williams is a guy. I mean, he's a somewhat talented receiver.
You
Again,
talk a lot like Matthew Berry. You know that? Here's a guy.
Kyle, that's Chris.
By the way,
Collinsworth.
Matthew Berry's kid goes to school with my friend Jeremy's kid.
No, he
And
doesn't.
yeah, he does.
No, he doesn't.
Jeremy's talked to him a bunch of times.
Apparently, Kyle's seen him at Burger King twice and has yet to tell him about our show.
No, Matthew Berry lives in Cheshire.
Yeah.
No, I know. But that's what I mean. Apparently, Kyle's talked to him a couple times at work,
Listen.
and he has not come
guy
on the
is
show.
Outside.
So
Kyle, you're a piece of shit.
Eric just sprinkles that in. And on top of it, Kyle.
So my Jeremy's kid almost got a play date with her, but I guess their kid they don't get along, so they couldn't get the play
I
date
tell
going.
you what, if I'm your friend, you make that work.
That's what I said. You couldn't tell your wife to close the deal.
You
Again,
strong on
we've talked
that
about it
situation.
before in the league when Kevin has to hang out with Jay Cutler. Their kids didn't like each other. Like, oh, you don't like the cutlet?
That show was great.
It was one of the best shows.
They took it off Netflix, I think.
Yeah, because that was an FX show, and all the FX shows got taken off, except Sons of Anarchy.
Great show, by the way.
It is, but we don't need to talk about it here. Jeff isn't here.
about the
He'd get
Broncos?
really excited.
What do we got here?
Broncos?
That was a good pick.
But the Broncos.
Oh, Denver. A team that had some flash last year, but really didn't materialize to much. Lindsey was exciting, a surprise. Was it Royce Freeman there? Who was
It's not Rashad Penny, tell you that.
Not Rashad Penny. Freeman got hurt, and it was interesting because Freeman was the higher draft pick, correct? And Lindsey was undrafted.
Yeah, Lindsey was
both
undrafted.
Rookies, correct? Or
Freeman,
no?
I think, was a third-round pick.
So they both had some spark in that offense. Receiving wise,
That's
they
some spunk.
some spunk. Sanders went down. They had that tall guy. I can't remember his name.
That tall guy.
Well, I remember the announcers making note that this guy is notably tall. I can't remember his name.
For what team?
Broncos. I think he was a rookie too.
Cortland Sutton.
Broncos,
No.
the receiver?
Yeah.
Cortland Sutton was the rookie receiver last year.
Yeah.
Was it Colin Sutton?
Yes.
Well, anyway, he was on the team.
Talking Tyler Mills?
No, I'm out.
I just don't see the Broncos winning more than like 6 to 7 games.
No more than 6. No more than 6.
But Flacco throws for 4,500 yards.
Agreed.
Well, I was kind of getting at that, and the quarterback situation was not excellent. It hasn't been excellent for a while.
Hasn't been
Flacco-
excellent
Kenyon
since-
Drake and Christian Kirk.
I just think they're in a tough division, and
No, I agree.
they're a weird team.
I'm anticipating better than last year, but marginally. So I don't remember how many games they won last year. I don't know if Mask, you can pull it up, how many games Broncos won in 2018. But
They were a top 10 pick, weren't they?
They were the 10th pick. 'Cause they
That's
traded
what,
to the Steelers.
they traded to the Steelers.
Broncos 2018.
So
They've
what?
got 5 and
5-6
11
wins normally. You figure?
Broncos.
crap.
Let's
I missed a pick.
6 and 10.
6 to 10. So I kind of agree. I'm in the camp of a 7-8 win team. Maybe not even 8. I
You
just
know,
think
in
the division is
my
too tough.
sleeper thing here, because Kyle was talking about David Njoku, I put him on Kyle's team. Got to go ahead and fix that. Who's up, Mass?
So we still talking Broncos? We moving
Yeah,
on?
I'm
move on
done
to
with the
Raiders.
The Raiders.
I think the Raiders can surprise people.
Just win, baby.
I don't know.
Give me that Cleveland
defense is
defense,
still
baby.
very
I don't trust
6 and
Carr.
10.
I don't trust Carr at all.
This is where Eric shines here. This is his division.
No.
Go ahead, Eric.
No, I just don't trust Carr. What has Carr done for us lately? You
Well,
know what I mean?
well, hold on. Keep in mind, 2 years ago, this was a guy kind of in MVP talks.
Oh,
And then he was,
I know.
and then he got hurt,
And then the
and the
offensive line.
team last year was awful. So, it's hard to just evaluate. I think Carr is very good. And, now you're throwing Brown into the mix. Josh Jacobs, I think, will be good. Their defense isn't that great.
They lost Jared Cook.
Who's their tight end? Yeah, I was just about to say, who's their tight end?
Listen,
I don't know.
you don't need one of those. We've seen teams win without good tight ends. Do they help? Yeah. But you don't need one. Again, I'm not saying the Raiders are going to come out and win 10 games, but I don't think they're going to be an easy beat.
No.
Look what Eli did with Kevin Boss and Jake Ballard.
Hey, Kevin Boss was great.
I like
about
Kevin
half a
Boss.
year.
Then who did he go to after the Giants?
Oh, right to the Raiders.
Yeah.
But, hold on, then he broke his leg.
He came to us for a year, I think.
Hey, did you
Did he?
mean to
Yeah,
take
he was
Penny,
the
or
chief.
did you mean Royce Freeman? Just asking for a friend. Because I did that in our last draft. Went up to the board with a sticker thinking Royce Freeman, Rashad Penny. Stuck
Right
it on there.
I remember that, and then you picked him 2 picks later.
Yeah, I was pretty bummed, and then got him anyway. All right. Thank you, Rebecca, for pulling that out of the wall.
Jeff's up.
Nice.
Do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do. So yeah, the Raiders. Good stuff on them.
6 and 10.
6 and 10. I
6
think.
and
No, 6 wins
13
are too
and
much.
3.
No.
Oh, my
No,
God.
I'm
Who
just
said
fucking
that?
with you.
He said it.
Who said it?
Well, 'cause I was looking at my phone. I sounded kind of like Mock. Mock would say something like that.
Chris is like, I'm feeling violent.
6 and 10. 13 and 3 goes to the Chiefs in that division.
Yeah.
To me, I think they're going to be. 13.
I think the Raiders could be a 9-win team. Could be. They could also be a
Maybe.
4-win team.
Sure.
So
These
you're going.
hypotheticals
I
are
split
great.
the difference: 6 and 10, 7 and 9.
So again, you're saying they shock a lot of people, and absolute best, they're a 9-win team.
Yes.
I mean, I don't think it's super far-fetched, but I don't think it'll happen. But
Their
I mean,
defense hasn't recovered enough to the point where I think they can win more than 9 games.
Oh, their defense is just trash.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they did go defense in the first round, though. They took
Yeah,
that kid
Cleveland
from Clemson.
Farrell.
What was his name?
Cleveland Farrell.
Yes. Yes.
Which I think
that's
he's
the guy
actually
they
gonna
really
be.
reached for, wasn't it?
You know what? If the Giants didn't take Daniel Jones, that's all people would be talking about, was that pick. And then the Giants took Daniel Jones, and they're like, wait a second, that one's worse.
Yeah.
Now,
Hold on.
Yeah, but obviously Daniel Jones has, shocked people a little bit.
All right, Eric.
Ken, are you trying to?
Let's talk about him.
Trying to get out of here, bro?
Say it.
You know. All right, let's talk about the Chiefs, Eric.
Let's talk
Ooh,
about the
yeah, let's
Chiefs.
talk about it. What do you want to talk about?
What do you think they're going to do?
Oh, my goodness. Well, hopefully a lot better than last year. By a lot
They
better,
made it to the
hopefully-
AFC Championship
No,
game.
but I'm hoping that hopefully the refs can be on our side this time. Because
Well,
that
the
rough-
refs
that
didn't make the Ford go
That
offside.
roughing the passer call before the offsides was...
Eric,
Come on. Brady still had the ball. Everybody here saw that game.
Did they touch him?
They touched him.
Did they touch Tom Brady?
They touched Tom Brady. He had the ball in his
So
hand.
they committed a
That's
foul, sir.
total
You
bullshit.
can't do that in today's
You
NFL.
looked at Tom Brady wrong.
By letter of the
You
law,
lose.
maybe
You get nothing.
that was a terrible call.
Very
It was.
terrible call.
It was.
We were the better
But
team.
still,
That was-
guess what?
You know what
When you,
hurt
got
the Chiefs?
when you got the interception,
You know what hurt the
he was
Chiefs?
offside.
That's okay.
Just
I
like you
know.
were offside when the Steelers scored that.
Kyle,
Hey.
actually, when the Chiefs played the Steelers last year, I believe Mahomes had, 13 touchdowns or something like that? It was something like that against you guys. In
the
Heinz
first time
Field.
he beat us in what 9 years?
I like how
11.
you check your watch for years.
Hey, listen,
They also didn't have Mahomes,
listen,
though.
At the very least, you guys didn't get hosed like New Orleans did.
No, we didn't.
guess what,
No,
though? We were
didn't.
down
We
like
You
didn't.
had a
35
chance.
We did
You
get
had a
out
chance to stop them. You had a chance to stop the Patriots,
I know.
and you did.
No,
Well,
we,
to be fair, that wasn't the call that lost.
But
New
Eric,
Orleans.
you know
It
what
went
killed
to
the
overtime.
Chiefs? You know what killed the Chiefs was that the offense could score in 3 plays, and then the defense has to go winded back out on the field, and then they're going to give
Just
up
like
all
you
these yards.
motherfuckers.
You know what I
Take a little
mean?
bit more
That
time.
offense is so volatile that they could score in 3 plays. You got Tyreek Hill, who's probably the fastest guy in the league. Travis
There's
Kelce.
no probably. He is.
Well, okay. You know what they're calling us now? They're calling us the Legion of Zoom.
That's a good one.
I like that.
I like
hate
that.
that.
too.
Tyreek Hill,
That's
Sammy
good.
Watkins,
I hate
that kid we drafted, Mecole Hardman, in case Tyreek Hill wasn't going to be there. You know, I think we're going to be all right. I
Hey.
think we're going to be all right.
You guys have an explosive.
Take a look at.
I
the
know
draft
what you
board for
just
a
did,
second.
Kyle. You son of a bitch.
Take a look. Look what name about to go up.
Is it Sammy Watkins?
No.
McCoy,
Oh.
Chiefs' new number 2 running back.
Colt McCoy?
I love it.
Yeah, he could be number 1 eventually.
Kyle, I have Damian Williams. That was going to be my next pick.
You had a long time.
Yeah, McCoy wasn't going to make it back to you. Because I was going to take him right now.
Damian Williams is still going to be the fantasy guy.
No, he's going to
There,
be
I'm
good.
telling
he's
you
he's
right
the
now.
number 1. No, he's the number 1 guy there. He knows the system. He's
Remember, he
great.
was a Dolphin, so he might suck this year.
No, doesn't matter if he was a Dolphin.
I mean,
He's-
that does matter.
no.
He fell to the 7th round. Like, he was a 3rd round pick until McCoy got back. I mean, I think 4 rounds of dropping
so
is...
quick thing. So I saw VJ at BJ's the other day. I know.
Totally football related here.
No,
Guys,
it
this is his brother, my cousin, just so
So
everyone
he
knows,
wanted.
because I don't know.
He came up to me and said Josh Rosen was the answer, and they're gonna win 9 games. Like they're gonna win the division. I go, yeah.
Did you tell him he needs to take a private stock
He's
shot?
also not even the starter.
And his brother Brian says that Dak Prescott's worth $250 million. So
So I'm going to sidetrack.
Both of them were probably on drugs when they
Here's
said
the
these
thing:
things.
if you're going to give Dak $250 million, you space it out over the next 20 years.
No wonder Zeke isn't getting paid. Okay.
I'm going to sidetrack this conversation because we brought up Rosen. A lot has
He's
been
not
made
good.
about Rosen. Do you think he's not good just in general? Do you think he's been hindered by the amount of shit that's
think-
been flying?
I think
around?
this
Bad
is a-
situations. I
I
wanted
think
the
this
Giants
is-
to get him.
This is going to be the second team that sets him up to failure.
Exactly.
Both team that he's playing for had the worst offensive line in football.
Yep.
Right. He's got bad situations with both teams. Okay. I think he got completely railroaded in Arizona.
Here,
I wanted the Giants to give a 2nd round pick for him. I
Here.
was willing to do that. Like,
I'll give you guys an example. Put him on the Colts right now. What does he do?
I don't think he's going to be better than Brissett.
I think it would be.
Oh no, I think he's
I
better.
I
yeah.
don't.
No,
I
definitely
think
do.
if anything, it's a lateral move.
Talking about Josh Rosen.
Do you think that stretches into the next 3 years? Either way, to be a lateral move doesn't matter
yeah,
how long they're there.
I think. I mean, I like that Brissett is more mobile. Rosen's a very stiff
He's a pocket pass.
Yeah, and I don't know. I would take Brissett over Rosen.
The problem with Rosen
would
coming
too.
out of the draft was the concussions. Everyone thought he had the best arm talent of everyone.
He's got a
Darnold,
good arm.
Mayfield.
He's got a good, but he doesn't move well. And again, we're in a league now where mobile quarterback is king.
Yeah,
Yep.
we're also in the league now where mobile quarterbacks don't win.
Like who?
When's the last time a mobile quarterback won a Super Bowl besides Russell Wilson?
Well, Tom Brady keeps winning all of them, so
Yeah,
you
that's
know.
not fair.
Peyton
Tom
Manning
Brady with
won
all the
two.
grace and movement of a three-legged gazelle.
Yeah, and he just keeps doing so until Tom Brady retires. Nobody else is
Nick
going to win.
Foles,
Peyton Manning. Hello.
Nick Foles was mobile to an extent. Yeah, he was.
but not like
At the
he's more of a
time
pocket
that Ben
passer.
not
won,
a
he was
burner.
mobile.
He's more of a what?
At the time that Ben won, he was mobile.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Nah, that was when he was actually running before his ankles turned to glass.
No, he's just fat now, and he wasn't like a. He's a
He
throw
wa-
first guy, not
I understand I'm not saying Ben was a rushing quarterback.
And Patrick Mahomes could have very easily won last year. And
Yes.
he's very mobile.
The last mobile quarterback to actually make the Super Bowl was Newton, wasn't it?
yeah, and he got
Who-
his ass kicked.
Who was it before that?
Russell Wilson.
And because of Newton's mobility, he's probably going to be done in 2 years.
Yeah.
It's such a shorter life for.
Any more Red Dogs over there floating around?
Yeah, we got a few.
I'll go grab one for you.
Oh, we got some spares.
On deck.
We loaded up.
Ooh, I'll take a spare.
Yeah,
Alright, so we'll
pass
go to
it
the-
down.
We'll go to the NFC South. Start with the Buccaneers.
Pass one more down for us.
Buccaneers. That's it.
That
think
is
they
the biggest
surprised
question
people.
mark in football. They could be horrible,
Or really good.
or they could be really good.
I
Real
think
good.
they're gonna be really good.
So,
There's a few teams in that division that could be really good.
so as the Bucks, put a number on it, Kyle.
10-11.
So, all right.
Is that what you think, or you think that's their ceiling?
So
I
here's
think
my
that's their
thing.
ceiling.
What
So-
do you think is going to happen?
9.
10-6 to me isn't a really good team. That's
a
play.
big step
It's
in
a
the right
play.
direction.
No, I agree. But if you're gonna say
Rams?
a team is really good, that's a 12-14. Like, you know what? 10-6 to me is yes, you're a playoff contending team. Like you had a good season, but I don't look at a 10-6 team and say you guys are really good this year. Yes, it's a big step. I agree. But I mean, if you're 10-6, hold on, I got to see the board. I'm up. Excuse me for just a moment, Paul.
Thank you for your kindness.
Oh God,
That was a good pick.
Kyle, talk. I got to look at this.
Oh, you gonna throw it on me now?
Who are we talking about? What team?
Buccaneers.
Well, we're trying to do because I think you brought up the
The
conversation.
Buccaneers for me could either be a 3-win team or a 9-win team. I think their defense is not that good, but they have one of those defenses where everyone wants to play together and feed off each other, and that sometimes breeds a better defense than what you have on paper.
I just don't
I
think they
agree
were
with
coached
Chris that I
right.
think Jameis Winston's going to try to have a career year on a contract year and has the potential to do it with Godwin and Evans, O.J. Howard. I think Peyton Barber. Like these are all guys that.
I disagree with you there. I think the run game is horrible. I don't
But I
think they have any
think,
run
but Peyton
backs.
Barber's a good receiving back.
I don't think Peyton Barber's any good.
So I'm curious. Bruce Arians takes over first year as
Plus, they
head
have Bruce
coach.
Arians.
They definitely were coached right under Dirk Cutter.
No, but all right. So let's say Bruce Arians, Jameis Winston has a career year. You're Bruce Arians. Do you extend him this year?
Yes.
Yeah, a quarterback with that kind of talent, you don't
You
find.
know
He's
he has
super
talent.
Hey, he's gonna eat that W.
You know
He does weird.
But
Yeah, he does weird
he's
things.
been
I mean,
shit for 4 years.
No,
He hasn't been
shit.
shit.
He
That's
hasn't
not
been
fair.
great.
But that's not fair.
He's
He's had flashes.
Yeah, he's had flashes of greatness and he's had flashes of terrible. And towards the end of last year, because he did the whole Fitzmagic thing, then Winston came in, then they benched him again for Fitzpatrick, and then they brought Winston in again. The second tenure for Winston, he got his ball security under control. He was not throwing garbage interceptions. He wasn't throwing those stupid picks that he's been doing for the past 2-3 years. If he can get rid of that, if he can start making better throws and not just throwing those Jay Cutler type interceptions, that right there is
That
a
team was terribly
huge
coached.
step.
That team was terribly coached.
Yes.
Oh, Cutter knew
absolutely.
he was out by week 8, so he just did what he wanted to do. That's why he put Fitzpatrick back in. Because he wanted Fitzpatrick. He thought Fitzpatrick gave that team the best opportunity to win at the time, and so that's what he did. If anybody else was there, when he came in, Winston would have played the rest of the season.
Fitzpatrick in fantasy is awesome sometimes, but as far as a winning quarterback, he has never been that.
He's really good till like week 3.
He's a gunslinger.
Start him weeks 1 through 3.
He actually
You think a guy
transcends
that went to
winning.
Harvard could read a defense?
Oh no,
Oh, he can.
He can. It's just he doesn't have the arm talent to do some of the things he tries to do.
But he knows.
Great
He's
beard,
like, hey,
Kyle, he knows exactly where the defensive players are going to be. He just throws it to them.
it's basically like me being out there.
It's like, hey, he's going to be, I'm going
No,
to,
you're
I
more
got
like
it.
Chad Pennington.
The best to ever do it.
You know, we talk about that guy a lot.
Who's that?
Chad Pennington.
Chad Pennington's the best short accuracy quarterback of all time.
That's right. And if you lived in our area, the Northeast, you had his jersey from Kohl's.
Is that Marvin
No.
Jones before?
Yes, you did. I had his
Yeah,
jersey.
Eric's picking Zay Jones, though.
Picked him last year.
I did. You know what he did for me?
Nothing.
1 point.
All season.
That was the year he had his cocaine meltdown in the hotel, doesn't he?
Yes, he did.
Well, she don't lie.
Also
she
did
don't
nothing
lie.
So
Cocaine.
let's
Eric did
move
watch
on.
that
Did we
video.
did we round out the entire AFC at that point?
No.
Who did we miss?
We didn't talk about the rest of the NFC South.
AFC.
Yeah, we talked about that.
AFC.
yeah.
We talked about the NFC.
Yeah.
So where are we in the NFC right now?
Yeah.
Bucks. Okay. All right. Yeah. It's hard doing this. Saints.
I don't know.
I think Saints take a step back, but I think they still make the playoffs.
11
10-6.
wins. 11
10-6.
wins.
I think Mark Ingram. I think Mark Ingram not being there makes a bigger impact than everyone thinks. Because I do. Because he was a good pass catching back, and he was really good between the guards. Latavius Murray is not a great between the guards running back. He's a more outside running back.
Rivers.
And Tyler's here.
Yeah.
And their defense, I don't know. It's too spotty.
They got Kiko Alonso.
Yay.
That's like saying, Kyle, I brought you Triscuits. You
Hey, that
excited?
guy's really good at hitting quarterbacks while
You
they're
know what?
sliding.
That was the only time I felt bad for Joe Flacco.
And then you bought his jersey.
You're a liar, Kyle. You applauded.
You probably did, you son of a bitch.
No, I actually called you that day.
Did you?
Yeah.
You probably did.
Real quick,
He
I'd
was
just
crying.
like to,
I
I'd
was
like to
there.
give a shout out to the Draft Dukes who supplied this board for our fantasy draft. I just realized this. I didn't see it last time I used this board. On the quarterback sheets, they do not have Tyrod Taylor, but they do have new Los Angeles Chargers quarterback Tyrod Rivers.
Tyrod.
Because I almost put Tyrod Rivers on the Chargers.
I was going to say, that's
He's
not
their
who I
backup,
meant.
But I almost put Tyrod Rivers there, and that would have been hilarious.
Tyrod Taylor took the Bills to the playoffs.
He did.
And who else has done that in the last, 30
Where is
years?
Tyrod right now? Is he
I
still
think
on the
Doug
Browns?
Flutie did
The
it
best
once,
thing about the
didn't he?
Bills going
He
to the
did.
playoffs was the preseason one, week one opener where they had a huge ceremony for Andy Dalton when they were playing the Bengals because Andy Dalton beat whatever team they had.
Ravens.
They beat the Ravens, who were if they won, they got the Bills wild card spot. They had a huge ceremony for him in Buffalo and presented him with gifts and all this shit, and then got their asses kicked by the secondary and the second team in the preseason.
I mean, I no disrespect to Tyrod Taylor, but I would argue that the Bengals brought the Bills to the playoffs, not Tyrod Taylor.
All right. Anyways, moving
Ravens
on.
win, Bills don't go.
All right, moving on. What else we got? Atlanta Falcons.
Kind of like the
I think-
Ravens win, Steelers don't go kind of thing.
The Atlanta
Exactly.
Falcons are going to have
Exactly.
a huge bounce back season. Devontae Freeman's going to stay healthy.
Plus
Yes, that's
it-
what I said. It.
Plus, it's the on year for Matt Ryan. He does the whole one bad year, one good year thing. So this
He
is the
switches
on
with
year
Cam
plus
Newton,
the health.
doesn't he?
They're winning that division, and Julio Jones will have more than one touchdown this year.
Actually, the Falcons, if I'm looking at it from an unbiased standpoint, the Falcons are my favorite to go to the Super Bowl and out of the NFC this year.
They're always the most talented team in the NFC, every year.
Their defense didn't exist because it was all on IR last year.
So-
They're all back this year.
Is Freeman going to be the same running back without Tevin Coleman?
Yeah, they got two other guys.
He's
there.
going to be better.
Who's behind him?
Ito
knows-
I
Smith.
think
Smith.
Freeman is a
And they
better.
drafted a
I think
kid as
Freeman
well.
will be fine without Coleman. I don't think Coleman's going to be fine
I
without Freeman.
agree with that, but
I
I
think
mean,
Coleman would be
Freeman's.
fine with
not-
Rita.
I mean, Coleman was the receiving back. They did the committee type thing, but
Private stock.
I already picked them.
Private stock.
Yeah, you do some private stock now.
Oh, shit.
someone's first taste. You're gonna hate it.
Yeah, it's not good. I'm sorry.
No, I tried it already. It tastes like gasoline.
Yeah, hope you like acid.
Yeah, he did a shot. Right when Eric got here, Kyle started pouring shots like he was a bartender.
Oh, come on. What's that?
This looks like fucking Robitussin.
I was going to
Gotta
say,
drive home. We all don't have a freaking
This Robert
driver.
get a chauffeur.
Chauffeur. I couldn't think of the word.
Your show
I said
experience would be light
Stofers.
years better.
Get yourself a Schaffenhofer.
That would have been
I got
private
one of
stock.
those, too.
You know, I really don't care for that pick because I was hoping that was gonna come
I
back.
didn't care for that.
He didn't. He didn't mean to say that. He didn't mean to say that.
But Chris took the words out of my mouth, except the whole Devonta Freeman
I think the Falcons win that division.
Yeah.
11+ wins.
Yes.
I think they could win 11.
I think their defense finishes top 3 as well.
I hope they win 11. Kyle,
I
what do
don't
you
think with all those players they were
Matt
top
Ryan?
three.
thing.
Think?
I don't know.
Matt
I
Ryan
really
does
think
well.
that
I
they're
don't care
going
about the team.
to.
Well, no. I hope Jones does good too.
I think the Bears.
You know, Kyle, I
are
like how that you
better.
went real heavy
Yeah,
wide
that's why I said
receiver
top
early.
three.
Now you're
I'm trying
just
to
running
think
back, running back.
The only thing that makes me
Wait,
question the
didn't
Bears
ours
is
too.
who's your head defensive coach right now? Pagano?
Chuck Pagano, who's a great defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And
he
know
was a
that
terrible head coach.
Easy.
I don't know
What?
that he's Vic Fangio, but I still think you guys finished
Chuck
as top
Pagano.
3.
He's great. Shut up.
No, I think he's great. He was terrible fucking head coach. Terrible head coach. I think he's a great defensive coordinator. But the thing is, I think that this defensive unit, especially with I think Matt Nagy's a social. Well, I'll say it before we get to the Bears. We'll bring it up again when we get to the Bears.
We got the Panthers now.
Yep.
I think the Panthers are an 8-8 team.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I was going to say.
I think the Panthers are an 8-8 team, but with a double-digit win potential.
It depends on Cam Newton. If Cam Newton's 100% healthy and he's Cam Newton from a few years ago,
Yep. See, the
they
thing
could
is,
be a 10 or 11 win team.
I
How was he
agree-
from his
I agree
surgery?
with you about Cam Newton, but I always push the quarterback health thing to the side. It's the receivers. I need the
who's he
I know.
throwing to?
Well, McCaffrey's always going to catch everything.
Okay,
That's the number
so
one.
you
It's
have
the
McCaffrey.
receivers.
That is everything.
It's been the
for that
same
offense.
question for me since Steve Smith left. Yes, obviously, Cam Newton playing well depends on, but that we can say that for every team. We need somebody on that receiving core to step up, not have a 1,000-yard season, but I need somebody to step up and have an 800-yard season with 6 touchdowns.
They have 2 guys I think could be 1,000-yard receivers.
I agree with you, but one of them actually has to do it.
I think DJ Moore will do it.
Because they had that potential in the backfield for years. They had 2 1,000-yard rushers and 2 double-digit touchdown guys for years on that backfield, and they never could get it done with D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart.
Do you
those,
think
those were 2 very good running backs that sat on their shelf and rusted.
Christian McCaffrey's a Hall of Fame level running back.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying, but
Put
at
'em
the
in.
time when they had
Wow.
receivers, what they were missing was the running
talent.
game, and they had 2 1,000-yard potential running backs on their shelf when they had good receivers. Now they have the reverse. They're using their running back. The running back is getting touches. They
happened to
need to have
Jones?
one of those wide receivers reach that potential. Because I agree with you. I think DJ Moore could be a 1,300-yard receiver. And I think DJ Moore could have 13 touchdowns. I think he's a very
hope
underrated.
so.
I do. I think he's a very underrated receiver. I think he's got great
Why, is he
explosive
on
speed.
your roster?
But one of them has to do it. They have to do it.
Let's speed up these picks.
Who picks 4th?
Yeah, for real.
Oh, sorry, I was talking. My bad.
All right, so let me ask you guys this question: Panthers finish.
I think the
Nine.
I think the Panthers go 9-7.
All right, let's say they finish 9-7. Is Ron Rivera on the hot seat?
Been in the hot seat since he took the job.
All right, so he's been on the hot seat since he took the job. When does that actually start to become a threat to him?
If
I'm
Cam
asking.
Newton stays
Not
healthy
9
and
and
plays
7,
well.
I don't think. I think he's got to be under 500.
You think it's going to wait till he gets under 500 before they look to change coaches?
It's tough, man. 'Cause you see teams trying to flip-flop through coaches. It doesn't work. You
So
keep one coach, eventually it works.
Right. I think we're on the money with the Panthers being 8-8, 9-7. Cam being healthy is a big plus, but we have to remember that defense is nothing special. It's not the defense of 5 years ago.
And Luke Kuechly's been having health issues.
So it's an average defense. It was a great defense, or a good to great defense, and now it's kind of, it's middle of the road. It's decent.
It's
but
a stream defense.
Kuechly's been having concussion issues. So, I mean, the way we see in the NFL, he could, this may sound crazy, he could retire at any day.
yeah,
He could get hit and just be like, you know what, I'm done with this. So, I mean, if he's gone, that defense is very exploitable, I think. I mean, he's a very big presence on that field.
Here's a fun name for you because you bring up the concussion thing. I'm not saying this in terms of the level. I'm just saying about the position on the team. And Kendall will love this name. But when you had the whole Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady era in the NFL, they had Wes Welker. The Colts had their Wes Welker in Austin Collie.
Yeah.
He was not as good as Wes Welker, but Austin Collie was that little tiny white receiver that was over the middle, could take the hits, but he kept getting concussions. And he kept trying to play, and people just wouldn't sign him because he
Steelers
kept
had
getting
that guy.
concussed. Ryan Switzer.
That's right.
You know, I thought you were just like, yeah, he was another small white receiver.
All right, so
It made me laugh.
So Brady and Peyton is over. Who's the next great quarterback duel? I guess.
So that's a good question.
So, let's say
It might be too early to say Mahomes, though.
No, he has all the tools set.
I'm agreeing with you, but again, it's been a year. Like, it might be too
let me
early to say that.
With that being said, like, let the hype being what it is right now as of September 2nd, 2019, it would be Mayfield Mahomes because of the hype factor.
Yeah.
Now, Mahomes has done more to prove it so far, but if you want to make the argument that, two players that have a lot of tools around them, those would be the guy.
Yes.
Yeah, so that would be my pick.
I'm going to be a little bit of a homer here. I'm going to say Wentz and Goff.
You know, I was thinking when
Went back-to-back picks.
Yeah.
Both went to the Super Bowl already. I mean, Wentz was hurt, but both have gone to the Super Bowl. Arguably, I would say neither has won it yet. I don't know that Wentz would have outdueled Tom Brady. He might have.
I don't know, but Nick Foles did.
That's absolutely right. He
That's
did.
what I'm talking about, baby.
You got two of the best coaches in football in Sean McVay and Doug Peterson.
I did say Don.
You got GMs that are not afraid to go out and get what they need to make that team better. If they keep making the playoffs,
What
they're going
quarterbacks
to
we
keep
talking
beating
about for this?
Wentz and Goff.
Yeah, I could see Wentz and Goff. I could see that. I could also see, but so I could also see Wilson and Goff because the Rams and the Seahawks always play up or down to each other and have very competitive games. And
it's like the
Peyton and Brady weren't in the same division, but they always finished top, so they always played each other every year. So I could kind of see because the Rams always, when they were the really bad team, they played up to the Seahawks' potential, and they actually beat them a few times. And then last year, the Seahawks were the worst of the two teams, and the Seahawks played right up to the Rams' expectations.
every single game.
So,
It's
I mean,
awful.
do we look into, say, even like last year's draft class where you had, Darnold, Mayfield,
Allen.
Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson? Like, that very well could be, the
it's
next
interesting because
rivalry.
they're almost all starting.
Yeah.
Or are they all starting?
Rosen's not.
Rosen's not. Right.
Fuck that guy.
But if he was, I think that would be a very
I think if you're
compelling.
going
Watch
to
him
go
be
out
the
of
best.
division, I think
Watch
if you're
him be
going to
the
go out of
best of the
division, assuming the progression stays the way it is, I think that Baker Mayfield and Deshaun Watson,
That could be a good
that
one.
would be a very fun
That'd
one
be a very,
to watch.
like, yin and yang. Deshaun Watson's kind of, like, quiet. Doesn't really talk much.
Not a lot of emotion.
I was looking forward to Watson Luck because I thought that was going to be a nice showdown because I thought those two teams were really going to go at it.
See, it could have been cool to, like, looking back, like, RG3 and Luck could have been cool.
What?
But, he's hurt all the time.
Just about all the time.
RG3 outplayed Luck.
For one season.
No, I mean like RG3 still active.
You mean
Like, he outplayed him in his career.
Oh, he's still in the elite.
Length
you mean.
of career.
Well, congratulations to him. He'll still finish with like 10,000 less passing yards.
There was a lot of talk that Winston and Mariota was going to be the next quarterback
Is that the
dynasty.
Jets' defense?
I never thought Mariota was going to be great.
Rebecca, did you mean the Jets' defense?
They were on the list.
All right. Anyways,
How far
moving.
did you
hold on.
scroll down?
I was going to say, well, they're all on the list.
Out there right now, there's no.
Kyler Murray, Daniel Jones.
Dude, I was thinking that.
That'd be cool.
I'd enjoy that, but how often are they going to meet? Once every 4 years?
Mason Rudolph.
Well, when they both start playing first place
Eric,
schedules every year.
That's true.
Shit.
So that's the thing is you got to kind of compete. But let's get back to the expectations. Wow, we're out of time.
We got to. Well, we started a little late.
What time does this end?
11:30.
11:30 will be 3 hours. I mean, we can go later. That's not a problem.
Right. Well, and like we said,
It's a holiday weekend.
That ends right now.
Yeah.
Well, let's
About
go back
to
to
end.
expectations. So we did.
All right, so we just finished the NFC South. Let's
All right,
go
so-
to the NFC East.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are the Giants' expectations?
I don't know.
You want it? Well, I would say right now, if
Eric
you
wants to come
held a gun to my head, I'd say 6-10.
With the potential for
Maybe if everything broke right, 9-7, 8-8. But really, I mean, I think 6-10
this is the
enough.
year that the Giants are going to sneak into the wild card
Tie her
and
up.
beat Brady for the third time in a row.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, that'd be
I
the
would-
best
oh
thing
my
ever.
God. Your
Tie
lips
her
to
up.
God's ears. My
I
girlfriend's
would
a
love
Patriots fan, though. Might cause some strife.
See,
That's all right. He's got
it's
6
funny
already.
because
He
I was
can lose
curious to
another one.
see like Chris's answer because I didn't know if I was going to agree with him or not. But we were kind of on par. Like, I was looking at the Giants' schedule the other day, and I was trying to be as objective as possible.
All right. Finish your thought, and then I got a question for you.
And I had them at 8-8, and not to say I think that they're an 8-8 team because I think they'll settle as a 6-win team, but at the absolute best, I think they're 9-7.
Yeah.
So I mean, again, I don't think they're going to be an easy beat. I think they'll surprise some teams, but there's still pieces that need to be placed.
I want to see Daniel Jones at some point step in, and I want to see the development of him. That's what I'm looking for.
You think he
that
plays
that
this
was
year?
going to be my question. Do you guys think he plays this year?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Anytime.
But what would it take for him to come? So say, I mean, at week 5,
Yeah.
if the Giants are say,
Josh
even if it's 2-3 or 3-2, they make the switch.
Not at 3-2, not at 2-3, but if it's
Josh Jacobs
if it's
has
1 and
already been
4,
if they're 2, if
Take
they're
some
2
private
and
stock,
5,
Ty.
Bullshit.
Okay.
Paul.
Take
Daniel
some private
Jones
stock,
is
Ty.
like-
Take some.
I got you.
mid-season, okay, we're not making the playoffs this year. Daniel Jones comes in. I think the Eagles win that division.
What if Eli's playing out of his mind?
Then no matter
trade
what
him?
happens,
Are
I
they
think,
winning or are they losing?
Like,
Well, let me ask you this:
David
what if
they're
Montgomery.
losing.
They're
Say if
losing.
taken?
But he's playing
he?
out of their mind.
then
might
they
trade
trade
him.
him.
And you
Oh,
would trade
come on,
him?
that's hard to see.
Let me ask you a question. Though. So, what if the Giants? What did you say the record would be?
Let's say they're like
6-10, 9-7 at best.
At best.
No, what did you say about Eli playing well? Like, he
Say-
said, are they
like,
winning?
Say if they were still losing.
Into the mic.
Well, let me ask you a question though. What if Eli started all 16? Well, let's say 15 games. So let's say though they go 9-7, but they're eliminated from the playoffs, right? So
They don't make the playoffs at 9-7.
right. So they don't make the playoffs. So they start Daniel Jones week 17 just to see what he's got.
Yeah.
What do you do at that point in time? And I'm talking good numbers.
What do you mean? Like, what do you mean?
Well, do you re-sign Eli?
No, Eli's done after this year.
I agree with
guarantee.
that
No matter
also.
what?
Daniel Jones is the starter next year, week 1.
What if
matter
Eli
what?
takes you to the playoffs and doesn't want to retire?
Daniel Jones is the starter week 1.
I truly think, and I mean it almost like hurts to say, I don't think Eli's a Giant next year.
If Eli Manning
Eli-
plays
does
successfully
Eli-
this
when does
season, if
his
he has
co-
a successful season
When does his contract
and
end?
wants to be re-signed, right, and he does because you guys go with Daniel Jones, I do think Eli retires. I don't think he wants to go somewhere else. I don't think he's going to want to do that whole be the elder guy and all this shit.
I disagree. I think Eli loves to play.
I can't see it.
I understand, but where's he going to go that he's going to play? Is what I'm saying. You know,
The Colts.
Dude,
but are the Colts going to want to? Are the Colts
Coughlin
going
will
to?
sign him in Jacksonville.
They're going to pay him for what? 2 years of
dude, I
playing
think
time?
if Eli has a good year, he's done, bro. He's done.
No, but I mean, but
He's
if he
gonna-
makes the
he's gonna
playoffs and
end.
loses in the wild card round, I mean, I don't think you'd want to go out on that note.
I think he would.
You know, I think
dude.
he'd still want to play.
I think
When is
he'd
his
rather go
contract
out on that
This year.
note. I think he'd rather go out on that note than go on
I'd
out.
rather you pick somebody
on a
that
bad
hasn't
note.
been picked yet.
I know, dude. I
Because
could
you're
only-
about 0 for 9 right now.
Dude, I could see half the board. I could see half the damn board. That doesn't help, honestly. Seeing the whole board doesn't help, Paul.
What about the Eagles?
Those are available guys. Bust.
I think the Eagles are the best team in that division.
I agree.
By
I
far.
hate the Eagles with a passion, obviously, but yeah,
By far.
I mean defense. I mean they're loaded on defense. Their pass rush is ridiculous. They got a great offensive line. It depends on if Carson Wentz stays healthy, though. I will say that.
They got McCown.
It depends on Carson Wentz and if he stays healthy.
And we have Matt Moore.
Do you really?
Yes.
God help you if Patrick.
I thought you
Mahomes
had
goes
Chad
down.
Henne.
Chad Henne went down with a fractured ankle. So we had to call Miami and see who else they didn't want to have anymore. So
Here comes Pennington.
it was Matt
Coming out of
Moore.
retirement.
I think if Zeke signs and he's there the whole year, which is debatable, I think Zeke is a huge part of the Cowboys' offense. I think the Cowboys can win the division too. I
Yeah.
think the Redskins will be dead last. I think they'll be a 3 or 4 win team. So that's my opinion on the NFC East.
I'm pretty much in the same line. I mean, the Cowboys' season to me rides or dies with Zeke. If he's not on the field, 7 wins. If he's on the field, I mean, they can win up
Playoffs.
to 11. Yeah, like they could be a 10, 11, 12 win team. It's on his back
So you're in the camp that you think without Zeke they still win 7 games?
at best.
I think the Giants and the Redskins both could do some surprising because, and it all goes off of like the trend. If Carson Wentz can't stay healthy, they've lost that backup that everyone on the team trusts to come in and win the game, and so they're kind of starting over from scratch. And I think the Cowboys, they do have they have a great running back. They have a very good defense. They helped up with their receiving core and whatnot, but now they're playing a first place schedule, and so there's not that they can't step up to that, but there's more potential for them to lose than there is to win, like it was last year. If the Cowboys can't hold up to par, because every game in the NFC East is very hard fought. All the NFC East teams play each other very tough, even the Redskins. And so, if the Cowboys can't hold up to a top seed schedule, and Carson Wentz starts having health issues again, I could very easily see the Giants squeezing in at 10-6 and winning the division.
I think a lot of things would have to. First of all, they'd have to hit on every single one of the defensive picks they made this year. Okay, like they took 2 defensive players in the first round. Okay, most of their draft was defense. They got Jabril Peppers from the Odell trade. All of those guys have to be studs for the Giants to be good, to be that good. They all have to be. They have to hit on every one of them.
So you guys are playing a third place or last place schedule?
It's got to be last place.
Did you guys finish with a worse record than the Redskins last year?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because the Redskins were in the division race for almost the entire year, right?
Yeah, because we picked ahead of the Redskins.
Right. So
yeah,
but
Dude,
Giants
I don't
finished
think that
5-11,
much.
Redskins
I don't
finished
think that
7-9.
much has to happen. You're up, Mark. I don't.
Dude, honestly, the Giants are, I think,
I
a
don't
coin
think
toss
that
this
much
year.
has to happen. I mean, it's big things. Carson Wentz getting injured. Like maybe Elliott holding out longer, or the Cowboys just not playing up to par.
it's dependent on other teams. See, we can't control our own destiny with that. The Giants
Right.
cannot
I
control whether
understand
they're
that.
going to win the division because they're not good enough.
Right, I understand what you're saying, but you go in, you're playing the Lions, you're playing the Bucks, and you're playing the Cardinals.
All those teams are looking at us and saying, "We're playing the Giants. You know what I mean?
No, I
We're playing
understand,
the Redskins."
but all 3 of those teams would you look at me with a straight face and say any of them have a more talented roster than you?
Wait, so you said the Bucks,
The Bucks, the Lions, and the
Lions
Cardinals.
are a better team than the Giants right now.
I 100% disagree with you.
You would.
No, it has nothing to do with shitting on the Lions being a division rival. I just think that their defense is average at best, and their offense is average at best. You guys have arguably the best running back in football. You have, when he comes back, the best possession receiver in football. You have a very good... oh, fuck that is. I keep seeing that name, and I don't even know who that is.
He's on
He's
the
a
Packers.
Scantling?
Yeah.
Aldous Scantling.
Piece of shit.
Yannick Ngakwe.
But
That's a good name.
so I'm just saying, I think you guys, of those bottom place teams, you guys have by far the most talented roster. You win those 3 games, I think you guys very easily could go 3-3 in the division. I think you could upset the Eagles twice, no problem. I think you could upset the Cowboys twice, no problem.
3-3 in the division doesn't get us in the playoffs. I don't think.
I'm saying you pair that with who are you playing in the AFC this year?
The East.
I-
The Patriots.
yeah, right. But then it's the Dolphins, the Jets, and the Bills. The Jets and the Bills are all wild card. I think you guys. I think
And the Giants play the Patriots tough every single time they play 'em.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said for them. I think that they
Honestly,
could have a really
with
good
the
year.
Giants, it
And from
depends
your
on
lips
the
to
first
God's
couple
ears, I'm
games.
just being realistic. I don't think I think they're a 6-10 team.
As long as
Giants
they lose,
almost
as long as
have
they lose
like
on my
a-
birthday, I hope they go
half the
15-1.
team
I
is
just hope they
almost
lose on
new.
my birthday.
Half the team though on the Giants is new. I think it's a coin toss. I think with them. I think the first couple weeks is going to show who they are. I don't even know what to say about the Giants right now.
Yeah, their defense is all young players.
And even their O-line, they got almost a completely new O-line, and that's what they worked on. So Barkley with a good O-line, who fucking knows? He might go crazy. Who knows?
The whole left side.
Last
of the
year he
O-line
went
is
crazy,
insane.
and their O-line sucked.
Well, they didn't. I mean, the whole year they didn't suck.
The first half they were terrible.
First
Partly
half they were
was
Even
Turner's
if
thing.
you look at how many times Eli got sacked, dude, Eli was getting sacked all the fucking
That's
time.
partially Eli's fault though.
Yeah, he just stands there like a tackling dummy.
And he goes down as soon as he sees guys. Like, I'm,
like, oh, there he is.
I'm
Oh.
sick of getting hit.
Oh, play's over.
But I tell you what, that right there is the reason why he's never been hurt. Is that he just goes down like a freaking Gumby.
So let's talk about the North.
Oh boy.
Paul,
Bears win
Hold
the
on, sorry,
division.
We'll start with the Lions.
go ahead.
5-6 wins.
I think they're a 7-win team.
Okay,
I think Stafford's still very good. He just,
he's solid.
He runs for his life every time he says hike.
Yeah, he's solid,
He says hike and there's 12 dudes.
and he doesn't have any great receivers. Galladay's good.
Galladay's good. I mean, Marvin
They
Jones
got rid
has,
of everybody on him.
has big game potential. I mean, I'm not saying he's great, but
Hawkinson
he
might
puts
do
up
something
some
this
great
year.
games.
Carry on Johnson, you
But-
don't know.
But again, I mean, Stafford isn't
They
a
have the
tight end
meatball
guy.
and C.J. Anderson.
Stafford's not a
Like
tight
Marco.
end guy.
Who'd you pick?
I picked Seattle's defense and
Dick.
Deshaun Jackson.
Give me them week 1. I think.
So, here, I'll give my take on the Lions. I think their defense and their offense both have above average potential, but that's it. So even if they play to the absolute best expectations on both sides of the ball, they're at most a 9-17.
I agree.
But I can't. I see them being five winnings is what I see them getting.
You think
'Cause
they
s-
only win 5 games?
They still have to get through Minnesota's defense, the Bears' defense, and Green Bay's offense, 6 out of 6 of their games, and then they turn around and they play the Giants, who I think are a much better team than them. I don't know what to expect out of Kyler Murray, to be honest with you.
Not much better. You can't say the Giants are much better than anybody.
I think that you can. The Giants are much better than the Dolphins. They're much better than the Bengals.
The Dolphins, okay, yes.
They're much better than the Bengals.
Yeah,
Saquon
still much
Barkley
better
is
than
better
the
at his position than AJ Green is at his.
Well, because A.J. Green can't stay on the field.
But even when AJ Green's 100% healthy,
But, yeah, Barkley's one of the best players in the league.
so take away those two players, the rest of your team is way more talented than the Bengals.
Like, Barkley, as a running back, is on Khalil Mack's level as a defensive end.
Right, but that's
Or
what I'm
outside
saying. So you
linebacker.
take away their two best players, Barkley and Green, your team is way better than the Bengals. Way
Probably.
better.
Well, Green's never there anymore, so you pretty much
So
do
by
take away
default.
Look at this rat.
Yeah.
I've been handing him my leftover beers this whole night, and he comes in with one beer.
What an asshole.
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
This whole night.
Just pick the fridge up.
Taking the chance.
Are you drafting your third quarterback?
No.
What did you guys do in July down here? Like, how did that
Die.
work?
I tell you what, in July it was actually nice.
How?
I don't know. I'm
No,
telling you, it
no,
was.
it wasn't.
It wasn't that.
You weren't here half of July.
That's a good point. That's a fair point.
That's why it was nice. That's why
It was nice from my hotel room.
No, July sucked.
Fair
June
point
was
from
pretty
Matt.
bad.
Damn, it's really my pick again, huh?
Who was that?
I don't expect much from the Detroit Lions.
I can't read
I
that.
think that they have.
Can I
I
draft
think
myself?
they have somebody. I think they have a top 3 defensive coordinator as their head coach, but I don't think he's a great head coach. I think what's gonna happen to him is he's gonna have a lesser version of what Lovie Smith did, and that's Lovie Smith took the Bears to the Super Bowl, but it was 100% on the back of the Bears defense in that year, and the Lions are nowhere close to having the defense the Bears did in 2006. I just can't see them succeeding.
You're talking about
now.
the Lions still.
The Lions still, yeah.
Yeah, the Lions are, yeah. And now...
5 wins. I give them 5 wins.
That's fair. I think ceiling is like 8 or 9 if everything broke right.
Right.
Maybe, because Stafford is a talented player.
Stafford is very talented. They have high potential players in Johnson and Galladay, but it's gonna, like you said, it's going to take everything going. It's going to take Minnesota having a bad
Hawkinson,
defense.
like the rookie tight end.
But I agree with Mock.
Stafford's not a
Stafford
tight
doesn't.
end
He's
guy.
not a tight end guy. He's had vertical threat tight ends and possession tight ends. He just doesn't throw to them.
First of all, I think Eric Ebron was a product of Andrew Luck.
No, I understand that, but he's never thrown to the tight ends, ever.
He's never really had any.
Besides Ebron, who has he had? That's a legitimate question.
But Matt Stafford, I think Matt Stafford has the talent to make a tight end. Because outside of the norm, Kelsey's, Ingram's, Ertz, Kittle's.
Let's not put Ingram in there yet.
I
hope he gets
was
there.
happy
But he's
he
got the
did.
talent. But he's got
Sure.
the talent, is what I'm saying. But the rest of them, their player makes them. Look at Jared Cook. Jared Cook was absolutely made with that Tennessee offense, the way that he schemed and fit into it. And then he sucked with the Rams.
Yep.
It was terrible.
Then he went to
Matt Stafford has the talent to make a tight end a very good tight end. Not Ertz or Kelsey, because they don't have that talent. They're not that outlier, but he's got the potential to make a tight
Nobody
end
knew
good.
Kelsey had that talent until Kelsey did what he did. You know what I mean?
Right.
I knew.
Eric knew.
Yeah, I knew.
I've been
Come on,
watching
Ty.
his tape since high school. Me and Gruden.
Oh, you beat me to it.
All right, let's move on.
So I think really honestly, I mean Rodgers is the outlier because if Rodgers has one of those 45 touchdown 3 interception years, the Packers could win that division easily. But I think the Vikings are the best team in that division. Honestly, I think Dalvin Cook's going to be healthy this year. Kirk Cousins with another year under that system. I don't like Kirk Cousins, but in the regular season, Kirk Cousins is he's
good for
very
fantasy.
good. He's a great fantasy quarterback. I think in another year in that system, that team is loaded with talent on like both sides of the ball.
10 wins
I agree
at
with you.
best.
I agree with you. They can't seem to fit it together. And it's not in a season aspect, it's a game aspect. The offense just, and it's not even Kirk Cousins, it was before Kirk Cousins. The offense just can't seem to play well when the defense plays well. They can't link up a game and have both sides of the ball play well. One always suffers. And I don't know why it is, because I agree with you. I think they have one of the most talented rosters in all of football.
They also burn out their kickers left and fucking
Well, they
right.
just keep missing.
They ruined Dan Bailey
No, he came in and missed.
because he was on the Vikings.
That's what I mean. Like, it's just a team right now with bad luck with kickers. I mean, there's a couple of them out there.
Who was the kid that they had ended up going to Seattle? The one that whiffed in the
Blair Walsh.
game?
Blair Walsh.
Walsh. Ruined
He
Walsh.
was really good for a
And then he
year.
went to Seattle and missed kicks. I mean,
Minnesota traded for that Ravens kicker.
and cut him.
Now he's a Jet.
Ruined
it's
him
just-
too.
There's just times, I mean, it just doesn't pan out.
How
I mean,
long
we-
do you think? Who's the coach over there right now? Zimmer.
Yeah.
What does it take to put Zimmer on the hot seat?
He's already on the hot seat. If he don't win with that team this year, he's going.
I don't think so.
He has to make the play.
I mean, what do you mean if he doesn't win? If he doesn't win 8 games?
If he doesn't make the playoffs.
Okay. Then yeah. So that means there's.
But that puts him on the hot seat. Doesn't get him fired.
I think it gets him fired.
You think
There's
he gets
no
him fired?
excuse with that team to not make the playoffs.
So I mean, to miss the playoffs, though, I mean, they gotta win less than what, 9 games. So they gotta be a 8-8 team.
In that division,
No, I'm saying to miss the playoffs.
in the NFC, you got to win 11, 12 games to make the playoffs.
I think you make it with 10.
In the NFC right now,
I think they could make it with 10. And you don't have to win 11. You might
you
have
got
to win
all right.
11,
So
but,
you got the
Well,
Falcons, you got the
2
Saints.
wild card teams last year were 10-6, weren't they?
You got the Falcons, you got the Saints, you got the Bears, you got the Packers if Roger has one of his years. You got the Rams, you got the Seahawks. You have the Eagles, you have possibly the Cowboys.
the Seahawks can win 9 games. I mean, Russell
They
Wilson is
could.
that team.
The NFC
And
is
I
going
know-
to destroy each other. There's no question about that. But my point is, there's going to be teams that reign supreme, and if you're not one of those teams that's beating left and right, you're not going to make the playoffs.
Well, the Vikings should be, and that's my reason.
The
I'll tell you
Vikings,
what.
top to bottom, are the most talented team in that division.
And I think if they don't make the playoffs, he deserves to be fired.
I would agree with you.
He's Marvin Lewis all over again.
Dude, somebody pour me a shot of that shit.
I'll tell you what, I don't know if you guys have been listening. The Mass has been killing it with jargon tonight. You know, reign supreme, bar none. I've been digging it. Good on you, Mass.
Thank you.
I'll join
Deep in
Tyler.
reach into
on
the
one.
All right, so let's go on
Is
to
he
the
the first guy to
Packers.
willingly want one of those? I don't.
No,
No,
Kyle
I-
does one every time he comes down here.
No, I had to do it because I chose like 8 people that were already chosen.
Let's go to the Packers.
So I'm just, you know.
I think the
gonna do one.
Packers are a 9 to 10 win team.
I think the Packers have 7 to 12 potential.
What is it?
It's very up in the air because their defense still isn't there yet. And I'm still not convinced on their running game. But they have the most talented quarterback in football. So it's kind of like a toss-up in the air because Adams is very good. I think Allison's a big sleeper for them. I think the real X factor for the Packers to make the playoffs or not has nothing to do with Aaron Rodgers. It has to do with Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy Graham.
If Jim Graham can do half of what he did in a Saints jersey, that completely changes the complexion of the Packers offense. But like people just forget about because he's been relatively unproductive since he's left New Orleans. If he plays even at 800 yards and 7 touchdown potential, that Packers team could very easily get 12 wins.
Rebecca with a good pick.
Did you pick yet, Mass?
I mean, it only took 14 rounds.
Our first pick is good.
That doesn't
Yeah,
count.
yeah, she took McCaffrey.
Well, Dalvin Cook was
And
good.
Thielen, that's a
You do
good
whatever
one.
you want to do.
No, Rebecca's
Dalvin
team
Cook, I
3.
did.
Her first 4 picks were good.
Yeah.
5 picks were
She
good.
did good, yeah, and then she just,
Kyle Rudolph is not good.
she just, well, yeah, 5.
I hate that guy.
I like that the Rams receivers.
Oh, I'm looking
all
at the
went
number
in
2
a row.
team.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She's team 3.
That's me.
Yeah.
Get ready to eat some llama.
I'll ship it in.
Oh, that'd be the best thing ever.
Can you explain to me what eat some llama means?
Well, she loves llamas. It's like her favorite animal.
And if she loses,
so every
she has
once
to
in a
do
while,
gross
we
shot.
look up recipes to eat them.
So if she loses and has to do the gross shot, we'll ship in some llama meat.
No, you have to make her slaughter a live one
That's fine.
Gotta go and gut it.
A baby one. A baby one.
with a pocket knife.
Fresh born.
If I get to make her shot, it's 100% going to have ground llama meat and at least 6 or 7 spiders.
But it's got to be a dull pocket knife.
She won't know it until she drinks it, though.
Kendall's over here sweating. He's not. He's
Oh, I'm not worried about it. I'm trying to think of make it better.
Kendall's like, what's gonna happen after? Like later that night.
Some
afterwards.
Joe Buck sweat. Come on, Mass. So, anybody else have anything to chime in on the Packers?
I mean, yeah, I think the Packers are like that 9-7 team.
The biggest question marks are defense and run game.
And the health of Rodgers.
Right. I mean, right.
And I think we've seen.
It's a bigger question than usual for.
He's injury prone the last few years. I mean, he really has been.
Deshaun Kaiser's
Especially
not
his
there
collarbones.
anymore, so who's their backup now?
I don't know.
They had a
Couldn't even
rookie.
tell
I
you.
forgot who it was.
I think his name
so
is
Nobody
They
ever
cut
knows
Kaiser.
who their backup
Doyle.
is until Rodgers gets
Boyle.
hurt.
They had
Tim
Deshaun
Boyle.
Kaiser.
Boyle.
Who are we talking about?
Boyle, Tim Doyle.
Is that your
Doyle?
pick
Tim
or is
Boyle?
that the backup?
No, that's the
Are you
backup.
picking?
He's just trying to talk.
It's like Fred
Boyle,
Doyle.
Boyle, foil, Paxton.
Doyle, Foyle.
He's just
Doyle,
rapping.
Coyle.
No, but I think Aaron Jones is very good this year.
If they use him.
They will, because they used him a lot when Rodgers came back.
But I mean, he was there, and then like they barely used him. Then they used him a lot. Then they didn't. It was just
Well, Jamal Williams is hurt, so
All right, what's their record?
9-7.
All right,
10-6.
let's talk about the best team in that division real quick.
I think they're 11-win team.
I think they're a 13-win team.
I was really hoping he was going to say somebody else. I don't know who else he could have said, but it just would have been funny.
The best team in the division, the Chargers.
I think they're 11-win team.
Well, you could have said the Tampa Bay Bucks, but that would have been a throwback.
Yeah.
I
They're a
just think-
13-win team.
I just
You know the
think-
Tampa Bay Buccaneers have won the NFC North more recently than the Lions have?
That's very funny.
Did you know that Ben Roethlisberger is the most winningest quarterback at First Energy Stadium?
Why do you know that?
Because he saw it pop up on one. You know how like the NFL likes to just make up stats? Like, MLB's the best at it. They're like,
MLB
this
is the
guy has the
absolute
best
best.
batting average when it's raining,
On
but
a
it's not
Thursday.
cloudy, and it's sunny on a Thursday with wind between 4 and 7 miles per hour
Guy's
northeast.
batting 550.
Yeah.
Just kills it in this
7
situation.
at-bats.
Yes, 7 at bats.
All right, so I think so.
Yeah.
The Bears relatively.
Atlanta's kicker, Vecchio or whatever.
Matt Bryant.
Nope.
They
Is it
just
Tavecchio?
signed Matt Bryant again.
Yeah.
They cut the other kid.
They cut Tavecchio.
Oh, they cut to Vecchio.
But
Oh,
Matt
showing
Bryant's
up,
good
showing,
pick.
Okay, then.
Matt Bryant.
I guess they. I'll
Well, you're
drop
just
them.
going to have to drop him anyway, so.
Well, do you want to make me drop them? I'll pick them and then I'll drop them later.
I didn't take the sticker off the thing yet, so
Okay.
in my
Yeah.
opinion, he didn't get picked.
Yeah, because I was looking at this and it still says Tavecchio's in there. So, all right. I guess I'll go Goskowski then.
It's probably
I'm going to be a
pretty safe
Dixon
pick.
Jet for one pick.
You should do it. Buccaneers kicker, Kyle?
No.
What's
And
the
Chargers
kid-
Oh.
defense.
I know where you're going.
What's the kid that
His
they drafted?
son's the coach? Do you know that joke? Or is that just me, Kendall, and Paul?
I know it.
That's the final round, right?
Oh, yeah.
Nope.
Exactly.
One more round.
One more round. Should go quick though.
Daryl
We're
Henderson.
doing
Anyway,
16?
the Bears as a team stayed relatively unchanged. They lost Amos, but they brought in Clinton Dix. Their biggest loss this offseason was losing Bryce Callahan. They brought in Buster Skrine, who's not going to be as good, but he's still a good slot corner. Other than that, the defense has relatively stayed unchanged, and their offense is relatively unchanged. They didn't lose any offensive linemen. They lost Jordan Howard, but they got David Montgomery, which is kind of like an even swap at this point in time. So I don't really know what to expect from them. If Mitch progresses the way he has been progressing, I think they could be a 14-win team. If he brought the offense from 29 to 14. If he can have that progression again,
If he
especially with a running back that they believe in, like they didn't believe in Jordan Howard, the sky's the limit for them. They could be very good, especially with the defense.
Yep.
But the one thing the Bears had last year, which is something they haven't had in over a decade, was a relatively injury-free offense and a relatively injury-free defense. They
Your
lost
offensive
Trubisky
line
for 2
hasn't been
games
touched,
and
right?
Mack, but those were more precautionary things. They didn't really suffer a serious injury till the end of the season when they lost Eddie Jackson.
Who's your backup quarterback right now? Remind me.
Chase Daniel.
Oh, that's right.
The legend.
Mitch's father.
I'd
So-
like to go ahead and draft Chase Daniels.
Are you serious?
They've got a lot of
Do you know it's
potential.
your pick?
I could see them
He
being
picked
a
Daniel-
13
he
win
picked Daryl
team.
Henderson.
Yes.
Ah.
All right, NFC West.
I mean, other people can chime in on the Bears.
I already said they're the best
I
team
don't
in
wanna
the
make it a
division.
homer
They're
thing.
an 11-3 team at minimum. I honestly think they're going to make the NFC Championship game this year.
But not win it.
No, because the Rams are going to make it to the NFC Championship and win it
I
this
knew
year.
there was an angle here.
So
Well, are they going to win on another
the Seahawks are
bullshit
winning that
call?
division.
I'm sorry, what?
The Seahawks are winning that division this year.
Okay.
Good take. I like it. I'm in.
It's wrong, but it's a good take.
I'm in.
Jared Goff showed me what he does in big games in the Super Bowl.
Rebecca.
Crumble.
Jared Goff showed you what he does against arguably the best defensive coordinator of all time in Bill Belichick.
Yeah, how did the Eagles do
Okay.
against that same defensive coordinator with a backup quarterback?
Does everybody not have an off game?
Just saying.
Nick
Teams
Vol-
have ripped the Patriots up many
remind
times.
Remind me. The Vikings were probably one of the top defenses in the NFL that year too, right? Were they not? And Nick Foles took him and just shot all over him.
Yep.
Dropped 42 points on him.
But
It
we've
was
talked
their
about,
year.
We've talked about the Vikings and how on and off they are. They got talent, but they're on and off. The
We went
Patriots,
in-
the Patriots' defensive personnel always outplays. They always outplay what their personnel is.
I agree, but the Rams went in there with arguably their top 2 weapons, and they said, "Put it on Goff to beat us." And I will say this: as much as I love him, McVay cost them that game.
Goff missed 2 touchdown passes.
Sure.
Missed them. Wide open.
Sure.
Brandon Cooks
He was
wide
also
open, missed
under.
him.
He was also under fire every other snap he took.
That one against Cooks, where Cooks had, he was wide open. That one right
sure.
down the middle of the
yeah,
field.
that's. I'm sure. Yeah, one play he missed, one big one that would have won them the game. He could not make a move. There was no run support in that game.
What are we talking about? We're talking about both teams here.
We're talking about the Rams, guys.
We're talking about the Rams.
Rams take a step back,
All right, they're still going.
but
to the Super
Gurley's
Bowl.
going to be good.
Well, that's
Those
another thing.
arthritic
What's
knees?
what's Gurley going to be? That's the biggest question mark in fantasy football right now. Like, what's Gurley going to be?
He's going to be arguably a top 3 player. He's not going to miss a step. Sure, they'll spell him a couple games. He won't miss games, but he'll get a lot more.
He fucked me last year.
Yep. Yep. On that. Ooh, good pick.
All right. So, anyways, Rams going to win the division. There's a hot take that the Seahawks are going to take it. I'm curious to hear this one.
So, I mean, I'm kind of in the camp that the Rams repeat as champions. I think the Seahawks hang tough. I don't think the Cardinals are going anywhere fast. And same with San Francisco.
If,
So
if they don't win in San Francisco this year, I don't know that Shanahan has more than one season left. I really don't.
I think the 49ers take that division.
Really?
I do.
Wow.
I like
Bad
these spicy
take.
takes.
Bad take.
Why?
What has Garoppolo proven, Kyle?
It's not him. Their defense is healthy.
But what is anything on that offense proven?
Is Bosa healthy?
Yes, he's
Okay,
back. and
Okay, he's
gonna
good.
be
I just
ready
want to
for
because I
good
know he was hurt the last time I had looked.
But
a few
really,
months
like,
ago.
what is anything
When
on
he
that
got
offense
drafted after
proven?
he
All right, so their defensive line is great. I'll give you that.
Corey Davis.
You got you got Bosa, you got Ford, you got DeForest Buckner on that line. You got Solomon Thomas. That's a pretty scary defensive line. What do they have behind it?
Richard Sherman.
Oh, don't even start that
Oh.
argument, Kyle.
Joe Quisky Tart.
Do not even start the
Okay.
Richard
fucking
Sherman
washed
argument.
up with Richard Sherman. He does not scare me the way he used to when he was on Seattle.
Well, we'll find out, right? You don't know.
Oh,
what he
don't
is.
give me the shoulder shrug and we'll find. You just said they're going to take
Kyle,
the division.
We dropped 4 touchdowns on Sherman last year.
Ooh.
Yeah. Then he tore his Achilles.
But
Before he tore his
you're
Achilles.
telling
It was
me-
already torn.
You're telling me the Niners are going to take why? Why are they going to take
All right,
the
so
division?
I think
you
they're
have
more
that defensive line.
balanced in the run game.
All right, so you already
who?
said that. You already said that. What's
and
his
Breida.
face? Tevin Coleman isn't going to do shit without.
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did.
Yes, you did.
I didn't.
Yes,
Yes, you
did.
did.
I said Freeman ain't gonna be the same.
No,
you said
you,
Coleman won't be
you
the
said
same.
both of them.
You said both names.
No, I didn't.
Run
Yes,
it
you
back.
did.
I didn't.
Somebody
Kyle,
run back the
I
tape.
took Tevin Coleman. So
Kyle,
you're
We
wrong.
don't have an intern for
No,
that.
I
We have to do it post-production.
remember him saying Tevin Coleman and Breida. I do remember him saying that. He liked them.
Kyle.
He did say that at some point tonight.
Kyle.
What? Speak into the microphone, you jackwagon.
Yeah, you got to talk into the mic. This is radio.
Sorry,
All right,
Mike.
so
back there.
so you have a mediocre
He's
run
right.
game. You have an okay offensive line. You have a quarterback that you don't know what you have in. Who's your
Who's
best
always hurt.
receiver?
Kyle doesn't have any of these things.
Who's your best receiver right now on that team?
On the Niners?
Dante Pettis.
Kittle.
No, it's
Kittle's their
definitely
best
Pettis.
receiver.
Debo
Well, no.
Samuel.
Debo's here.
You have a role player in Marquise Goodwin. You have somebody
You got a
who's
guy that knows how to run an offense, right?
Sure,
Okay.
Who?
Who?
Shanahan.
Shanahan.
Don't say Shanahan.
Because it kind of
yeah.
lost him a Super Bowl.
Thank you. Just about to say that,
He
Mike.
didn't lose in the Super Bowl.
Yes,
They
he
beat
did.
him
Hold on,
28
hold on. In Kyle,
He
hold on.
stopped running the ball.
Hold on,
Yeah,
hold on,
28
hold on.
points.
Kyle,
Defense.
Kyle, he did.
Hold on. In Kyle's defense, though, that offense got them to the Super Bowl.
They freaking gave up 30 unanswered points. That's unacceptable.
Okay,
Kyle.
so
They're a defense.
let me
Kyle.
ask you a
Do
question.
not blame the offense for what the
Yeah,
defense
you
did.
cannot blame
I
that.
can blame the offense when you're winning a game in the second half and you're passing the ball with 30 seconds left on the
can
play clock.
absolutely
That's on
agree.
Matt Ryan.
I
Not
can
gonna
agree
win
with
no
you on
pass.
that. No.
No,
Why is the
that
play
was
call a
co-
pass?
That last drive was the coach.
So
Okay, that's what-
that last thing was on the coach, but he's
I'll get
absolutely
back
right.
to you. Give me a second.
The defense absolutely dropped the ball in that game.
They did. You're right. But again, you're
That's
winning
not
a game.
100% on Shanahan.
You're winning a game. Why are you passing the ball when you're winning in the second half of the Super Bowl? You're snapping the ball with 30 seconds on the clock, and you're passing it. You can blame Matt Ryan all you want. That's play calling. That's your offensive. If it's Matt Ryan making changes, you're the offensive coordinator. Fix it. I'm sorry.
How about this? How about you're playing the New England Patriots and milking the clock does not work for you.
It does.
Yes,
you know
it does.
What?
I
No,
can't
it
What
doesn't.
logic is that?
All right,
can't talk
guys.
about it.
No, it
Guys,
doesn't.
we've got very sidetracked. We're finishing up on San Francisco.
No. Answer my question. How
Kyle?
does We've seen numerous of times where teams try to milk the clock and the Patriots came back and scored.
Yeah, but I don't know about with a lead like that.
Not when you're up 21 to 3
I mean,
or
that
28
was-
to 3,
that
whatever
that
it
was one of the most unprecedented losses I
So
think
do
I've
you
ever
blame-
seen versus
It's
the
the
Patriots.
greatest
offense or
comeback
do
in
you
history.
blame anything.
There was a
Jack-
sack and a penalty on that last drive that basically cost them that Super Bowl.
What about the jackasses on defense that couldn't stop?
Kyle, I
If
know-
they didn't drop back to pass, neither one of the penalty and the sack wouldn't have happened, and they would have won.
But the defense should still have been able to stop.
I
it.
agree.
get
The
what Kyle
defense,
At least once.
the
Come
defense
on.
should have stepped up. However, the offensive strategy was
I
entirely
don't.
backwards.
I don't.
Sure,
blame
the
the offense. You've got
offensive
that
stra-
many points. Your defense should be able to be fine.
It's Tom Brady, dude.
Doesn't
Tom
matter.
Brady does that to a lot of
You
people.
All
can't.
right.
You can't let up on the Patriots.
That's
Hold
why
on,
you throw the
hold on.
damn ball.
Dude,
Hold
no.
on, hold on. I want to rewind. Souls
Are you talking
thinks
about
that
the Falcons?
49ers are taking the division. I want to hear about this.
Is this- do we not
So
talk
you,
about
so you told me they have.
I think
a
they have a
medi-
better defense than both the Rams and the Seahawks. How? They have a better front than both those teams.
they
Than
have
the
a better
Seahawks?
line.
The
Listen,
Seahawks don't have
listen,
Javion Clowney.
I would
Name
s-
another guy
Ziggy Ansah.
who's been
Ziggy is a joke.
worthless last few years.
I don't agree with you there, Kyle.
100%. Name. Has he done anything?
He was on a Lions team that was Ziggy Ansah was still very good.
No, he's been hurt and he's been trash with them
The,
for the last 2 years.
Seahawks defense is not back to what it was, but their front seven is good.
Not better than that 49ers front seven.
Nobody in the division has a better front four than those 49ers. I will give you that. I will not debate that with you at all. There is nothing that the 49ers have that is better than anybody in that division.
And I think
I would say that the Cardinals have a better secondary than the 49ers do.
You know, Paul, I'm telling you, I was looking at the name and then I said, "No, I won't do it to him."
Oh, we would have thrown fists.
I'm telling you, I had him on the thing and I was like, "Nah, I won't do it to him."
Ziggy Ansah was hurt last year, but he had 12 sacks the year before.
listen, I had him in fantasy and he got me 17 points all year. 2 years
Last
ago.
year.
2 years ago.
No, he had. What are you talking about? You're talking about 2017. He had 12 sacks,
What else did he do? How many tackles did he have?
44.
Well, not true.
God, stop! I'm picking.
Nope, not true.
Nice.
All
sound
right, so we
reasoning.
haven't talked about the final team in the division, Cardinals.
They'll be better than what people think.
5
Not
wins.
great, but they'll be better.
5 wins. I agree.
They got Larry.
Does
We all,
anybody have?
we all want Larry to win.
Yeah,
Christian Kirk, 1,200 yards, 8 touchdowns.
That's fine. But Larry gets his.
Yeah, 800 yards, 4 touchdowns.
No, he gets like 9.
400 yards, 9 touchdowns.
That's fine. I can do it.
There you go.
Let's just keep throwing numbers out here.
No, I'd rather him just get a lot of receptions. I want him to climb the receptions chart. I don't care. He can have like 300 yards and no touchdowns. But let him average like 18 receptions a game.
Keep feeding the ball. Good for him, though. You know, I'm glad that he's still playing.
I'm going to lock in my one homer pick of the year. Rojas.
Oh, nice.
Best kicker in the game?
It's pronounced Rosas.
Nope. Rojas is better.
Roses.
Good dilly.
Never been. Never been. Well, I think we covered basically everything we wanted to talk about.
Just trying to wrap up these last few picks
Oh,
here.
end of the round here.
This
We-
is
we-
it,
we
right?
got
Please
it.
do.
This is the last round.
All right, so we've
Second to last.
hit every
Second
single
to last.
division.
Second one.
So we'll start
Have we
off.
really?
So, Mass, who do you think wins every division?
Every division. All
Do
right.
it. Who wins the divisions?
Rams, Bears, Eagles, Falcons, Browns, Patriots, Chiefs, and who did I miss? AFC? AFC South? Colts.
Am I up?
Yeah.
God damn, this is happening a lot, huh?
What, you picking?
Hold on. Who was the last pick?
Chris, you're picking division winners.
Bills defense.
Mike, let me see your phone.
I'm going to say the Eagles in the NFC East.
All right.
South, I'm going to go Falcons. North. The North is tricky. I'm going to say the Vikings. West, I'm going, obviously, Seahawks. Sorry.
Everybody's entitled to their own wrong opinion.
It's Russell Wilson, man. I love him. I love Russell Wilson.
As much as
That was
Yeah,
like
you-
my
you-
wet
you and-
dream for a while.
Yeah, you
when
and Mock had the hardest dicks in Connecticut when there was that rumor about him going to the Giants.
Well,
You want to know something
I
about
think
all
every
that?
Giants fan was a little half stock at least, man.
You know the whole thing
Yeah, but
about
you
that?
two specific because you guys love him.
I
But
love
it's
him.
not just Russell Wilson to the Giants. It's like my favorite non-Giants quarterback to the
'Cause
Giants.
we even talked about it here where I was like, my
That's Tom
dream
Brady.
situation,
Is it?
my
Is it
dream
really?
I
scenario
love Tom.
would be Russell Wilson on the Giants. I was like, I know it'll
Tom
never
Brady?
happen, but that's my dream.
What's
No,
that?
your dream was Tony Romo on the Giants.
No,
I
but
love Tom
imagine,
Brady.
then you
Yeah,
wake
I do
up one
too.
morning and you're like,
My-
Russell
one of my
Wilson to the
favorite players.
Giants? What? Oh my God.
I had the same dream one time when it said Rex Grossman cut by Bears.
Aw. He was my fantasy team name one year.
The AFC North.
Reed.
You're welcome, Kyle. I believe the Steelers will win that division. I've
Thank
always
you.
believed that.
I'll put the Giants in mine.
Well, I don't want you to because it's not a good pick.
That's my pity pick.
The AFC East, I'm going Dolphins. No, I'm just kidding. That's the Patriots.
No, you said it first.
Lock it in.
Imagine if they did, though, right? You know,
No
if
takebacks.
all of the East quarterbacks go down same week.
Oh.
But no,
Makes sense.
Patriots, obviously. AFC South, Texans. And then what am I missing? What do I got? West, right?
Yep.
Chiefs.
Eric, last pick. All right, so I'll go NFC East. I'll ride the. I'll stick with the Eagles or the Cowboys on that one. I think they do enough.
Hold on. Yeah.
For the NFC North, I'm going to go with the Bears. I just think the Vikings. There's too much spottiness on both sides of the ball, but I think it'll be close. I think it'll be like a real close three-way tie. I could very easily see the NFC being the Bears, the Vikings, or the Packers, and then the other two winning the wild cards. I think all three of those teams could be 12-win teams. So I could very easily see like one of them winning, and then Vikings, Bears, or Bears, Packers, whatever. The West, I also agree. I think the Seahawks are going to have a really good year. I do. I think the Rams are going to take a big step back. And then down under, I do think the Falcons have a big year too. I think the Saints. I think their defense kind of starts to fall apart a little bit. And let's see. AFC East, Patriots, just until someone else wins it, it's the Patriots. That's just the end of story. I don't give a shit.
It's the easiest pick in football.
But until another team wins it, I don't care who's on the roster. It could be Tom Brady at 100 with a bunch of 3-year-olds. Until someone else wins the division, I can't not pick the Patriots. I'll pick the Chiefs out west, although I do think the Chargers are right on their heels again by like a game.
No.
I do. Down south, I'm giving it to Jacksonville. And up north, I'm giving it to the Steelers. By 1 game. Over the Bengals.
I'll take Cole Hardman.
Knew that was coming.
I don't know who that is.
We drafted him.
You could make some fantasy names out of that guy's name. Hardman.
I don't know if you see this, but I'm kind of putting stickers on this board over here. No, I'm in the middle of
How
this.
did you gonna come here for a second?
What position does this guy play?
Wide receiver.
Just miss him. Is he a right in?
He might be a write-in.
No.
Trade you Tyreek for him.
No way.
So, I'm going with AFC North, the Steelers, AFC East, the Bills, AFC West, the Chiefs, AFC South, the Jaguars, NFC North, the Bears,
The Bears.
Niners, Falcons, Eagles.
Eagles, Falcons, Seahawks, Bears, Patriots, Texans, Chiefs, Browns.
I think you love the Browns, Mike.
Listen, I
Yeah,
always
he
had a
does.
soft spot for them.
He
but
loves
that's
them,
mostly
dude.
because they were terrible. But I think they're going to be good.
Dude, I liked them when they were terrible, and now they're getting good, and now I just don't care to root for them anymore.
That's being a hipster.
I liked him till Odell went there.
Listen, I still got a love for Odell.
I don't know why.
Is this the last round or not?
Yeah.
Well, this was the preliminary. We're doing a whole second round.
This is just the first
Am
round.
I out of picks?
Yeah, dude, I think we're done, right? 16, that's it.
Yeah. You know, I saw a guy I wanted to pick, and I thought I had another one. But it's okay.
Well, thanks for asking. I'm picking the Patriots to win the AFC East. Steelers winning the AFC North. I have the Texans also winning the AFC South. AFC West, I give it to the Chiefs. Eagles are my NFC East. My Falcons are NFC South. Rams are the NFC West. And I give it to the Bears for the North. So,
I think I'm the only one that picked someone other than the Bears for the North.
I'm the one that picked the Bills and the
you
Niners.
picked the Vikings, right, Chris?
I picked the Vikings. Yeah.
What was the reasoning? Because we didn't really talk about the Vikings in great depth earlier, I feel.
Well, I said I believe they have the most talented. Now, the only thing that scares me about the Vikings is that Kirk Cousins. No, it's Kirk Cousins. It's 100% Kirk Cousins. He's a super talented quarterback who just sucks in the clutch. He's terrible in the clutch. But they have the most talented roster in that division, top to bottom. And I'm a huge Aaron Rodgers guy. He's the best quarterback in the NFL right now until Mahomes goes and wins the Super Bowl. You know, but yeah, exactly. You know, Tom Brady is the best quarterback of all time. But right now, because Tom Brady's 74 and Rodgers
dog
is-
years.
Yeah, right.
But
Rodgers
he
is the
still
most
does
talented.
enough.
I've never seen somebody play quarterback like Rodgers in my life. I've never seen somebody who could do what he does. Nobody could do what he does on a football field. But top to bottom, defense, special teams, offense, everything. They have the most talented roster, in my opinion.
Right.
It's
The most-
your last pick, by the way, Mr. Irrelevant. But this is not a shot at the Packers, so I don't want it to come off this way. Do you think there's any sort of saltiness as being a Packers fan or being like a Packers like front office member, where you've
Alexander Madison.
all right, seeing that you've had Brett Favre, what 93? They got him 92. He was drafted in 91. I don't know how many years he played in Atlanta. Was it 1 or 2?
I think it might have been 2.
So let's say 93, though, but 93 to 2019, you've had Brett Favre and then Aaron Rodgers with no gap in between. Do you think there's any saltiness to show that there's only 2 Super Bowls and 3 Super Bowl appearances to show for it?
To a degree, I think, because, I mean, you're talking about 2 guys who were arguably, you know, in a discussion of, I'm going to open it up to the top 20 best quarterbacks that we've seen, and to have only, you know, 3 appearances.
Top
you
10?
know, perhaps top 10 as
Alexander.
well.
I'm assuming
I
there's gonna
said
be a
top
right
20 to
involved.
kind of, expand. They're for sure both those guys are both in the top 20.
They both won a Super Bowl, 2 Super Bowls. Dan Marino didn't win one. You're talking about the better part of 2 decades with that guy, and he's arguably the most talented quarterback ever.
Yeah.
Didn't win one.
Yeah, he went. Did he go to 2? I know he went to 1 for sure. I don't think he went to 2. Only went to 1. But yeah, 100%. That's like.
So, I mean, being the best quarterback doesn't guarantee you. Patrick Mahomes is great, not guaranteed a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Well, you just keep your guys on sides, and then you got a shot.
Yeah.
Suck it, Eric.
We'll be all right.
Andy Reid is the most snake-bitten coach in the NFL.
I mean, it's not. I'm not discrediting that. Like there's been plenty of quarterbacks that have won the Super Bowl that haven't been the better quarterback, but like to only make it to 3 in 3 decades of having.
Marino made it to 1.
But I understand that.
I started for a franchise,
but we're talking about 3 straight decades of having a top 3 quarterback every year.
Yep.
And only winning 2 Super Bowls out
Sorry,
of it.
who are we talking about right now?
I mean, you look at Ben's one too.
How many teams would kill to have 2 Super Bowls?
Into Rodgers.
I understand that, but I'm just saying. Do you
I mean,
think there's
even
any
still,
saltiness
though-
that they haven't at least made it to more?
Well, the discussion Paul brought up is like, as a franchise, it's incredible to have these 2 quarterbacks.
This isn't
and
just
only
something
have-
that I thought of. This has been something that's been cycling on media. I've seen it a few times. Just to
No,
have.
I agree with you.
I don't think it's saltiness. I think it's a whole team, though. I mean, you could have a good quarterback and still not get there because of who's on the team. You know what I mean? Like, there's plenty of
but
good
like, you look-
quarterbacks that
right,
don't
no, I
make it to
understand
the
what you're saying,
Super Bowl.
but like lesser teams have made it. You know what I'm saying? Like any
Yeah.
given Sunday, but I just feel like when you have 3 straight decades of
Things need to work out for you to win a Super Bowl.
It needs to-
Not
yeah.
only do you have to be good, you have to be a little lucky.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Patriots aren't
So Eli Manning. First of all, would you?
Yeah,
you
I
would
was
take
just gonna
Brett
say
Favre
that, yeah.
and Aaron Rodgers over Eli Manning. I love Eli, but you would take both those guys over them. Eli Manning won 2 in 5 years.
And he got the MVP,
Right,
and
but
people
Favre
say he
gets
didn't
one.
deserve it.
right, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
It's just how it's just how it goes.
if you were a
sometimes.
Packers fan, would you have any sort of being like, I can't believe we didn't make it to more?
Yes.
If
Yeah,
Rodgers
yeah,
retires,
yeah,
say
yeah.
Rodgers retires in
Yeah.
what 6 years? I think is his
Yeah.
contract, right? If he retires and they don't make it to another Super Bowl in that time, would you kind of be like,
What
in
happened?
30 plus years, we only won 2 Super Bowls?
I think
with
I don't
2
know.
of the top 3 quarterbacks of their times.
Yeah, but you can't be mad because you were like one of the better teams in the NFL for most of that.
right.
every
But
year.
that's but I feel like that would just kind of add fuel to my fire
I think it's a
of being
saltiness.
upset. I'm saying
It's better than sucking.
Yeah.
Well, but they've had the years of not being as great either. Though they've had
Most
some
of
bad
those
years.
have been when Rodgers is hurt.
I understand. That.
Rodgers was hurt last year, even though he didn't miss time. He was hurt.
I don't buy into that bullshit. I'm sorry. You can be hurt, but if you're good enough to play on the field, then
So
wins and losses are
yeah,
the way
but what's
it is.
your wait, the guy's been basically 40 touchdowns, 10 picks his entire career. Then last year he can't even throw 30 touchdowns.
I understand that, but I'm just saying. But if you're good enough to be on the field, then you need to be your best.
I don't think it's. I don't think it's a
If
saltiness.
you can't go out there and give your best, why are you going out there and hurting your team?
Well, because he's
I mean,
still
that's
much better than
part
the
of the game.
alternative.
He was still better than Deshaun Kaiser.
Yeah.
But he hindered his team by not being able to be himself. Aaron Rodgers has one of the best arms in football, but what makes him the most talented quarterback is his ability to dance around in the pocket and get out of it and scramble really well. He couldn't do that last year, and his offense suffered because of it. I'm just saying, and that's not just Aaron Rodgers. I'm saying it as a whole.
How much would his offense have suffered if Deshaun Kaiser was the quarterback?
We've seen what that looks like. Brett
Right.
Hundley.
So,
Well, that's different.
all I'm
Brown
saying
was
is, Rodgers was so much better than the alternative. Are we wrapping this up?
But
I
understand that. But I'm just one last thing. But that didn't stop them 2 years ago. Rodgers was healthy to play for 3 weeks. They didn't put him in. Things fell into place where if they won the game, their playoff hopes was alive. And it was just like, oh, okay, insert Rodgers here. They lose, and it's like, nah, never mind, get him off there. Like, why didn't he play? He wasn't 100%, but he could have played for 2 weeks before that game. They only inserted him in. Aaron Rodgers has always been better than his backup, but he wasn't 100%, and they didn't put him in. Is it because they thought they were going to lose?
Well, maybe because they thought the injury was more severe when they didn't put him in.
No,
Last
things,
year, he
things fell into place,
like a
and so
knee
the
thing.
Packers were like, "Hey, if we win these next 3 games, we could make the playoffs." But it's like, well, why not put him in those 2 games earlier? Because if you won those 2 games, you guys would have already been the playoff team.
Here's the thing, Paul. I think that you've thought about this whole Rodgers thing at length a lot.
No, it's
and I
extends
think
it
that
more
we
than
could go forever.
It extends it more than that. I had the same beef with Evan Ingram last year. Why was he suited up on the field and didn't play a single snap due to injuries? Why suit a guy up if he's not playing?
Well, I think with the Evan Ingram thing, he just wasn't fit. They needed people to block. They needed Rhett Ellison out there, and Evan Ingram just
But
couldn't
he didn't
block.
play a snap.
No, but see, Evan Ingram cannot block.
I understand that,
Right.
but the report said, because we talked about it last week, that there was a nagging injury that kept that they didn't put him in the field. Why dress a guy if you're not going to play him due to injury?
Well, because you dress the guy. He could have played. He was cleared to play. It's just that with the way the game was working out, they needed people to block, and he couldn't do it.
But he's a game changer. We've said it tonight. It's just when you have the game changer, hurt or not, they need to be
But
in the game.
Saquon's the game changer, and he has a better ability to change the game if he has blocking. That's why Rhett Ellison was out there more. I'm just letting you know. I'm telling
I
you why.
understand that, but Evan Ingram as a vertical threat opens up a lot of things underneath for Barkley. No,
Sure, but for the majority of the year, they had Odell.
right. But if Odell and Ingram are going down the field, Barkley can do whatever he wants between the hashes up to 10 yards.
There was also no time to get downfield.
No.
Well, there's time. The ball just wouldn't get to them.
You will see Evan Ingram really flourish this year because the offensive line has improved.
I'm not denying that. No doubts.
All right.
Fellas, I had a great time. I had a great time coming
I
here and
hope
talking
you guys
to
enjoyed it.
I did.
It took bribing him into a fantasy draft to actually get someone to show up, but we did it.
Yeah, I mean, I might bring an air conditioner next time.
Yeah. There's actually one running back there.
It's not working.
Believe it or not, it is.
Yeah, can you imagine what this place would be without that running?
I don't want to.
No, you don't.
It's gotten toasty.
Is it John Gruden making it hot? Is that what's happening over there?
That's what we're saying. Gruden's over there.
He has a sensor, too. You turn it on, you can walk by him. He says things like the John Gruden voice saying things about Corona.
I can't do the John Gruden voice because I'd like to right now, but I can't.
He just starts shouting plays.
Yeah.
All right, Zebra
Spider 2,
X176.
Spider 2, why banana?
Real quick, do you guys have a team that you really, really hate on this?
Rebecca's.
All right, excluding Team 3.
Rebecca's.
Team 4.
I'm actually going to be accepting money
Is
offers.
that Jeff?
I'm going to be accepting money offers because when I put these teams in, I'm going to keep everything the same except Rebecca's team. So if you want to trade a lesser pick for McCaffrey, I'll be taking money. Highest bid wins.
Which team is Kyle's? Oh, yeah, that's terrible.
Didn't even read it. Nah, it's trash.
Glances at it for a second.
He loves David Johnson, though. Like literally.
I don't know why.
He's going to get his fat head any minute.
Who's the
Any
best? Who's the best team up there right now?
Oh, we can't do this now.
We're sick.
We got to wrap this thing up.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll reconvene. We'll talk
I
about it
mean,
next
mine,
week.
but yeah. Well,
We'll talk about it next week.
We're gonna post a picture of our draft
Yeah.
on Instagram and all that, and you guys can comment.
So
and-
Ty, Eric, and C-Jan the man, E-Rock, I don't know what you said, introduce yourself as.
E-money.
I know. He's
E-money.
been E-Rock forever, and he just throws something else out there that no one's heard
My name
before.
is Chiefs Fan 87
All of his tools say
at
E-Rock.
AOL.com.
He's like, EJ Manuel.
Thank you guys for coming and drafting in this. I mean, it was a lot of fun. It'll be a lot more fun to
Had
have
a
you
blast,
here.
man.
Just remember,
Don't
we expect
come in
all of you to
last.
show up for the punishment shot after the season's over. Whether you're taking it or giving it or not at all, we want you to be here.
I might be here in between.
Sometimes
I don't know.
both, man.
Come hang
You guys are always welcome.
Yeah.
Always welcome.
I'm going to stand by the window, though.
That's fine.
Can we get a microphone out there?
This
Real quick,
discussion was actually
this will be really quickly. Chris, you can go first because you're the only one that actually has anything to say. Beer reviews. What'd you think of your beers?
Oh, I mean, I sip of sunshine. I mean, it's just a go-to. It's always great. Love pretty much everything Founders makes, and I'm a big IPA guy. So, I mean,
The all-day IPA.
I brought them, so
Yeah.
they're great.
Brought him for a reason.
All right, what did everybody else at the table think of Red Dog?
Great.
Very
Thumbs up.
premium beer.
I hate Red Dog. There you go.
Uncommonly smooth.
Well, Chris's team isn't getting uploaded, unfortunately.
You
now.
see, I painted the dog red because I've never seen a red dog.
Maxine, social media.
Yes, be sure to find us on Facebook and Instagram at Getting Sports with Drunk. Twitter is GSWD_4.
Make sure to use the hashtag GSWD for all your daily uses, whether it's forgetting your pick like Ty or changing your nickname like E-Money.
Man, we didn't tell. We're on Spreaker.
Oh, yeah, we are on Spreaker.
Yeah, by the way.
Find us on Podbean, iTunes, Google Play,
Spreaker.
iHeartRadio,
Spreaker.
Spreaker, Spotify,
In Spreaker.
anywhere,
I actually drafted Spreaker first.
anywhere
say
you find a
TuneIn?
podcast. Say it again.
Is it on TuneIn Radio?
I don't think so.
You guys are on Tinder too, aren't you?
We are. We have
No,
an
we're on
account.
Grinder.
Grinder.
You
Yes.
said anywhere you can get a
I'm-
podcast.
My bad.
Pretty
My
much
bad.
anywhere.
TuneIn's my go-to.
It might be on there because like when you load to like Podbean and stuff, like it just kind of shoots it everywhere. So it could be on there. We used to be on TuneIn, but then that station
the
went
funny
down.
thing about Spreaker distributes us a second time
yeah,
around
I think
all.
I just said that.
No, I'm
What
talking
about Podbean?
No, but Spreaker.
All right. This is an off-air discussion. Thank you again to the guests for showing up to the draft.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Rebecca,
Not a problem.
I don't know. We give you something to do when you fuck it up. Hopefully you don't come in last.
I can't
No,
wait
hopefully
to see
you
the
do,
draft
Rebecca.
grade.
Hopefully you
Are
do.
those all wedding rings?
Yes.
That's a lot of jewelry.
Kendall proposed a bunch of times.
So did his male
He just couldn't
cousins.
get it right.
He just kept forgetting that he did.
It's one of those things. I have so much money spent in the middle of the show for it.
Yeah. She just didn't like the ring either time.
Next week when we do our show, it'll be the first review of an NFL week. It's here, Thursday. Everyone's excited.
Do we have a prediction
very
for that
nervous.
game ahead of time?
I'm very
No,
nervous.
sure. We can give the Thursday game prediction.
The thought of that game bores me to tears because I have no players in it. Except now I actually
you
have
got some
Montgomery.
guys.
You can
I
give
didn't.
Thursday predictions real quick. Go. What do you got?
Bears are going to win 32-5.
Okay.
Jesus.
To 5?
No. That game has got like 20-17 written all over
You
it. I
son
think
of
the
a
Bears. I think the Bears are going to give them a little payback. They're going to hit them hard. Yeah.
23-20 Bears.
Ty?
What Eric said.
Yeah.
30-27 Packers.
17-17 tie.
Steelers.
Gross.
I hope Juju dies.
Damn.
Dude, what is wrong with you? You went from Saquon tearing his ACL to Juju dying. You're just escalating.
Who has Juju?
I do.
Oh, fuck Chris. That Chris.
Well, you fucked both Chris's now.
Why?
That's gay.
Well, no. Having somebody die trumps the ACL injury. Saquon's fine now.
Oh, okay. So
It's only one player that I wish it upon.
Oh.
Well, so once I wish it upon a new player, like
But I'd rather Barkley tear his ACL than Juju die. I don't want to see him die.
you're not going to see him die. You'll just hear about it.
That'd
I'm a
be
fan.
really sad. I love Juju.
No,
You're giving him some
I
bad
think
juju, and I don't like it.
Bears win 16-10.
I don't like it.
Private stock.
16-10.
I can see that too.
Yeah.
Defensive game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk about it all next week. Until then, I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler.
I'm Mark.
Sheen Washable.
Yep.
Kyle.
Tyler.
E-money.
CJ and the man.
The Mass Chris Massey.
27-17 Bears. On the way.
Yeah.